I fucked up.
Here we go. First time.
Yep, let's get to it now. Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joe Dehls. This is now episode 253. In this episode, we're going to give our Super Bowl prediction, talk about Sean Payton and DeMeco Ryan being hired as head coaches, and then we'll have OG and PeeWee on to talk about LeBron making history, failed super teams, if the Kyrie-Luka duo will work, and if we are buying into the Cam Thomas hype. Shout out to everybody in the live stream right now. We were getting set up behind the scenes. Now, OG and P will be on for the basketball portion of this show. We're going to start off with 3 football topics. But how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. No pre-workout today, so I'm not as energetic as I've been in past shows.
I heard it's been good for you. Like, you like it?
The gym, nah. Pre-workout, the pre-workout for sure. I feel like when I need the boost, like around this time of the day, I feel really good off of it. But
Athletic Greens?
No, that's different. So Athletic Greens is what I drink in the morning. The pre-workout is what I drink before I go to the gym. It's basically like caffeine, but like times 40. And I didn't take it today because I kind of was just rushing out because we were going to record a little bit earlier.
Yep.
But oh man, that is some good stuff. It is some good stuff, but you should not take it that often because it destroys your sleep habits. Like I've been going to sleep around like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. It's just not good.
Playing Call of Duty?
A little both, yeah. Mostly Call of Duty, no doubt. But then watching TV, and then I just get in bed and I just can't fall asleep. That's what the pre-workout will do to you.
Really?
Like during the school year, I stopped taking it completely. I can't take it. If not, I'm going to sleep at 2 a.m.
Even if you're taking it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
If I'm taking pre-workout past 1 o'clock during the school year, it's cooked.
Really?
I will go to sleep at 2 a.m. and I have to wake up at 7, so I'm miserable.
Never heard that from people.
Why does
it makes sense.
I don't take
Caffeine is
pre-workout, but
strong.
I definitely can't fall asleep. I'm on TikTok a lot.
Even if you got like non-caffeinated.
That doesn't really exist. Like the whole point is for like
you could get some without
for
caffeine.
energy.
Pre-workout.
For sure.
I know what you mean because
like non-stim.
Facts. Because there's pre-workouts that people drink solely for like the pump effects, but I'm drinking it for both
Energy.
the pump and I need that jolt.
Yeah.
I was actually at work the other day, and it was like I had to go to do that 1:45 in the morning shift, and it was like 4:30. I was like, I'm fucking exhausted. Let me get you know what? Let me drink a Monster. Let me get a Monster.
How'd you feel?
To give me dog. By like 6 o'clock, I literally crashed.
Yeah.
Onto the thing where you put the boxes on. I literally crashed onto it. Like I fell asleep, crashed right onto it, literally hit my head and everything. And the girl woke me up. She's like, River. I was like, what happened? Yeah.
Damn, so you just like passed out?
Oh, yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
And I just fell on my head.
How many hours of sleep did you have?
That was.
Well, you probably hadn't slept for 24 hours.
No, that was Monday. I was up pretty late. And then I was up all day. And I tried to take a nap, but that shit didn't work, man.
Naps aren't it for me either.
I'll get up like an hour and a half, and I feel even worse than when I went to take a nap.
It takes me like 30 minutes to get into the nap, and then I'm asleep. Forget about nap. It's not a while.
Aren't energy drinks really bad for you?
They are.
No, yeah, they're not good.
They can make you have a heart
Monsters for
attack.
sure.
Yeah.
But that's why pre-workout, my mom's like, stop taking it. I'm just like, it's not that bad for you.
Do you need it though?
You don't need it. I've gone to the gym without it multiple times, but it allows me to understand if I'm drinking this pre-workout, I'm going to the damn gym. I'm not just drinking this pre-workout for nothing. I'm not putting that garbage into my exactly.
So once you drink
you're gone. You're locking yourself in to go.
Gonna be here.
Now, some breaking news happened. Boom Fantasy, you and I, Drew, are now tied on our records.
Facts.
We're both 9-6.
That's a fact.
Listen, I started off 1-5.
For a second, I was ready for like Lakers acquire. I was
I would love me too.
I rattled off 8 of the last 9.
You've been doing your thing.
Yeah, and then I've been posting pics recently because I see a lot of betting content creators, and I wanted to put myself to the test because it's one thing to know basketball, it's one thing to bet on it. Like they're two different things, because I think Riv knows a lot about basketball, but he can't bet.
His brother can't bet to save his life.
At least the Boom Fantasy pick.
Let's not, because I got some hits, some FanDuel. Let's not do that.
That's fact.
You are 5 for 10.
Listen, that's Boom. Let's not do that. Like I don't get in FanDuel.
You can't get us just one lock a day.
No, bro, it's been tough, bro. I be losing on some bullshit, but I'm a lock in.
Now, what I'll be doing is I write in my notes. I get a bunch of lines that I kind of like, and then I research them. I weigh out the odds, calculate it.
Yeah, see,
I just go with the numbers,
does
man.
homework.
I'm a numbers guy.
There's nothing
No,
wrong
I got
with that.
caught last time because he asked me. He said send booms, and I was at work, so I couldn't really. So I was just like,
Couldn't
"Alright,
lock
fuck it."
in.
Yeah, I was like,
that
fuck it, let
really
me
is the
just
shit
take
that
one.
gets me too, because I'm waking up, and what I'm waking up is Joel's text. Send your boom.
And he's
fantasy.
already locked.
So
in. He
off
got
the
his,
first
he
thing
got
I'm
his
wi-
He's
I'm
been
waking
researching
up.
for 3
Yeah.
hours already.
I'm waking up and I'm having to do my boom fantasy research. It's been working.
Facts,
It's
you've
been
been
working.
You know,
doing
I'll
good.
tell you
I've
his
been on
job
long-
We have a
seriously.
long
6.
season.
People look at
Long
them.
do.
season.
I've
I
turned
get
my
that.
back on the unders. I just haven't been loving the under PRAs recently.
You're only 4 games behind. It's like the Lakers.
Yeah, I'm
It's
actually
like the Lakers in the 5
I'll
seed.
get back.
You know,
Well, he has a chance.
Talking
Lakers don't
facts
got
right
a
there.
chance.
Talking facts right there.
But I got to take it seriously, man. These people's money on the line.
That's a
They're
fact.
putting their money on the line. They're trusting me with the pick. I feel honored. So I got to show out.
You've been doing
I
your
gotta
thing.
show
You've been
out.
doing your thing
So what's the
recently.
lock today, bro?
So the lock today, mine is Damian Lillard under 35.5 points versus the Warriors. That's what I have. This
Under?
Is this is a high line.
This
It is high, but
What was
that
it,
brother
30
Damian,
35 and a
yeah,
half.
35 and a half.
35.
So,
Keep
so he
putting
needs
this shit
This
36.
is one of the highest lines we've ever had on Boom for points. 35
Well,
and
it
a half
is
is
home.
crazy.
But he has been
Like,
wilding.
like that's the
35 is
one of
a
the highest
lot,
I've
His
seen.
PRA, I thought about it. It was like 44, 45 off the top of my head.
I think that's
I
easier
thought
to get
about
than
it,
30 over 35.
But that's what I exactly. That's what I was thinking
averages
too.
around 29, 30 points
Yeah.
a game.
But not what he's been doing recently has been
Insane.
almost like 40 every game.
You guys are crazy.
It's that he's definitely it's skewed. Like there are games where
The energy shifted. so he
2
won't
out of the
get
last
35.
5 games he's had over that. And versus the Warriors in the last 5 games he hasn't hit that at all.
Oh, he won't get it. The energy is shifted.
I mean the Warriors they
Well-
double. They're gonna do. I think this is more of an Anthony Simons game than it is a Dame game.
Okay.
I think he'll be more open.
I would
He'll
love
do
to
his
see
thing.
my boy Anthony Cook.
He'll do his thing. Ribs today is Scotty Barnes over 4.5 assists versus the Spurs.
Explain that one to me, bro.
He did it 6 times. At bare minimum, let
6
me
in his
tie.
last 10?
Yeah, let me just fucking tie. Then I'll take the tie win, and we'll just go from there. So
It's 4.5.
yes.
You can't tie that.
You need 5. You need 5.
5's a win, 4's a loss.
Okay. I thought it was over 4.
4.5.
Okay, I'll take it.
And
whatever.
Drew's is
So yeah, mine is Jalen Green 22.5
Yeah.
over against the Kings.
for as
reason
much
I
as
took-
shit
You were just
talking,
talking. You were
No,
just talking shit
you're
about
all
Jalen
Jalen Green
Which
now.
is exactly why I was wondering, because he's been hot and cold. Riv, this is for you, King.
versus the Kings he does pretty well.
Oh, thank you.
Well, last game he had, I think it was 24?
Yeah.
24 against them. And the Kings defense is not that good, which is the main reason why I decided to go with Jalen Green, because he's been hot and cold.
He had 27.
27
Mhm.
against
He
the
had
Kings.
12 the game before.
And but he had 27 and they got smoked by 20. Like the Kings basically sat all their players, which is a reason why Boom's lines were pretty skewed. De'Aaron's was at 24.5 for De'Aaron. I believe Sabonis's PRA was 39.5. So I'm assuming they think that it's going to be a blowout. But if that's the case, I'm just going to assume that Jalen Green's going to try and still get his buckets however he can. The one reason why I was a little worried was because against Minnesota earlier in the season, he had under 10 points. But then when he faced Minnesota again, he had over 40. So I'm kind of optimistic here. It's a home game. I feel like Jalen Green, it just takes one
All right.
night for him to catch the heater.
So, Jalen Green's fucking hilarious.
He
So
is,
his
bro.
last
Look
game,
at these
he had
numbers.
6
They're
points,
stupid.
Then he had 19. Then he had 42. Then he had 10.
Mhm.
Then he had 41.
Yep.
Then he had 23.
Yep.
He had 27. He had 26. He had
In the
9.
month of February, he
Yeah.
has I think 2 games under 20 points.
Do you want to know what his stats are versus the Kings' last 5 games?
You can read it to me for the
20
entertainment.
27, 27, 26, 33, 32.
Okay.
Good.
Sounding locked.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
great.
Kings defense isn't good, and that was the
No.
main reason behind me making this pick.
They're gonna have to score. It's
But
not like
he's
the
been
Rockets
hot and
stop.
cold, so it's not like I feel overly confident with this one, but I'm trusting him tonight.
I was at odds yesterday because Drew had Anthony Davis over 27.5 points versus OKC, and he played like Anthony Street clothes last night. He was non-existent.
Unnecessary comment, but fine.
He was one of my picks for the day on the over. So it was one of the.
I
It
I
was
was
one of the.
surprised you guys went with them with LeBron going to break the record.
Well, at first, AD's been cooking. Before this
Beforehand,
game,
yes,
he
for
had
sure.
over 30 2 nights in a row, 2 games in a row. So I was like, maybe we'll still try to keep AD going. I was not expecting LeBron to pull up in the all-black fit. I was not expecting Hove,
Really?
Denzel to all pull up to that game. No way.
I
Once
didn't either.
I saw them pull
Really?
up to the game,
I thought that he was going to try to break it against the Bucks.
I'm saying
That's
before
what- yeah,
before
everyone's
the
saying
game
that.
started, I'm thinking, all right, maybe it'll still be a calm game. 36,
30
LeBron could do it,
Yeah,
no
36
doubt.
sounds real easy.
Yeah,
for
of
Brown.
course. But then I saw him pull up to the arena in the all black. I said, all right, he's breaking the record. And at that point, the pick was already out. I was like, all right, I'll live with it. But I still thought AD could have gotten it. He just He started the
Okay.
game pretty well,
How do you feel
and
about
then he
it?
kind of took him. We'll talk about it later.
Now, a lot of great NBA games on tonight. You guys
There
can go put in your picks on Boom Fantasy. Link is in our bio. Make sure to use code PAS when you make your first deposit. You get a risk-free entry up to $100. Super Bowl preview prediction.
Here we go.
We're here.
Oh man, I've been waiting for this all week. I really have. I was thinking about wearing my Mahomes shirt to the show. I don't like how it fits on me, so I just passed on it. But I wanted to. And the shirt says, "Rolling with Mahomes."
Interesting.
Listen, we don't need to have this whole big ass monologue on the show. We know what's going down. We know that I'm rolling with Mahomes, and you guys are all rolling with the Eagles. And that's what makes me feel so much better about my pick.
Like the
Because
Cowboys.
last week you picked the Bengals, all three of you guys versus the Chiefs.
Who else did we all?
We also picked the Eagles against the Niners.
The game
We
didn't
also
count.
picked the Niners
The
against the
game didn't
Cowboys.
count. We did. Yeah. We all
Yeah, I
did, right?
can't-
You were, yeah, facts.
You know, that's like
No, but the
that's like me
logic-
picking the Chiefs and you guys picking the Bengals, and Joe Burrow gets hurt in the first quarter. You know,
But we just gave you two other games that the exact thing, same thing happened without injuries.
Wonder why this is different.
Tell me.
This is the best quarterback to ever exist in human history.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes is the best. I know you're not looking at me. You're Peyton Manning guy. Patrick Mahomes clears Peyton Manning.
Human history is just a hilarious
Clears
way
pain
to
is
put it.
kind of crazy.
He's just as good in the pocket and his
just
improvisation.
as good.
Yes,
Payne-
just as good.
Payne's a dog.
And
Payne
his-
is a
respect-
pocket passer.
respect-
He is a
respect
pocket
Payne. Respect
passer.
Payne.
And
What
are you
Mahomes'
saying?
ability to improvise. Payne can't
Bros,
do that.
okay,
Oh, that's
respect
different.
The
Payne.
third
That's
sentence
different.
of his monologue is Mahomes is
Pat-
the greatest
did you-
quarterback in
Patrick,
No, Mahomes is
Patrick,
1-1.
Patrick Mahomes
Nah, he's different.
was on a
Respect
bad
Payne.
ankle and still was
Yeah,
torching.
listen, we don't got. Mahomes
Man
is
is not
great.
doing that.
Mahomes is
Payne
great.
Of
had,
course.
Payne
Payne
had
threw-
spinal fusion surgery and was
Do
the MVP.
55 after that.
What are you
Come
talking
on.
about?
That's a-
Shh.
In the
that-
Super Bowl,
You
he
don't
did
know what
nothing.
you're talking about.
did nothing.
And he won.
And he did nothing.
He won.
His first Super Bowl he went to, he choked against
He
the
did-
Seahawks.
No,
His
that
second
wasn't
one,
his
he
first
was
Super Bowl. That was
washed.
with the
Why are
Broncos.
we
That was with the
disrespecting
Broncos.
Peyton, man?
Well, this
He's
is
just
like
not Patrick
become a
Mahomes.
Peyton Mahomes.
And
like,
Mahomes ain't Patrick. I mean, ain't Peyton. So what are we doing here?
Oh yeah, he's better than him. Yeah, that's
You said
you're
clear.
right,
You
he's
said
not better.
clear.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Listen, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback to ever exist. And I'll be damned if he has a 1-2 record in the Super Bowl like LeBron had in his first three finals. It's not happening.
Oh wow.
Patrick Mahomes
He's
is going to be
attacked LeBron.
2-1 after this game. And listen, I got to respect the Eagles.
Should I do
There's
this?
no doubt.
This is shit.
Because people think that I just disrespect the Eagles. It's not that. Listen,
No, it is.
I respect the Eagles. They're a hell of a team. This is going to be a hell of a game, a hell of a matchup. Their offense, listen, the Chiefs is going to be tough to stop that Eagles offense.
sorry.
They can run the ball at elite level. And because the threat of the run is so grand,
Mm.
you have to man up on these receivers. And these Chiefs corners are going to be on man coverage, but
Nice way to put it.
they're more stickier in man coverage than the 49ers cornerbacks. I like Watson a lot. I
Understand.
like McDuffie. I like Snead.
Stickier.
Yes, they are. They're sticky.
They're
stickier.
better than
This
man.
defense is.
It's not bad. Why do you think it's bad?
It's not the Niners.
We just saw what happened to the Bengals.
Oh my god!
Your
they're-
Ba-
with-
your
with-
Bengals.
with 3 offensive linemen out. Relax.
His Bengals with Joe
Hold up.
Burrow, by the way.
Drew, do you think
He's not an
do you-
NFC guy. He hasn't been picking
no,
over.
Drew, do you think the Bills are an elite defense?
They're a good defense for sure.
And what happened? What did the Bengals do to them
They
offensively?
did their thing.
Okay, with those three same offensive linemen out,
Mhm.
and the Chiefs defense, they got the job done
They did.
because they have Chris Jones. Now in this game, if you just rush 4 against the Eagles, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
You can. So I think Steve Spagnuolo has to design a lot of exotic blitzes, zone looks, because Hurts struggles against cover 3 specifically. He's not the greatest against zone. I think Steve Spagnuolo will be fine. Andy Reid is one of the best coaches off a bye week. He has that, and Mahomes is going to be healthy. And you know what? Kadarius Toney's my X factor this game.
I saw you send us that message.
He is my
really?
X factor.
I understand what he means by that too. I understand what he
get
means.
it, but-
Yeah, I get it too.
I don't want to have
Somebody
to
explain it to
rely
me?
on Kadarius.
I'll let
No,
Joel
no.
explain it.
It's not that they don't have to rely on him, but
no.
when we talk about the receivers, of
Mhm.
course, we know Travis Kelce is the best weapon,
Correct.
and the Eagles don't have the linebackers to cover him. I think
Nobody can
Kelce's
cover Kelsey.
no, of course. I think Kelsey's gonna have a big time day. But you look at the receivers, Juju is good. McCole is gonna be out. MVS is good, but he's a burner. He had a great game in the AFC Championship game.
Smith.
Kadarius Toney is the only receiver out of all those guys that has the breakaway ability and explosive ability. He's the most explosive receiver the Chiefs have. And I think he was on pace to go for 80 plus yards in the AFC Championship game had he not rolled his ankle. I think he'll be fine for this game.
Happens frequently,
I think
sadly.
Kadarius Toney is the X factor, and Pacheco's going to show up. Listen, I trust Andy Reid. I trust Mahomes. The Chiefs have the best coach. They got the best quarterback, not just in the NFL, but in the history of the NFL. And I'll be
You
damned
did this with the Bucs.
if he loses in the Super Bowl. And you look at the quarterbacks the Eagles have faced: Jared Goff, Cousins, Wentz, Lawrence, Kyler, Cooper Rush, Kenny Pickett, Davis Mills, Heineke, Matt Ryan, Rodgers, Tannehill, Daniel Jones twice. We know he's not all that. Fields, Dak, Dalton, Webb, Purdy. Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, and Jared Goff all put up 33-plus points on this Eagles defense. Kirk and Lawrence didn't play well. Lawrence, it was in a rainy day. Kirk Cousins, they were dominated from all facets of the football field. But for the most part, this Eagles defense has not faced a ton of great quarterbacks. I would say they faced a plethora of mid-tier quarterbacks. That's not Mahomes. This Eagles defense is in for a rude awakening, and I think if they can get out to an early lead, you now force the Eagles to pass more than run it, and I trust the Chiefs defense in that situation. I'm going with Kansas City in this game.
Question. Could you say, because you said the Eagles played a lot of mid quarterbacks, right?
Yes.
And you said what were the guys that lit them up? Dak was one.
Jared
Goff and Aaron. But could you not say the Chiefs don't, outside of Travis Kelce, don't have a wide receiver weapon that's good as anybody in Dallas or the Lions?
They're the number one offense in the NFL.
But the Eagles have the number one pass defense. So you just looked that off and said Kadarius Toney is the key.
Dak had 300-plus yards on them.
So?
Yeah. I think the Chiefs' offense is better than the Cowboys' offense.
Yeah.
I don't care about the weapons.
Because of the quarterback.
It's also because of the play caller. Andy Reid is the best coach in the NFL right now. And Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL
number
right
one
now.
pass defense in the league.
And Kelsey's the best tight end in the NFL right now. And
Juju,
MVS, and Kadarius, these are not slouches, and Isaiah Pacheco. Respect him.
Darius Slade, James Bradbury.
Please.
The guys you named. You sound like a hater. I'll be honest.
Because I'm picking the Chiefs?
No, you kind of said those names and forgot that we have Darius Slade, James Bradbury, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Like, we have some guys out there.
I understand Joel's approach here, because when you're picking, it's two alphas right now. And I apologize. We almost just held hands, Riv. I understand it's two alphas right now. You're right. It's two alphas. You have the Chiefs, you have the Eagles, who basically have been untouchable all season for what it seems like. When you're giving your analysis, you have to try, when you're picking one alpha over the other, you have to try and minimize that one alpha as much as you can. So I understand the approach. I respect it. I do. But what we have to sit here and acknowledge is the truth.
Yeah.
The Eagles have been the best team in football from week 1 up until right now, Super Bowl. It's the truth, whether you like it or not. Offense, they have a top 2 offense, right just behind the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs have been amazing, led by Patrick Mahomes, no doubt. But Jalen Hurts, for what he brings to the table, he's a great passer. He's an amazing rusher, an elite rusher. On top of that, you have A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. You have Dallas Goedert. You have the best offensive line in football. Miles Sanders can get the job done. If the Eagles don't trust Miles Sanders for whatever reason, Kenny Gainwell has done a great job this postseason. It's been super easy for the Eagles. I definitely do not expect it to be easy this Sunday against the Chiefs. No way, no how. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, simply too good. But I'm going to remain adamant on this point. You look at the Eagles, they are a complete roster. Both offense and defense, they are elite. You cannot say the same about the Kansas City Chiefs. Their offense is elite. Their defense is not. And with the offensive line that the Eagles have, there is no doubt in my mind that the Eagles will be able to put up points. And Jalen Hurts will have a very good game, will be a great game, and is my favorite to win Super Bowl MVP. He just needs to be the Jalen Hurts that he's been. And then this narrative will be quiet that he wasn't leading the Philadelphia Eagles all along.
And if he loses?
It depends. There's narratives, but I don't see him losing personally. I'm picking the Eagles. Your monologue was 100% right. I believe we're all going to pick the Eagles. It's not a shock that I'm picking the Eagles. But what I'm basing it off of is that the Eagles are the most complete team on both sides of the ball. On all facets of the game, they have star talent. And maybe not linebacker, but really they have been holding it down. I look at this Eagles team, and I simply just believe that they have the edge because, 1, their defense is great, and 2, this Chiefs defense is not. And I believe that three offense.
Bills are 2.
Number one rush offense.
Yes.
I just think that this Chiefs defense is not going to be able to stop the Eagles. And not that the Eagles will be able to, quote unquote, stop Mahomes but I think that the Eagles offense will be potent enough to get points and overcome.
You know where I'm going, Joel.
I mean, I know where you're all going.
You know where I'm going. I'm going with
you're
the
all
Eagles.
Gonna be wrong.
It's funny because at the beginning of the season, we had a show for our agendas to go into the season. I had 2 in the AFC, 2 in the NFC. 2 in the AFC being the Jets, not great. Lamar got hurt. NFC, Trey Lance got hurt. And Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is my last guy standing. There are some people at this table who have agenda standing. You have switched agendas 12, 15, 20 times throughout the NFL season, 10, 15 times just in the NFL playoffs alone. So I just want to say, to start off with that, my agenda is still alive. And what I said in August stands true, that Jalen Hurts would prove to everybody that he is the franchise quarterback for the Eagles. And we've had this debate on the last football show about did he lead him, or maybe it was 2 shows ago, instant reaction, whatever. Went pretty crazy. Everyone was really on your ass, Joel, for saying, and you too, Riv, that we weren't, I guess it was just you in the TikTok, Joel, that Jalen Hurts hasn't been led, or he hasn't led the Eagles.
In the playoffs, absolutely not.
And it's a pretty terrible take because for a plethora of reasons. Number one being it's been 2 blowout games that he's led them to. And in the regular season, just to, a few stats, number 3 scoring offense, number 1 scoring offense in the postseason, 5th best rushing attack, top 10 passing yards per game passing attack. Jalen Hurts himself was 4th in QBR, 35 total touchdowns, 4,500 yards. So even if you want to look at this small 2-game sample size and say he hasn't led them, I think we have a 15, 16 game sample size in the regular season that says Jalen Hurts has led them to this position. One of the best offenses in football, top 2, them and the Chiefs, the number 1 seed, the best record in the NFL. It was a pretty silly take then. It's going to be a pretty silly take after this game because Jalen Hurts is going to lead this team to a victory. This team's too good, man. Everything on Philadelphia honestly clears the Chiefs. They have a better offensive line. They have a better defense, a better secondary, better pass rush, better weapons. The only thing is the quarterback. And we're not going from, we're not going from Pat Mahomes, number 1 overall quarterback, to the 17th quarterback. We're going from probably the best quarterback in the league to maybe the 6th or 7th. And
That's a big ass gap.
You can make the argument top 5.
There's a huge gap between Mahomes and Hurts.
The gap between,
what was the gap between Brady and Nick Foles?
Huge, massive,
gigantic,
massive. What's the gap between Brady and Dak Prescott, who you picked?
Mahomes and Jimmy G.
Mahomes and Jimmy G. Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy G.
If there's a gap between
back-to-back MVP Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy G.
If there's a gap between Mahomes and Burrow and Allen, there's a enormous gap between Mahomes and Jalen Hurts.
But we've seen that just because you have the best quarterback doesn't necessarily mean you win all the games.
Well, historically, that the best quarterbacks have won Super Bowl. Historically,
there
have been anomalies for sure.
I mean, Peyton Manning has 2 Super Bowls. He was in the league for 20 years.
There's very little quarterbacks that have 2 Super Bowls in general.
Exactly. What I'm saying is, just because you are the best quarterback, you may win more. But that doesn't
the best quarterback in the Super Bowl historically.
That does not necessarily mean you will win the game.
Peyton Manning in the first Super Bowl faced Rex Grossman. He was the better quarterback. He won. In the second Super Bowl, you faced Cam Newton.
Drew Brees.
Cam Newton.
All right, the second one we won. All right, no, we can go through them.
So about Payton?
Payton and Drew Brees.
Russell Wilson.
Drew Brees was a better quarterback that season.
And Drew, that was MVP Peyton Manning.
Oh, Drew Brees shows up in the playoffs.
So did Peyton.
Well, Drew Brees was better that game.
Matt Stafford or Joe Burrow better last year?
Joe Burrow is better, no doubt.
Who won?
Matthew Stafford, but the team was stacked.
So you could have gone through it because, all right, you could say that it was definitely very marginal that year.
But you felt Stafford was better. So in my scenario, you actually picked the better quarterback. The better quarterback won.
I'm asking you though.
Okay, but in your idea, in your world, Stafford is better.
In your world,
so
in your world, Burrow is better.
If we go through it, the better quarterback has won routinely. Now listen, there's a gap between Mahomes and Hurts. If you want to think there's not a gap, it's okay. You can think there's not a gap.
I literally never said that. I said Mahomes is 1 and Hurts is 6 or 7.
It's an enormous gap. I'm talking about it's
kind of like the gap between the Eagles and Chiefs. The Eagles have by far the better team. It is not close.
It is not by far the better team. They have a better team. It's not by far.
They do.
Let's not disrespect the Chiefs.
Right?
Because of one player, it's not by far.
Chris Jones is better than any defensive player on the Eagles.
How about the whole defensive line?
Karlaftis is really good.
It's not the Eagles.
Frank Clark has 9.5 sacks in 12 playoff games.
The Eagles have 4 players with 10 plus sacks.
Yeah, but it's Chris Jones. Let's stop acting like the Chiefs don't have this talent outside Mahomes. This is not a one-man show. The Chiefs are a great roster. They have the best tight end.
They do.
Right now,
Absolutely.
the Chiefs have
go through it,
the best coach in football, the best quarterback in football, the best tight end in football, the best defensive lineman in Chris Jones in football. That secondary is young, but they get after it. You're reaching
with the Chris Jones one.
You named 4
Who's the better defensive lineman than Chris Jones this season?
You would take some of the edge rushers.
Who?
I would take Bosa over him. I would be taking Parsons over him.
If you take Bosa and Parsons over him, it's by a little bit.
I'm still taking
It's not,
Miles Garrett.
and also
Miles
with
Garrett,
how the
TJ
NFL, Jalen
TJ Watt. I'm
Miles
still
Garrett is
taking
not better than
TJ
Chris
Watt.
Jones. What are we doing here?
What?
The way Chris Jones impacts the defense, the defensive tackle is one
Stop
of the
getting
anchors of
hung
the
up
football.
because Chris Jones has been great this
He's
season.
been-
You can
Chris
be
Jones is
great this
phenomenal.
year.
He's
and
literally
not
been
be
a
put
top
in-
3 DPOY candidate. You just told me Miles
great.
Garrett was better.
Nick Bosa
Miles
is
Garrett
great.
has not been better than
Yeah,
Chris
and
Jones.
Parsons
Chris
probably
Jones,
comes second.
you know that Chris Jones is the most doubled defensive tackle in the NFL and has the highest pressure rate of any defensive tackle in the NFL.
That's
So
because
that,
Aaron Donald was hurt this year.
no, but but Aaron Donald is not up there right now. The gap
So
between
one
Chris.
season, that's it. It's done. Aaron Donald doesn't exist.
Well, I said this season, Chris Jones has been the best defensive lineman in football.
Okay,
He has
regardless,
the highest double team rate and the highest pressure rate.
defensive
There's
linemen
a
don't
gap
typically win
between
you want to
everybody
know why
and him.
that's also the fact? Because who else are you going to cover on that defensive line?
No
So
one else cares.
wait. So that
No
means
one's
that
really scaring you. Correct, Joel.
if that's true, that means that they can double team Chris Jones more, and he shouldn't be getting pressure, but he's getting double teamed and getting the most pressure rate of any
And
defensive
he's
lineman
also
in
going to
the
be going
NFL.
up
He's
against
gonna-
the best
thank you.
offensive
Well said.
line that
Well
he will
said.
see all season.
Well said.
Oh, I guess so, but Chris Jones.
No,
is
not I
Chris
guess.
Jones.
It is
No,
a
it's
100,000%
Chris
fact.
Chris Jones is Chris Jones. Last week I told you he was going to dominate the Bengals matchup. They triple teamed him. It didn't matter.
Bengals
The
offensive
Chris
line
Jones,
is
Bengals,
not
you're
the
going
Eagles'
from
offensive line.
bottom
Not
5
even
units.
close.
to
Chris
the best
Jones
unit.
dominated the Jaguars too.
The Jaguars offensive
Jaguars-
line is
Jones,
not the
bro.
Eagles'
Chris Jones
offensive
is-
line.
None of these
Chris
teams-
Jones-
Dude,
Kelsey,
dude,
Chris
you're
All-Pro.
Jones
talking-
has been dominating
You hear
all
yourself
season
talk,
long.
bro.
Are you guys watching Chris
You're
Jones?
talking about the
Are you
Jaguars.
watching Chris Jones?
Talking about the
It's Jason
Jaguars and
Kelsey,
the
it's Lane,
Bengals.
like these are all
You're
pro guys.
Hall of
the best
Famers.
offensive line in
First
the
ballot
league. It's
Hall
not
of
the same.
No, there's no doubt, but let's stop acting like Chris Jones is not the best defensive player on
He
the
is.
Eagles and the Chiefs.
He
He's the
is.
best by far. It's not even close.
Yeah, but
He's
the
best
Eagles
defensive player.
front line is better as a whole. The defensive line is better as a whole.
And
Chris
the
Jones
offensive,
is yes, he's
and the
better than
offensive
all of
line
them. He's better as
clears
a
and the
whole.
corners
Yeah, but
clear.
the Chiefs
The-
defensive
and the
line is not a
receivers
slouch. It's
clear.
one of
It's not- it
It's
doesn't
one-
have
it's
to
a
be-
top. It's a top
That's
10 defensive
okay,
line in
okay,
football.
but it's the same. Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, it's the same gap. Hurts is not a slouch, but there is a gap between Mahomes and Hurts.
For sure.
The Eagles' defensive line is the gap between them and the Chiefs.
Correct.
The Chiefs' defense is not a slouch, but
There's
is
a
a
gap.
gap. It's
There's a gap.
okay.
Yes.
They've
It
speak-
can
You
still
know,
be a
Riv,
gap.
He's
No,
spinning.
there's not a gap. The team, listen, the Eagles are a better team. You go top to
No, I'm just
bottom.
like the defensive
Yeah,
line.
there'll be more players positionally that they have more position groups that are better. There's no doubt. But the difference is not significant. It's not significant. Like the Eagles' offensive line, yes, Pro Bowl unit, but then again,
All right,
the
secondary.
the Chiefs,
significant or not?
it's significant.
Okay,
It's significant.
defensive line
Names,
is, so the
names, but the
defensive line
sa-
is not
the-
significant
The
in your opinion?
safeties on the Chiefs are better.
Gardner
Juwan
Johnson.
I was going to say,
Juwan
didn't he lead
Thornhill,
the
Justin
NFL in-
Reed,
He did.
in
Cook,
interceptions.
Brian Cook, Juwan
Gardner
Thornhill,
Johnson's
Justin
great.
Reed.
Gardner Johnson's a
Oh,
really
yes,
good
who's
safety.
a second safety? Can you name me? I asked you this
Maddox.
question last week.
Maddox.
It's not ideal.
The
Oh, but-
Chiefs,
And Blankenship.
the
Yeah, I know.
Chiefs
Yeah.
safeties,
One
the
safety
Chiefs
is
safeties
bad.
are better. Corners, no doubt. You have the corners, and I would say the two outside corners, the slot. The Chiefs have the slot. L'Jarius Sneed is a better slot than is a better nickel than
Is he
any
signed in
of the
Slade
nickel
Jr.?
the Eagles
Jr.
have.
and
He will
Bradbury
be
Clear.
playing,
Cool.
but I think that they'll put Brian Cook in the slot more because to have a bigger
Mhm.
body stopping a run. All I'm saying is not a gap. Let's not disrespect the Chiefs. They're here. They're 16-3 for a reason. They have the
I
same
was going to
record
say,
as
because we were
as
about
the
to go
Eagles
through
for
the
the
position
reason.
groups.
Coming-
We were about to
But
go
we
through
would've
the
got
position
ugly.
groups,
We
and
would've got
it would have gotten ugly.
You
Really.
would have had two units.
Because again,
you would have quarterback and center.
That's it.
You
That's
think
it.
you think Sanders is better than Pacheco just off eye test?
That's a toss up.
It's mad close.
They're
It
both
really
good.
is.
They're both good running
All I'm
backs.
saying is
Eagles
that the
running
Chiefs
room is
before the
just
season
better.
had
Yeah.
the hardest schedule of difficulty in the NFL, and they were still able to go 16-3. Drew, you
Good
had them
pivot.
missing the
Good
playoffs.
pivot.
Drew, you said Mahomes is going to fall off. He ain't fall off. Now he's here. You know what? Riv, I'm going to feel, listen,
You
if,
getting desperate?
I'm not getting
Are you
desperate.
desperate?
He brought
Listen,
the Mahomes fall up. Talk to me.
I picked Mahomes to win
I was
this
going to say,
game.
let's stay on conversation.
$100 money line. I'm not backing down from nothing.
All right.
I have the Chiefs in this game. Now, Riv, for
Talk to
you,
me. What's up?
because you're an Eagles fan and I know that's your team, that's who you root for. You know what? When the Eagles lose, I will shake your hand, I will FaceTime, and I will say, bro, it's a great game. I'm sorry. No respect for you guys. The disrespect that you
Okay.
put on Patrick Mahomes all season
Correct.
long. The disrespect.
You think I feel bad about it?
continue to
Do you think I
root
feel bad
against
about
him.
it?
I hope
Now,
the Grizzlies
listen,
are
I don't
supposed to.
listen. I don't care.
Honest to God, am I supposed to sit
Oh, no,
here
you
and
won't.
coddle
Yeah,
Patrick
no.
Mahomes? Never
Now
a day
listen,
in my
I
life.
don't
will that
care.
happen.
I don't care that Sean Payton is your head coach now. Mahomes will still own your division, and I hope you know that this year and for the years coming. Dehls,
I'm going to be
listen.
ignorant and say that that's
None of
wrong.
my business. You brought your team
I
up.
know
None
you're a
of my
Jalen
business.
Hurts guy. I know you are. There's no doubt about it. You are a Jalen Hurts guy, and I'll give you that credit. I'll give you that credit. But you don't have to disrespect the Chiefs the way you did in your monologue. That
I disrespected them.
That hurt my feelings. And the Chiefs, for the first time, the Chiefs are underdogs in the big time game. Well, last week people kind of bet against them too.
Yeah.
They showed out. You don't want to bet against the Chiefs. This is a dynasty. This is a dynasty. And historically, when you run into a dynasty, you lose. Patrick Mahomes is going to win this game. And you guys, we're all going to see Sunday the enormous. I'm talking about United States to Mexico border there is between Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. There's an enormous gap. We're talking about the best quarterback to ever play the game of football.
What do you
it's
think?
Not even close.
What do you think Hurts' biggest weakness is against zone coverage?
It's against zone coverage.
Do you think Burrow struggles against zone coverage?
No, Joe Burrow and
Jalen Hurts have about the same EPA per play against zone.
Joe Burrow, what the thing with him?
Yeah, I was
with the. It's not all zone coverage.
Stats.
It's cover 3.
It just doesn't make me feel good.
Oh, it just struggles against one coverage.
Yeah, I mean, cover 3 zone is different because there's cover 2,
yeah,
there's cover 4, there's cover 6. Yep. I mean, there's quarters, there's different coverages.
Are we going to assume that this stat engulfed all of that together? I'm just going to assume.
It just said zone coverage.
Cover 3. Jalen Hurts is very, very bad against cover 3. Okay. He is.
But it's funny because when the
Chiefs don't run much cover 3.
But a lot of teams when they play the Eagles, they play man coverage.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta.
I mean, so the limited plays that they play zone, maybe he's not the best at it, but
Eagles
are they really going
to
stop?
Well, the 49ers ran zone and he struggled to.
And another thing also, it's the Super Bowl. If you're not expecting Jalen Hurts to use his legs this game, you're out of your mind. Jalen Hurts is going to be a pest running the football all game long. Because he's been taking it easy these last 2 because he hasn't had to do much. But now you're going against the Chiefs, who, again, no one here is trying to discredit the Chiefs and what they've accomplished this season. These are 2 alphas, no doubt. But this is the biggest game of the season. You're Jalen Hurts. Your injuries don't matter to you anymore. You're trying to win the big game. You have an entire offseason to get right. He's going to do whatever it takes. And I'm expecting him to definitely utilize his legs. Jalen Hurts rushed for 100. I would not be shocked.
His biggest weakness for me too is bailing out of the pocket too early.
You could do that. For sure.
I think it happens a lot, but I think Jalen Hurts he's a great quarterback. There's no doubt he's a great quarterback. I just think there's a gap between him and Mahomes. And this Sunday,
nobody is saying
we gonna see Mahomes.
You're making it seem like Jalen Hurts and Mahomes. Again, I said they're in the same tier.
I'm glad you got off that point because when we were talking about Payton in terms of gaps in quarterbacks, Payton went against Rex Grossman. Of course, he won, but that defense was great that he went against in Chicago. He still won. Next Super Bowl, Peyton Manning versus Drew Brees. Payton was better marginally. Of course, the Saints ended up winning that game. Next Super Bowl, Peyton Manning and Russell Wilson. We're not going to sit here and at the time like it wasn't unbelievable, the gap.
Between Payton and Russell?
Yes. And we got smoked.
Legion Blue was also a historically great defense.
And we got smoked.
In the cold.
The Eagles are not a historically great defense. It's not what they are.
They're not historically great, but they're still a great elite unit.
Number 1 passing
against good offenses, they have been exposed bad. That's what they have been exposed.
We're just going on the age.
No, because he's trying to say
the
gap difference. The gap difference in Mahomes to Jalen Hurts. Right. No one is sitting here and saying that is incorrect.
Nobody.
What he's saying is facts. There is
on his Mahomes brand.
But there's again, it alludes to what I started my statements with is when you're comparing 2 alphas, you have to try your damnedest to try and minimize that other alpha to try and enhance yours.
Payton definitely did clear Russell.
No, that was the 55, 50. Bro, what are we doing?
This game will be close, but Mahomes will come out on top.
No, it has to be close.
So what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't? What are you gonna do? Like,
what if he doesn't? What?
Win? No, because if it's part 2, the game that people don't like to mention. We don't like to bring up this game, the Bucks versus the Chiefs Super Bowl. No one likes to bring it up. If part 2 occurs,
I don't say anything.
I don't.
It'd be interesting.
He was making some ridiculous plays in that game,
right? Isn't that crazy?
Mahomes was
isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? You lose by what was it? 20 points. Somehow, some way, you're still getting praised. Only Patrick Mahomes. No, I'm fine with it.
I mean, he did it with Daniel Jones when he lost against the Eagles.
I did not. I said he.
That wasn't a blow. No, it was. We kicked your ass.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't say he played good
again. Not ideal.
Would you say
you've been praising Tua, and after that December stretch, you're still praising these guys. But Mahomes has one sticker.
Listen, you just came at me with a dog shit point. You went back into your bag of tricks of I know what the fans like. I know that they like to bring it when I bring up Tua.
Mahomes really gets them going. Super Bowl. The stats may have looked bad, but if you watch the game, he was amazing. He was amazing.
Evading, yes, for sure. Drop passes, no doubt.
What's the biggest difference between that game and this game, Drew? Is that after that Super Bowl, what did the Chiefs do? Oh my goodness, we need an offensive line because our offensive line stinks. They drafted an entire. They fixed offensive line in one offseason.
Their tackles this season have not been as good as they were the previous.
You're right. but
but
it's
they
still Orlando
cooked
Brown
that
Jr.
offseason.
You know, you just I at
Platoon
least
is
trust
still
that
good,
left side
for
a little
sure.
bit.
Absolutely.
So I mean, listen,
Creed Humphrey, that whole left side is firm.
this offensive line is a great unit. It's not that. You know, if 5 guys get injured, okay, that's
again,
a different story.
I'm not for sure. Injuries definitely did play a toll in that game. But again, now we're going against you guys are going against the Eagles defensive line who has 4 guys who have over 10. You have Hassan Reddick, who's just been on an absolute tear this season. They're going to have to bring their A game. This offensive line is going to have to play arguably the best game of the season if the Chiefs want to be comfortable on offense.
I would say AJ Brown has to come to play. He hasn't had
You're spitting.
We've been the destroying team, so he hasn't needed to. But this has to be his why did we pay you? This got to be the why we
He's the
pay
big
you.
body.
Yeah.
You can give him a
and
ball over
Devontae got
the
to
top
earn that.
and
Why you need to pay me because he has to come play.
Devontae been doing this thing.
Yeah, I need them two to really come and be like.
They really haven't had. No one on this offense has been asked to do a lot.
Exactly. So it's
maybe
like,
the offensive line,
but AJ was
right?
fake,
I guess
AJ was fake
The offensive
complaining.
line's been phenomenal.
Absolutely, but
AJ was fake complaining about it a little bit, like he's not seeing touches. Like, bro, we're up 30.
It's 2 blowout.
So now
games.
that it's about to get a game, I need you to.
I know. I'm going to
come
come
out.
out.
You asked me the question of what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, what are you gonna
if
do
they
if
lose?
Mahomes lose?
Well, I'll go on vacation the day after, so I'm gonna be gone from the face of the earth for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, we're gonna cook you no matter you're
No,
here or not.
it's fine. No, he's gonna face the music. We're gonna have that show, and then he gets to go on vacation.
Oh yeah, we're doing it the Monday after.
We're gonna
before you go.
exactly. He's gonna have to face the music, or we'll have to face the music. Listen, this game is definitely close,
Not ideal.
but from how I'm sitting, it'll be very hard for me to see the Eagles losing.
John, who do you got? Got the
I
Eagles.
feel amazing that all you guys are picking the Eagles. I'll be honest. It actually makes me feel like I'm gonna be
true
right.
or false. Amazing that I'm not on your side.
You never been on my side, brother.
Just our history so far, these playoffs. I just rather not.
say that.
Come on, bro. That was
Am I wrong?
mean.
Like he didn't
Not
need
overly,
to say that.
but it was wrong.
It's statistically correct.
Some statistics don't need to be brought up.
All right.
Now you gotta cook. If Mahomes wins,
See, look, you've been aiming a lot of your disrespect
No,
at
that's
me.
why. That's
You've
why.
been aiming a lot of your
Listen,
disrespect
listen,
at me when this guy's coming crazy.
Hey, listen, the thing about Dehls is that I still feel bad about his 0-5 Jets take, so I'm not trying to pounce on him. You know?
Okay.
And then the Celtics disappointing. Listen, I'm gonna leave you alone, Dehls. Listen, I'm gonna leave you alone. The audience has been noticing these flips in your sides too. They've been noticing.
No, they know you still are Mr. Flip aside.
Oh yeah, I got a trademark. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. But you're junior.
No.
But
Far
you're
from.
junior.
Now, our picks for Boom Fantasy, because of course we're gonna have some Boom Fantasy picks,
Of course.
and we're gonna do a 4-leg parlay for the Super Bowl. Now, for me, I got the Chiefs in this game, but we can't pick money line, so I got 2 picks for Boom. Mahomes 293.5 passing yards. I'm taking it over. And Kadarius Toney X Factor 22.5 receiving yards. I'm going over on that too.
Okay, so then I decided to go the Eagles route, of course. Jalen Hurts, I was talking about his rushing and how I believe that it will be on full display this Sunday. I'm going with his over 10.5 rush attempts. Against the Niners, he had 10 rush attempts, and that was in a game where he really didn't have to run that much, and he still hit that over. I believe it was 9.5. Now it's 10.5 in a situation where he's definitely going to be asked to do a little bit more. I firmly expect that one to hit.
And for me, I just talked about it. AJ Brown, Devonta Smith got to come to play. I got Devonta Smith over 5 receptions.
Like
he
that.
needs to have a big game. He needs to come to play.
Which means he needs to have 6 receptions.
6.
Just letting everyone know. Disclaimer for anyone that's confused.
People get very confused
He
over
could
that.
I saw
Thank
his.
you.
So can you explain to me, because I saw that Boom was doing this thing where they were moving a prop, the yards to, what was it, 59?
57, because Super Bowl 57.
So it was one player got moved to 57, receiver.
Yeah, it was Smith yesterday. Kelsey.
So I was like,
today.
oh, then I'm cheesing.
So
I'm
every
making Mahomes.
So every day a new player.
Yeah, every day from 3 to 4 o'clock there'll be a
very
new
cool.
player.
So
who
Boom
will-
Fantasy Happy Hour every day from 3 to 4 o'clock. A player will move to
57
line.
yards. Yeah, I
nice.
don't.
Is it gonna be
I want
Mahomes
to say
and Hurts,
tomorrow
57?
I want to say tomorrow's gonna be Miles. No, it's not gonna be.
Because I was gonna say, hey,
I want to
Boom's
say
giving away some
tomorrow
money.
is Miles Sanders 57.5 rushing. I want to say.
All right, that's good. Now listen, you guys can download Boom Fantasy. Link is in our bio, and use code PAS for a $100 risk-free entry. That's our 4-leg parlay for Super Bowl. You got to make it hit.
There we go.
Got to make it hit.
Excited.
Now, we're gonna have OG on in a few, but before we have OG on, let's talk about these Denver Broncos.
Let's do it.
They hired Sean Payton.
We did.
You traded a 2023 first-round pick. Something else he was wrong about, Dehls.
No.
We had a big debate about that.
I don't
you know.
I think it was like a 2-minute debate.
No, it was like a 10-minute debate about if
scary.
it's just going to go for a first-round pick. We go back, look at the receipts, buddy. Let's do it.
I'm glad you got that W.
Oh yeah, it was easy, Dubs.
Bro's taking a W with Sean Payton trade.
2024 second rounder to the Saints for Sean Payton and 2024 third rounder.
Yep.
Now we signed a 5-year deal through 2027, about $18 million annually. Now, what do you think about this, you? Because you wanted Sean Payton. You need somebody to fix Russell Wilson. Who knows if it's going to be him? What are your thoughts on Sean Payton?
So, I'm sure everyone's been waiting on this. We were supposed to have this last week and we decided to clip it, but now we're talking about it now. My Christmas wish list was to have Sean Payton join the Denver Broncos. And there was a point in time where I wasn't even overly confident that this would happen, but apparently it was never in doubt. The way that they've been in constant communication, Sean Payton said that the Broncos were one of the few teams that he was interested in coming to and the most interested team to come to. For us to acquire Sean Payton, who, of course, did have Drew Brees for a majority of his career and did lead his team to having the number one passing offense 6 times, to be number one in total yards 6 times. Sean Payton is an amazing head coach. And, of course, in the past, I had been a little critical of Sean Payton for the fact that he did have Drew Brees as his quarterback, and I put him more on Drew Brees than him. Then the year after, what does he do without Drew Brees? Goes 9-8 when Ian Book comes in at times to be the quarterback, and you still have an over 500 record. And then he decides to take the year off. So now, of course, as a Denver Bronco fan who just witnessed one of the more unfortunate seasons as a fan where we had expectations and we did not live up to them, not even anywhere near close to that, to now get Sean Payton, who's going to hold everyone on this team accountable, more importantly, Russell Wilson, and why people were trying to make a huge deal out of Sean Payton saying that no extra coaches from the outside will be in our building working with players. In terms of, we're talking about Russell Wilson and the guys that he brings from outside to work with him and his quarterback coaches. He said that that's foreign to him. And why I'm 100% okay with that is because Russ is new to the Broncos. I understand we're going into year 2, but Russ is new. And it seems as if people got as I spit all over the place, I apologize. People got the impression that Russell is this bigger than life personality, and that's kind of how he carries himself, that the world revolves around him. And I'm happy that we're bringing in a head coach to bring Russell back to reality of what is at the forefront, playing quarterback for the Denver Broncos. And what Sean Payton is going to do is primarily hone in on trying to fix Russ's mistakes. And we brought in the best guy to do so because, again, the most important thing is accountability. And what Sean Payton's track record has shown for a laundry list of seasons is that he can do so. I understand that it's Drew Brees. And, of course, Drew Brees is one of the all-time great quarterbacks this game's ever seen. But so is Russell Wilson. And I understand we just saw his worst season yet, but I have no doubt in my mind that with Sean Payton, he will have a bounce-back year. With Sean Payton, we should be back to the expectations that we had last season. I'm not going to go the whole way of the way that I was chatting, AFC Championship, Super Bowl, but at the minimum, we should be in that conversation to make the Super Bowl because we still have a great talented defense. I'm sorry, I meant playoffs.
Okay.
I meant playoffs.
I was say, hold on, let's run this back.
Freudian slip, because you know what I want.
Yes.
You know what I want. I want the Lombardi. But, of course, the goal has to be to get to the playoffs, and I think that should be our expectation. Be a playoff team. We have a great defense. We have great talent on the defensive side. We have good offensive personnel. I want to see us bring in more O-linemen this offseason. But again, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy showed that when he is the X factor, the X of the offense, that he can be wildly successful. Now with Sean Payton, now KJ Hamler becomes intriguing to me. Javonte Williams now coming back from injury. There is conversation that Saquon Barkley may not be a New York Giant. Maybe we go and we make a splash at Saquon Barkley. That's me being a fan and, of course, being optimistic. But you speak anything to existence, who knows? But I'm very optimistic, of course. But this was a great move and something that Broncos fans needed. We needed some excitement after a complete disappointment of the season. Now we have Sean Payton, and now it seems like back-to-back seasons, depending on what happens with Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers, that the Broncos 2 seasons in a row have had the biggest splash move of the offseason.
Now, I think Russell Wilson will have a bounce-back season, but not in the way of people are thinking he is. I don't think he's an elite quarterback anymore, and that showed last year. Now, I know that people want to put the blame on Hackett. I thought the biggest problem with the Broncos last season was Russell Wilson, and Nathaniel Hackett deserves some blame for his coaching and clock management, but in terms of calling plays, I thought he was one of the better play callers, and Russell Wilson, he designed a lot of plays that he put on the onus of Russell Wilson to make, and Russell Wilson just wasn't able to read the field all that well. The good news about that is that Sean Payton has succeeded with a variety of different quarterbacks. Drew Brees in the later parts of his years, his last 2 seasons, Drew Brees was noticeably washed. I thought he was noticeably washed.
You got to use that word?
I just thought he was. I'm sorry. I thought he was noticeably bad.
Last year, especially.
Yeah, but guess what? If ask me how many touchdowns he had that last season with the Saints.
24.
So how many interceptions?
8.
Drew Brees, his last season, had I'm trying to find
I
it.
thought you nailed that.
Maybe.
He did nail it. I know he did nail it. Yeah.
Emmy.
Oh.
So Drew Brees had 24 touchdowns to 6 interceptions last season.
Right.
The year before,
Noticeably washed.
the year before, it was 27-4. And
No, he's
that's
washed,
the thing.
though,
If
but-
he couldn't throw the ball past 10
Now,
yards.
he was washed.
He declined.
Yeah.
Noticeably washed is crazy.
It showed itself in the playoffs. He was noticeably
No,
washed.
against the Bucks, definitely.
Like he
looked a
couldn't
little
throw down the
overmatched.
field
He
anymore.
could not.
I thought, even though that's what I'm saying, though, Sean Payton is so good that a washed quarterback had these stats. It's kind of like what McDaniel did with Tua. That's what I'm
shit.
saying. Like these
Tua's washed.
coaches. Well, I don't know if he's got it started yet. He hasn't been put in the laundry yet.
It was wild.
He hasn't been put in the laundry. It's funny.
Russ has never been a pure pocket passer. Drew Brees was. That's what he has working to his disadvantage. But you look at how he succeeded with Teddy Bridgewater. When Drew Brees got hurt, Teddy Bridgewater went 5-0. He had a 100+ passer rating. Teddy Bridgewater has not been able to replicate that success ever. And then the first year when Drew Brees retired and Jameis Winston was there, I mean, Jameis was playing great until he went down with injury. Part of the reason why is because, and Sean Payton talked about it in his presser for the Broncos, is that he adapts. He tailors his offense to the strengths of the quarterbacks. He said what he was going to do to the Broncos. Cut up of all Russ's plays past 30 yards or more. Russ was great off the naked boot in Seattle, and film of his red zone touchdowns inside the 20. So Sean Payton is going to cater this offense to what Russ does, and it's going to be kind of training wheels offense. You know, I think Russ will play well, and it's good that the offensive line's going to get healthy. Javonte, Tim Patrick's healthy, so you'll have some weapons there. You have an elite defense, but ultimately, I think that Russ is not going to be that same elite level quarterback, but he'll have a bounce back season because Sean Payton is not going to call a game for him that he doesn't feel comfortable in him executing.
Home run higher for the Broncos. Right before this was happening, it seemed like who are we talking about? Shane Steichen. That was going to be our guy, right? Or our guy.
Good.
It's going to be Drew's guy because
You could say our.
okay, I'll respect that. It was getting ugly if you're a Broncos fan because you had all this hype. You had Harbaugh from Michigan. You had Sean Payton. You had all these guys that have this big name value would also bring just an offensive mind and overall a better culture to the organization than what Hackett did. Obviously, being one of the bigger failures as a head coach in the last few seasons, things get quiet for a little bit. Sean Payton goes on TV, says there's a 70% chance of coming back to Fox. And then all of a sudden he comes back and he's the head coach of the Denver Broncos. It really seemed like a miracle when I got that notification on my phone that was going to happen. Getting a first round pick. I also think it's not really being talked about a lot, but the fact that you gave up the Niners first round pick instead of your pick in 2024, because if I'm the Saints, I would much rather have that 2024 first than the 29th overall pick. That's what San Fran was this past season. I'll take my bet that Broncos aren't going to have that pick next year, especially in a quarterback class that's better than 2023. Sean Payton not only is this good for Russell Wilson, but if things don't work out with Russ, he could make it work with another quarterback. I understand that Russ has the huge contract and you're obviously tied for him financially, but in a year from now, 2 years from now, like, can you go get somebody on a not huge contract, or can you go draft a rookie if you're drafting around the 14th, 15th pick? I understand everyone's focused on Russell Wilson. You should be. Priority number one is fixing him and trying to get him back to his Seattle days. But I also don't think that should be the end goal here. I don't think if you're a Broncos fan, you should be looking at it saying, Sean Payton has to come in and fix Russell Wilson. I want him to be here for after Russell Wilson.
The only thing I'm thinking.
I understand that, but I want him here after Russell Wilson, or if things don't work out for Russ, because I kind of agree with Joel. I don't think Russ is going to be back to that top 5-6 level of quarterback. Part of that is because of a decline in play, but also the other quarterbacks that are great that weren't here a couple of years ago. Joe Burrow wasn't in that conversation Russ's last elite year. Josh Allen was definitely starting to enter it. Lamar is there. We have Jalen Hurts now. We just have a lot of guys entering that conversation of being deservedly in that top 5, 6, 7. Russ, the combination of him declining isn't great for him being a top 5 guy. Herbert, too, was not someone in that conversation. And then you look at the division with the Chiefs and with the Chargers having elite quarterbacks already. This puts you on par, at least with coaching with Andy Reid. The quarterback play is still obviously a bit behind everyone in that division outside the Raiders, depending on what they do. But I think if I'm the Broncos fan, not only is this good for Russell Wilson, but I know if I have to draft a rookie, get a Jimmy G type of guy, if Russ really fails, I know I have the perfect head coach to make the offense work.
I think this is interesting. You guys talked a lot about Sean Payton and fixing Russell Wilson. And I think, well, for starters, great move. Duh.
Thanks, man.
You're getting a top 5 coach in the league. You know, he's one of the best to do it. So shout out to Sean Payton. He has a lot of work to do, you know, but they got weapons on the outside. They got weapons in the running back room. And they have Russell Wilson, who I think will still be a serviceable quarterback. You know, he can still be top 10, top 15. But I think it's interesting that you guys didn't touch on the landscape of the AFC. And I think that is just as important as getting Sean Payton. I mean, you got, you know, just to start off, you still got the Chiefs that are going to be here. You still got the Chargers. That's in your division. Not really worried about the Raiders at the moment. But then you go over, you got the Ravens so far right now until Lamar decides somewhere else. You got Miami on the rise. Buffalo's going to be around. Cincinnati. Cleveland's right there. You know, they can. Deshaun Watson could turn back into
Jets get
Jesus.
Rodgers.
Jets, if they get Aaron Rodgers, that's another team. So I think it's interesting.
Likely, though.
Yeah. Why you say that?
Las Vegas.
Yeah, not ideal.
Derek Carr's going to the Saints, I think.
He is.
Really?
They're in cap hell. He'd have to be released and then make it work. So then it'd be, you know, anyone's game.
He's visiting there right now.
He is.
Yeah.
But
on vacation?
I don't.
No, he's visiting the building.
Really? They still do that
The
shit?
Saints. I don't think the Saints will be able to make the cap work in the next 10 days to pull off a trade.
Interesting. Yeah, I think the dynamic of the AFC is really important because you have an elite defense, but for you to really make, like, for Sean Payton and Russell Wilson to get back to that playoffs, it's going to be extremely tough. I think Russell Wilson is going to have to play at that level for a good majority part of the season. But even if he does, you got the top guys, and then you got guys on the come up. And I think with the AFC, you know, with the way it is built right now, I mean, you got 2 to 3 teams in damn near every division that could maybe outside the Jaguars division, which stinks. Every other division, you have 2-3 teams that can legit make a run. So it's going to be extremely tough. And it's up to Sean Payton, not just for the, like, just talking up to next season. He has to fix Russell Wilson. Like, there's just no way to put it, because if he doesn't fix Russell Wilson, and if he doesn't play at that elite level at times, which I don't think he will, it's going to be extremely tough for Denver to get into the playoffs. Like, their defense is elite, but Judy is really good. They got Javonte Williams, but when you see teams with Stephon Diggs, with Travis Kelce, then you still got to respect Justin Herbert. You still got Lamar. Then you got Jamar chasing them boys. It's just like, just looking outside of Russell Wilson, the dynamic is just so different in the AFC. It's hard to really look at this team and think, all right, they got Sean Payton. Now this is just an automatic playoff team.
Yeah, like, really, there's 2 teams in the AFC probably rebuilding, both in the AFC South. You have the
Texans
Colts and the Texans.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the Raiders, you could think, but we know they were interested in Brady. They're interested in Rodgers, Jimmy G. They want to vet. The Steelers were probably one of the worst teams in the AFC, but they're trying to win. Yeah. Same, like, the Browns had a bad year, but they traded for Deshaun. Like, there's really no teams in the AFC right now. Basically, everyone is trying to compete.
14 teams.
It's
in
not
the
often you see that.
16
in each.
So
yeah.
14 AFC teams are trying to make the playoffs.
So the question for you guys here. So everybody's wondering this. Will Sean Payton fix Russell Wilson? Now, last year, Russell Wilson's share price on Mojo was $101 to start the season. That's dropped all the way to $89 now. Mm-hmm. Do you think that he increases his price next season? Would you go long on him, or is he somebody you're staying away from?
The Broncos lost 9 games from 1 score. The Broncos defense was that elite. I think that's something we need to have conversation about. Russell Wilson, you can say that you don't think that he'll get back to this elite level. I could live with that statement. I'm not happy hearing it, of course, as a Broncos fan and as a Russell Wilson fan. But all Russell Wilson has to do is simply just be better than he was last season. And I think with Sean Payton, it makes it a lot easier for that to occur. And I feel like 9 one-score games at least gets dropped to 4 or 5, optimistically. We have such a great offense, a great defense, that I believe that with Sean Payton now, it'll mask the issues that Russell Wilson had last year. And when Nathaniel Hackett left, then Russell Wilson started to cook up a little bit. And now with Sean Payton, it should just only be cooking up from here on out.
2 games.
But he was still great.
Week 17 and 18.
Against your illustrious Chiefs.
No, it's week 18.
I'm just
like,
it was week 17.
Week 17. Come
18
on.
Chargers.
You guys were fighting for the 1 seed.
You
guys mattered.
Don't give him that.
No, I'm gonna give him this. So I hope he understands and feels that.
I actually have your opponents up.
No, I was looking at them as well. Not good ones. That's exactly my point. Our offense was so bad that we were losing to mid-level to below mid-level
Lost to
tier
Zach
teams.
Wilson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You heard what Mike LaFleur said?
What?
There was a report that came out that Mike LaFleur and another coach on the Jets were saying Zach was better than Trevor Lawrence pre-draft. Mike LaFleur was vouching for Zach that much. The same coach that wasn't able to cater his offense to him.
So
Let
in
it
terms
It made me
of
angry.
so what was the question? Do I believe that his future value?
So are you going long on him this season?
I believe in Russell Wilson. And if that's blind faith, I don't care. I believe in Russell Wilson. I firmly believe that he will have a bounce back year. And thanks, bro.
You're a man.
Thank you.
And you're entitled to do whatever you want to do. And you know what? If you believe, I believe in you to believe. I'm shorting that shit. I'm staying as far away as Russell Wilson.
Come on.
What are the
as
odds that
possible.
Jacoby Brissett comes in and takes his job?
Small.
Nah, this small.
For Mojo, I'm not looking to invest in these guys like the
Old heads.
the old heads. I'm not really looking for. We were talking before the show. I like the under the radar guys. Trey Lance. You talking about Anthony Richardson,
Jordan
Jordan
Love.
Love.
No.
Who?
Brock
Purdy.
Purdy.
I don't know. Caleb Williams is someone I'm really high on. So Russell Wilson, $89. It might go up a couple of dollars, but if I'm on Mojo, I'm looking for those guys who are $15 or under, who I know could get to $30, $40 and really, double, triple my money.
Now, we're gonna touch on this last subject and have OG and PeeWee come on. They're in the waiting room right now. The Texans hired DeMeco Ryans, and
I'm waiting too long.
I don't know about you guys, but I love this move.
Rightfully so.
6-year contract, former All-Pro for the Texans legend. And the 49ers defensive ranks were 3rd in yards in 2021, 9th in points in 2022 this past season. They were number 1 across the board. Now, the Texans have the most cap space. They have the 4th most cap space at $37 million, and they have the 2nd and 12th overall picks in this draft and 5 picks within the top 75. For me, I think the Texans are one of those teams that could be a quick rebuild, a quick turnaround. And DeMeco Ryan's, what he's going to bring to this team defensively and from a culture standpoint, I could really see this team taking a big time jump in about 2 seasons because they have to get the quarterback situation figured out. But in all honesty, and this is the question I'll pose to you guys. Should the Texans draft a quarterback?
Yes, absolutely.
100%.
I don't know if I agree with that entirely.
So one more season of being bad?
I say that because
you have to get the number 1 pick.
They can lose every game.
They got the number 2 pick this year.
Yeah, they fucked themselves.
God forbid.
But is he that good?
All right, I'll say
you gamble and you wait.
yes.
You want to know why I say that?
Give me star.
Because
Yeah, but you can't gamble on it.
you look at the
Is he that
Texans.
good?
Yes,
I'm asking you.
but you're
But again,
gambling on being the worst team. You're being like
you
they
have
were
to
the
do it
worst
again.
team all year,
You have
and
to do
then
it
week
again.
18 they fucked it up.
You know
Bryce
why?
Young, or you take a gamble on trying to get Caleb and you completely whiff. Now this throws your timeline another year.
Nice too.
I don't know. Bryce Young for me, just the frame. that high in the draft,
Ugh.
he doesn't have the athleticism of a Kyler, like where
He's
he can
athletic, though.
evade sacks.
He makes things happen.
I don't
He's
know.
not-
It's
he's
a
not-
risk. It's a risk.
He's not as athletic, but this happens all the
He has
time
a
with
great- he
prospects.
has a
And I'm not
great
saying
arm.
there's anything wrong. Like if you have a problem with this frame, I get it. But everyone was so high on Bryce Young, and everyone knew he was small. Like everyone knew he wasn't big.
Yeah.
And then every time like pre-draft comes around, it's like, oh wait, all of us, he's small. Like we knew he was small. He was playing at Alabama. Given this Alabama team is far from one of the
Correct.
better. Like
Correct.
they don't have first-round wide receivers in this year. Like the offensive line, the running backs are nowhere near what Mac Jones had, what Tua had, what Jalen Hurts had. Like they were consistently putting out Jerry Jeudy's and Jamison Williams. He didn't have this, right? He had solid teams, but nothing over the top. And he's an outlier of sorts, I would say. I know that word's been thrown around a lot for him. The real question is, what do you do at 2? Do you trade up to number 1 to guarantee you get your guy? Do the Bears trade down with the Colts at number 4? I think regardless, they have 2. They also have 11 or 13, something like that from the
2 and 12.
12 is it?
Yes.
From the Browns. And my favorite mocks I've seen, you get a quarterback at 2, you get a wide receiver at 12. They have needs literally everywhere, but those are their 2 biggest needs to me. Get a quarterback, get a receiver, start developing these guys. You still have draft picks in the future.
My thing is, the reason why I wouldn't draft a quarterback is because I look at the Texans roster. They need to overhaul their defensive line.
They need everything.
Their linebackers.
Except
A
secondary.
cornerback opposite of Stingley, because you have Stingley and Petrie, but you don't have guys outside of that. Your wide receivers, Brandon Cook wants to be traded.
Everything.
Tight ends, interior offensive line,
Everything.
quarterback. So for me, we see teams that when they draft quarterbacks, those quarterbacks succeed because teams already have a foundation in place. I don't think the Texans have that foundation, and I don't know if Bryson is great enough of a prospect to overcome all the glaring holes the Texans have and that he's going to face.
Well, not in year one.
Right away.
Not in one. He's not going to be able to take this Texans team from 2-3 wins to 8-9 wins.
I'd rather get a guy like Jalen Carter, number 2, and Anthony Richardson, 12.
It's interesting, but you still think take a quarterback.
Yeah, but later, I think later.
Yeah.
I think Will Anderson, if he's there at 2, you probably take Will, get the help on the defensive line. I'm thinking that he's the best defensive prospect in this draft.
Or with
him and Carter are close.
Or they have 5 picks within the top 75 of the draft. What if they just use those picks to get defense, to build up their offensive line, draft a receiver, and that's a perfect team for a bridge quarterback like a Brissett or a Jimmy Garoppolo. And Garoppolo was with DeMeco Ryan's with San Fran.
You could.
And you use him as a bridge quarterback and draft a quarterback next year.
Anthony Richardson and or Will Levis. At 12, not insane. If they're there at 12, no doubt.
What if you get the bridge quarterback and then you win too many games?
That's my issue. If you get Jimmy G, you draft all these rookies, you're high in DeMeco Ryan, there's a chance you win 5 or 6 games.
I was going to say,
picking at 8.
The Lions got fortunate. We're fortunate to the fact that they traded with this team and the Rams were giving them a top 6 pick now. That's not going to happen every time. The Broncos giving it to the Seahawks. That's not going to happen every time. That's a coincidence and a luxury at the same
Saints
time.
And Eagles similar to not
that's a
high,
fact.
Fucked.
So I mean, they're really gonna have to. I personally, I feel like you go the safe route. You go the Bryce Young, where at the minimum you can sit and hang your hat on the fact that we drafted the best quarterback prospect that we possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not who was supposed to be, how can you really blame Houston on that? At the minimum, you tried to replace Deshaun Watson. You understood that Davis Mills was not your guy, and now you're putting the main piece into the puzzle.
If you're the Texans, do you gamble on Chicago not taking Young at 1?
It's a trade. That's what you're most worried about.
Chicago's most definitely not going to take.
So do you just wait and say, or you realize that the Colts could try to get that
Colts
number 1 pick,
up,
and you don't want to see Bryce Young in the division?
That's the thing. If the Colts are in strong conversation to trade up, because the Colts are going to give or have to give more.
I think they're bidding with the Colts more than trading with the Bears.
You got to think the Texans and the Colts are in the same division too. Yeah. So it's not only I'm trading up to 1. I'm trading up to 1 to make sure the Colts don't get Bryce or whoever your quarterback.
Pretty much bidding with the Colts more than they're bidding with Chicago.
If I'm Houston and the Colts want to trade up, I let them for the sole fact that, yes, they're going to have to give up assets, but you are not. How do I say this perfectly? I let the Colts trade up because you understand that the Colts are going to have to give up more. But if you're Houston, you still can end up with a great player regardless and not have to reach, because at 12, you still have the luxury of being able to.
What about just letting Davis Mills keep playing?
That's not an option.
Keep losing.
Someone new.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Davis will get you Caleb Williams.
Probably. Yeah. Not wrong.
AFC would be tough next year.
I mean, listen, he choked it out of them not getting Bryce Young.
Payton.
Yeah. I just think they need to build up the roster. Yeah. The quarterback draft class will be better next year. And
this isn't a bad quarterback class by any means, though.
Is Will Levis nice? What's his body?
He's a traits guy.
Yeah. He's got a big
Kentucky.
arm. Big arm.
Yeah.
He doesn't read the field well.
Oh no.
If you're a traits guy, like the Colts,
they love trade guys.
Blanking on their GM.
Chris Ballard.
Thank you. He's a big traits guy.
Got it.
So there's been rumors that Will Levis might be his QB1 because he has the most physical traits, athleticism combination.
So now you may have missed it. We're going to bring Pierre and OG onto the show. Make sure you guys like up the stream.
What's up, fellas?
Who's the other guy? Oh, that was John.
What it is?
What's going on?
What's up?
What's up, man?
Hello, men.
PeeWee in the house. What up, brother? OG, how you feeling, man? First and foremost, apologies, y'all. It's a little echo.
It's all
a little echo in my room.
Hello, man.
I just moved in, so I ain't got a lot of stuff on my wall, so I hope it ain't bothering y'all. What up, though?
That sounds good. Nothing much. Just here, doing the show. We're happy to have you guys on today.
Rev, if your take about Houston, I think that would be perfect to get a bridge quarterback and have somebody play behind him, because that's what happened in Kansas City with Alex Smith being the bridge quarterback. That's why Patrick Mahomes turned into what he turned into, because he wasn't ready from the door. So if you get a guy like Jimmy G and you have him groom somebody, because Jimmy G is not your guy in the future, even if you win in and you end up getting a starting quarterback. He's getting groomed by Jimmy G. Now, if you're going to draft Caleb Williams, what you're telling Chicago is that he's better than Justin Fields. And you know what else you're telling them? We don't know what we're doing in the front office.
Yeah, Justin Fields, I think, is going to be good. So
Oh, really?
Now, Justin
Oh,
Fields.
sometimes I forget. You get one.
My
If
goodness,
you're the
you don't
Bears,
keep up, man.
if you're the Bears and you draft a quarterback at 1,
This
what are
should
you
be
doing?
cool.
What are you
I
doing?
agree. I like the Jalen Carter kid. I like him a lot.
He's good.
Facts.
I
Now
like
you
him a
may have
lot.
missed it. For what we're gonna do here,
Okay.
is we all know the trade that's brewing currently.
Mhm.
The Timberwolves are trying to trade D'Lo. The Lakers want D'Lo, so it's basically a 3-team trade. So the Lakers get D'Lo, Malik Beasley. I'm not sure if Vander's featured in it.
He would be.
The Jazz will get Westbrook, but he'll get bought out. And the Wolves get Mike Conley. So I'm gonna start with you, Pierre. What do you think about that? And does that put the Lakers into contention, or possibly the Wolves? With Conley, Edwards, and Gobert and Cat. What do you think?
Does it put them in contention? That's a crazy question. To Laker fans, it puts them in contention. But I'm past the BS, man. I got to see some results. I really got to see some results from the Lakers. On paper, it elevates the team and makes them better. But we've seen on paper with the Lakers before. I'm ready to see some results. I think it's a good return for what they will be given, no doubt. They don't want Russell Westbrook. It hasn't worked out. But so to get back D'Angelo, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt, and you don't have to give up both of those picks. We only thinking about them giving up one of those picks. I think that's a good return. But I think contention is a stretch. I think playoffs is more on the horizon for them, and then we'll get to the contention after we see them gel together. And if all fails, D'Lo walks. Vanderbilt is always going to have value. I can't remember Malik Beasley's contract situation. Is he on it last year?
He's on the team option.
Team option. Well, you let him bounce. Yeah, if it don't work with him, you let him rock, and you go get that boy out there in Dallas who really want to be there. So I like the trade if it works. I think D'Angelo Russell deserves a second chance with the Lakers or a do-over, because I didn't like the way his first stint went. It was just wild and messy. And then for the Timberwolves, you get Mike Conley. He's familiar with Rudy. He's an older vet. And it's just something different, and I think Minnesota needs something different. And then Jazz get another pick. So voila, I don't know where Russell Westbrook will go. Miami, I don't know, but I think everybody kind of wins in that trade scenario.
Russell Westbrook in Miami just sounds horrible.
Am I allowed to speak?
Let's have OG.
Washington? I don't know.
No problem. No
Coming to the Clips.
OG,
man.
what do you think about that
Going back
trade?
to OKC.
I mean, I don't know how much better it makes the Los Angeles Lakers, but this has been nothing short of a failed season again. I mean, I expected a better effort than what I saw last night. I expected a team that was a half a game behind Oklahoma City to come out and give a better effort. So what we're going to do is we're going to take Russ off the roster, and we're going to add D'Angelo Russell, who was another ball-dominant guy, in an offense where there's a lot of standing around, no movement, no action off the basketball, and we're going to implement him into that offense. Not really sure how much better we're going to get. And to add him into that offense, I don't think with Rui, now with Vanderbilt and Beasley, I don't know how much better this makes the Lakers. This Laker team has been, and can we be quite honest, folks? This Laker team sucks. Let's call it. The only reason why we're talking about them is because they got LeBron James on their team. We're not talking about any other team in the Western Conference that's in 13th place. No way we're talking about this team. The way that this team has been constructed to play through Anthony Davis. He's been beat up. And because he's been beat up, they haven't been able to be the team that we all thought that they could be, right? So because of that, you want to add D'Angelo Russell, and what it's going to be is it's going to be a Band-Aid. That's all it's going to be. Nothing more, nothing less.
I'm glad that, yes, you can go,
Okay.
Drew. I'm glad that OG and Pierre gave you a reality check, Drew.
I didn't need
Because
it.
for the past couple of shows, I have been clamoring. They're a 12 seed, they're a 13
All right.
seed. It's 3 games. They're only 3 games behind the 5th seed. That's all you kept telling me. I'm a casual.
All right.
I don't know what I'm talking
Well, you
about.
haven't
Garbage.
watched the Lakers, and first and foremost.
They
All right,
do
so
suck.
first and foremost, I want to say hello to P and of course OG. How you guys doing today?
What up, brother?
Good, my boy. Glad to see you, man. It's been a
Yes,
minute.
sir.
Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you too.
Lock in.
I'll tell you what. You spoke a little bit about the OKC game last night, and it was very evident that we were playing solely for LeBron to get the record. I thought that once LeBron broke the record that we play more team basketball. That simply was not the case. We let the second unit run out. They played some firm minutes, and then it just all fell apart. Thunder ended up just taking complete control of the game. Now, you said that this roster was built around Anthony Davis, and I don't disagree with you, OG, not even a little bit. But my issue here is when AD was out, you could say, and I would say very confidently, the Lakers were playing their best basketball while he was gone. The Lakers played great defensively and great offensively. For a stretch, they were one of the best offenses in the league. Of course, that was catered behind the fact that LeBron James was backpacking offensively every single night, averaging over 30 points per game at the age of 38 to do what he's doing. Unbelievable.
That does matter. That does matter. In the process of all the other stuff you just mentioned, the 35 a game, we can't leave that off the table. That's very important to mention that.
What LeBron James was doing when Anthony Davis was out, he understood his role.
Sure.
My guy's not there. I got to carry the slack. And he 100% did. And the guys rallied around him. Now, my issue now becomes with the Lakers is how is it that Anthony Davis is back? And he's been back outside of this game against OKC. He's been Anthony Davis. He's been great outside of last night, which is bizarre to me. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I'm only going to assume. But how is it that AD's back and suddenly the Lakers look like the Lakers of how they looked when AD was playing in MVP form earlier? How is it that we look better, or at least it feels like we're playing better team basketball when Anthony Davis is not on the court? It's why. This is why, and why I'm okay with this trade. It's for the fact that Anthony Davis and LeBron James, you can only have a certain number of people that cannot shoot the basketball. And those guys are LeBron James and Anthony Davis. These two guys need to be your worst shooters on the court. So long as those two guys are on the court, you can't have a guy in Russell Westbrook who cannot shoot. It's simple. That's why you bring in D'Lo, who of course is going to allow better spacing. You bring in Malik Beasley, who allows spacing. Vanderbilt, who provides defense and a little bit of offense. Mostly, of course, what we care about is the defense on this side, because of late, the defense that the Lakers have been putting forth has been putrid. We have been playing terrible defense. But why I'm okay with this is because we need spacing desperately. And P, you mentioned if we can hold on to one of those first-round picks, I'm ecstatic. And you play for this offseason because they already mentioned the expiring contracts. And Kyrie, who I've been insisting on, is a rental for Dallas. That should be the play. Understand that this offseason, that should be our splash, Kyrie Irving. So you make a Band-Aid decision, what OG said, 100%, because you need to try and maximize LeBron James and Anthony Davis while you have them.
This is my issue with what you said.
That he has an issue? Yeah, no doubt.
No,
what I said was perfect.
It's just like, come on, like, let's be serious here. You just told me you're throwing away the season. That's what you told me. You told me you throw away the season. You're waiting for this offseason to get Kyrie.
That's not what I said at all. I said it's a Band-Aid situation, and that's what we need.
Is that not the summary? So what was the goal coming into the season? To win a championship?
Of course.
Will you win a championship?
Every
No.
season.
Will you win a championship?
Who knows?
No, you won't.
LeBron James,
you won't win a
Davis.
championship. So this season is getting thrown away. Listen, Kyrie Irving might not even go to the Lakers. He might love Dallas. There's no income tax. He's going to get all his money there. He might like playing with Luka. The Mavericks are in position to get a primetime player this offseason.
The Nets said this.
That they're in primetime position, and Luka, he's creeping up. He could get his ring. Listen, with the Lakers, you guys are awful. And like these stretches of them having the best offenses, I'm not sure what the sample size is, like 2-3 games.
That was 10.
10 games.
It was a firm amount of time.
Listen, even when Anthony Davis was healthy and playing at an MVP level, you guys were the 12th seed. That's part of the reason why I said I would have still started Zion, because the Pelicans were the first seed when he got hurt.
Keep going.
You guys weren't even 500 with AD before he got back. Now he got back. He's been playing well. I want to praise OKC because since January 1st, only 2 teams have had a top 10 offense and defense. Those have been the Nuggets and the OKC Thunder. And OKC, man, they got some good players, man. SGA, we know who he is. Josh Giddey, Isaiah Joe. I mean, he just ruins your night. Jalen Williams, who models his game after SGA.
No.
What shocked me the most is that LeBron breaks a scoring record, and this is the transition to the next topic. He breaks a scoring record, and Anthony Davis is on the bench, not even celebrating it. I don't know what happened there. I can only assume. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to assume and give my opinion because I don't know. All I know, that's a horrible look. Then a report came out that Russell Westbrook got into an argument with Darvin Ham at halftime. It feels like and I think Lakers players in the locker room feel this way too, that this season has been made individually about LeBron and not about the team and not about the winning of this team. And that's my guess on it. That's my take on it.
Strong one.
One of you guys, because I could dominate the whole thing.
It's a strong.
That's harsh. That's harsh.
It's definitely harsh, and it's
That's
and
harsh.
you just. I don't want to speculate.
He is speculating.
But it might just be that this whole season is about LeBron James.
That's my opinion on it.
But to LeBron's defense, this is what I will say: because the team is so horrible, the best thing for LeBron to have done is to make it about himself. If he's not going to win, he might as well break some records. That's just my opinion.
He's spitting.
But he's
So
not
we're
spitting
done
to
with
you
it?
because you thought y'all were nice.
Yes.
We are better than you guys give us credit for.
You're a competitive team.
No, you're not. No, you are not.
No,
You're
OG,
not. See,
I don't appreciate
this
that.
is the delusion of the Laker fan. That's what this is right now. This is the delusion of the Laker fan. Yeah, we're really not that far away. You guys are garbage.
Oh.
This team is trash from a talent standpoint, and from what you guys put together.
Same way every time.
They do.
Oh, geez.
From what you guys have put together, this team is garbage. Straight up and straight down. Can we stop sugarcoating this? And can we be honest about what this unit looks like? This unit, when we got together, right? When you got Anthony Davis, the plan was James was going to play off of him. James does play off of him. They win the NBA championship. Great. This thing is going to work. Only except Anthony Davis breaks down. So now James has to go back to the dominant space. And in the process of him doing that, he breaks down where he gets an ankle injury. And now we're back to square one where we're garbage. So James gets back in the lineup. Anthony Davis, who's injury prone, he gets back in the lineup. In the process of them doing that, they get bounced. So then what we have together, this isn't going to work. So now we ship out Kuzma. We ship out KCP. These are guys who stretch the defense. These are guys who are great transition players. These are guys who are wing defenders. We're going to ship these guys out, and we're going to bring in Russell Westbrook, which sounds terrible, but me, knowing how good James is, I'm thinking, well, maybe, possibly James, because he's been able to fix a whole bunch of other things and plug in a bunch of other holes. He's going to make this work, only except he didn't. So now what we're going to do is we're constructed to play through Anthony Davis. Where was he the best? He was the best playing in the mid post, in the post, and on the and in the mid range. That's where he was the best, and that's when the Lakers were playing the best. Only except he goes out of the lineup again. What has to happen? James now has to go back to the dominant space, and we don't have any floor spacing. Not only do we not have any floor spacing, we don't have any action off the basketball because this offense is give the ball to James and let him create for other people, and that's not going to work. The reason why it's not been working is because James isn't that guy to do that anymore. But you expect him to do that, which would explain why this team is where they are and why they're going to continue to be there. And there is no quick fix for them. I just want to make it clear that this team is bad and stop making this team look like they're a better team than what they already are. They're not. And the only reason why we're talking about them is because LeBron James is on that crew. If this was anybody else, they wouldn't get a sniff from us.
I think the biggest issue we have is Lakers fans and every other person in the NBA have different views on the Lakers. It's true because Lakers fans and Drew, no disrespect, but like
take Russell Westbrook. That's
you guys, you still think you're like a championship level team, which I don't think you are. But I want to give you more credit because you guys are competitive and you're weird because you guys lose in ways that like young teams lose, and you're winning these games. You're blowing leads. It's fourth quarter. It's there's 5 minutes left, and you guys blow it. You lose in ways you expect the Thunder to lose, right? That game last night, you'd expect the Thunder to lose, and not the Lakers be able to get into 2 points, and they can never really get over the hump.
Either. How do you? We just can't close.
It's a strange team, and this move or this potential trade feels similar to the 2017 when you trade for Rodney Hood and George Hill and all those guys, where you kind of the fit was weird and you kind of blew it up, and it ended up working out. This time around, I don't know if it works out because the Lakers fans can say all they want. We're 5 games out of the 5 seed, 3 games out of the 4 seed. It's been like that for like 2 or 3 months. At what point do we kind of look at the Lakers and say they're a competitive team? If they're in the play-in, I'm going to take them in the play-in. I think LeBron and AD are going to win you a play-in game at the absolute least. But when you go in that first round,
they though?
Play the Nuggets.
Are they though? Are they though?
What are you asking, OG?
Are they going to win you a play-in game? Are they?
I would hope so.
Are we sure about that? And the reason here's the thing that I'm asking PeeWee, because I can appreciate the vet. I can appreciate the vet that James is, right? I can appreciate the vet that Anthony Davis is. But on the flip side to that, I don't really know what I'm getting from this unit. I can get Anthony Davis, who played yesterday, who looked completely disinterested, who didn't look like he wanted anything to do with that game. Now tomorrow against Milwaukee, he'll go 40 and 20 against Giannis.
Yeah.
Lakers beating the healthy pals.
No, oh no.
Lakers
no,
beating
no.
the Warriors.
No,
That's
no.
the plan. They're out.
Will they beat the Blazers?
Blazers are in the plan.
No, they're not.
But those two teams could climb.
Yeah, I don't see the Pelicans. If they get healthy, they won't be in the play.
But that means
We
Phoenix
need-
drops. Can they beat
You need to
Phoenix?
play like Jess.
We can
No,
have.
they will
Can they
not
beat
Phoenix.
Dallas? One of those have to drop.
They're not beating on.
I'm on both sides. They could, but
No,
there's a
sure.
reality, like OG said, well, you don't know what you're getting, and then they get their ass bust and a play-in game, and they out of it. But that's why I said, was it the beginning of last year? Yeah, the idea of Anthony Davis is better than Anthony Davis. If we just keep
It
being
is.
honest, I love Anthony Davis. I'm a Chicago guy.
It
But
is.
the idea of who he is
That is brilliant right there.
is much better than the actual
He is.
product that we
That
get.
is. That's brilliant.
And I don't,
Absolutely.
Joel trying to be nice by saying, man, I give y'all credit. I don't give y'all no credit, Drew, because y'all the Lakers, and it's supposed to be excellence, because I grew up a Kobe Bryant fanatic, and the expectation is always here. So I'm not giving you flowers because you're competing. I'm not doing that. And I also love when organizations like y'all fail, because y'all try to hit the home run when that's not needed. You try to take shortcuts. Russell Westbrook, y'all thought was going to be a shortcut, but in reality, all you needed was the Carusos, the Kuzmas, the KCPs, and now y'all wish y'all had those same exact guys. So I like when this happens, because the NBA and GMs and teams need to realize that it's not about just getting these names and throwing them together and thinking it's going to work itself out. It's time to actually evaluate talent and fit and use your basketball IQ when assimilating a team to win a championship. So I'm glad that y'all are failing. I am a LeBron guy. I like LeBron, but I hate when teams try to take shortcuts, man.
I'll say this.
PeeWee, before you go any further, PeeWee, can you imagine just letting Alex Caruso just walk out the front
Just
door?
walk out the door.
Just walk out the front. I'll take care of my
How
man.
y'all
I'll
doing this?
see-
Hold on.
How do you let Malik Monk just walk out the front door? You take care of my man.
OG,
You just let him walk out the front door. What are we?
Contracts.
Oh my god!
OG, why are you doing this?
Because I'm sick of y'all. That's why.
Imagine me. Imagine me. who
Because
had
I'm
to
sick
do
of
that.
you dudes.
Had to
That's why.
experience that. Caruso walk out the door for $0.
Just let him walk out the front door.
Return.
But
Now,
Drew, if this was any other team, Drew, I don't think you had the same energy.
of course not. This is my squad. I care about the Lakers.
And that's why we feel this way towards Lakers fans.
I understand.
I got a Laker fan on my podcast too. Mike is the same way. If it's any other team, this whole conversation is different
We're all
in the way you handling it.
It's just super tough because when we play against teams that we should beat, we don't look good. When
Like
we play
Oklahoma
against-
City?
Yeah, correct. Or the Pelicans without Zion. We should have easily won that game.
Are y'all better than OKC?
We should be.
It should be.
We
They're
should
better-
be.
they're better
We're like
coached.
3
They've been-
4
they've been
months
playing
into the
way better
season
than
now.
y'all.
I'm
It
not
should be
listen. I'm not disagreeing with anything
out
you're
the
saying.
window.
But against Boston twice, we've played them amazingly. Against the
Oh my
Grizzlies, we
gosh.
beat. That's not cap. against
Participation.
I don't want that. That's not what I want. But I'm simply saying against the better teams in the NBA, the Lakers look up to par. They look like they can hang
They
because
can't
they
finish.
are. We can't close games for shit. No way you're wrong about that. But against mid to bad teams, we struggle because we take our foot off the gas and we think that we can coast. We're not at a point where we can coast anymore. That's the issue. And that's why I understand.
When were you ever at a point where you could coast, Drew?
Never. Well, in 2020,
The bubble.
we can't do that anymore.
3 months
Oh.
later.
LeBron was coasting in that first series against the Suns when AD was doing his thing, and then AD went out, and obviously we understand the result. LeBron was coasting because he just came back from injury 2 games
Right.
before that. He was coasting, and we were dominating. AD goes down, and now we're screwed.
Jay-Z said it best, man. Moral victories is for minor league coaches.
Yep.
I'm not about to give you a round of applause because y'all kept up with the Boston Celtics. Stop it.
Hey, PeeWee, we on the 100-yard dash. I kept up with you for 85 yards of it. I wasn't able to win, but for 85 yards of the 100 yards, I was able to catch up with
Participation trophies.
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna acknowledge LeBron James in the scoring title. A swift breeze past this. I'm just kidding, obviously. No, this is hard to sit through, no doubt about it, because I understand what's been going on with the Lakers these last couple of games. But I'm optimistic, and I want to see what happens after.
If you get this straight, hold up. If you get D'Lo, Malik, are you gonna?
No, so now you're gonna hop on.
No,
keep going.
No, enough is enough. What are you optimistic about?
You know,
I'm optimistic that we can get some spacing.
If
around
you get
Anthony
D'Lo and
Davis
Malik, are you
James.
back to
And Vando, of course.
You know,
he's
I'm
not
not
a spacer.
Hold on,
He's
Ray,
not
Ray.
a spacer. Not even. But we got better talent. We need talent.
I'm having a hard time trying to figure something out with
I don't know
you.
what he's
Drew.
saying.
Let's go. It's a 6-on-1,
Yeah,
allegedly.
I'm having
I
trouble.
was here for you.
Sort of, kind of. You were.
Dehls tried. He
More
tried.
than these guys.
Oh no,
Christ.
this is. I can't believe
They
this.
came on and got straight.
Two
on
of my
your ass.
favorite guys. They're coming onto the show, and they're absolutely.
Drew, you think that I want to watch LeBron James on a garbage
I know, that's
team?
why I'm
You think I
shocked.
want that? This sucks for me. This is not awesome. I hate this.
I don't
You
know.
think I'm right with you. You think that I'm loving this? Like, yo, this is great that the Lakers suck. No, I don't. You know what I'm laughing at? I'm laughing at the fact that the Los Angeles Lakers incompetence is legendary.
Rob Pelinka's garbage.
That's what I'm laughing at. I'm not laughing at the fact that this team that was just a championship team less than 3 years ago now is at the basement. They're two teams from the last spot in the Western Conference. I do not want to watch LeBron James on a garbage team. I don't. And the Lakers also. Let me make sure. I want to make sure that I'm clear.
On the bright side, they're 4.5 games outside.
The NBA is a much better place when the Lakers are good, when the Knicks are good, when the Celtics are good.
Mm-hmm.
When the Lakers suck, that's not good for business, man.
Not lying.
Oh, but my thing, Drew, I want to ask you this question though.
Yes, go ahead. I'm all ears.
Right now, you're rooting for the Lakers because LeBron plays for them, but you're not a Lakers fan. You're a LeBron fan. Correct me if I'm wrong. So if that's the case, then how come are you vouching for this Lakers team instead of being like, listen, LeBron is in a garbage situation and this team sucks?
Like I continue to reiterate, I'm a Lakers fan.
He's locked in.
I support this team.
If he goes to the Mavericks, you're a Dallas fan.
If that's his decision, that's his decision.
What are we hiding here?
Because like as a LeBron guy, I would assume you would defend LeBron more about this garbage situation.
No, why do I have to defend LeBron when clearly he goes night in, night out of being one of the best players in the world at age 38? He's doing all the argument that I need himself. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that he's on though.
No, yeah, you're saying that the team is better than they are when they suck.
I wouldn't say we suck though.
You do suck. The team's bad.
I would not say
you're
that.
not a good basketball team.
So, Drew, let me ask you a question. What constitutes a team who sucks in your opinion?
The 13th seed in the
Rockets
Western
suck.
Conference.
The Pistons suck. The Hornets suck.
Okay.
The Magic suck.
The Magic do not suck.
Okay, I'm just asking.
They have upside. I like
they
the
have 3
Magic.
less wins than
We
you
can't
guys.
beat the Magic.
No, I like the Magic.
So-
The difference between all those teams are
young.
the average age is what, 21?
No,
kids.
you're not wrong.
24 or
You're not
something.
wrong.
One more time, PeeWee, for the people in the back. They didn't hear you.
Yeah, they kids. They 21 developing. Y'all have LeBron James.
The Bulls suck because we suck.
Y'all don't suck.
Okay.
The Bulls suck. The Bulls suck.
You're sick.
Y'all don't
Bulls
suck.
suck.
Y'all
We're
underachieving.
garbage. No,
Y'all are just mean.
No, you're crazy.
Here's the thing, Drew. I'm not trying to be mean, Drew. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get to the bottom of this and accept the reality. That's all. I'm just trying to accept the reality. I was on board with this team coming into this season. Anthony Davis was healthy. James was healthy. We're going to run the offense through Anthony Davis, and this team has an opportunity. I thought that they were at best a semifinals team. At best, I thought that I didn't think that they were constructed to win the NBA championship. But what I didn't think is I did not think that they were the 13th seed in the Western Conference. No, I didn't think that. That is unacceptable, Drew.
Well, OG, we have no shooting. We have zero shooting. When Troy Brown is attempting the most threes on your team, you have a problem. We have a deficiency. We have a deficiency, no doubt. We do not have shooting.
That's it.
In my opinion, we need shooting. And right now, what's happening on the defensive side of the ball, you can't ignore it. But we have been great defensively all season.
Those 3 guard lineups is nasty.
It's not. You can say that it's nasty, but when Bev, Schroeder, and Russ are out there, they're playing hard, and that's one of our better defensive.
Hey, if I gotta, Joe, there's no way, Joe, that you're gonna listen to this. I'm sitting here watching I'm sitting here watching Schroeder, Russ.
Matt, you're not going to do that. You're not going to.
I'm sitting here watching Schroeder, Russ,
great minutes.
Schroeder, Russ, and Pat Beverly on the floor at the same time. And I'm thinking to myself,
this pisses me off, man. Troy Brown, he's better than I give him credit for. Respect Schroeder, please.
Troy Brown.
That's all I'm
so
Troy Brown sucks. I told you that.
No, I'm not. Yeah. He makes.
I don't think Troy Brown. I don't think that Troy Brown is bad. I think that the way that this unit is constructed and the way that they play, I think those are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And because the way that they play, that's the problem. They play like they're constructed like the Golden State Warriors, like the Boston Celtics, and they're not. They're not that good. So they have to play to their strengths.
That was good.
And they don't play to their strengths. What they do is they play like everybody else. Like we can do what everybody else does. No, you cannot. So when you put lineups on the floor like Pat Beverly, Schroeder, and Russell Westbrook on the floor at the same time, and you want to basically not just speed the game up, but you want to outshoot teams, that's not going to work.
OG, what you're saying is I like a lot what you're saying. I feel like where the Lakers really are best, though, was when they were out in transition, which is why I don't mind the lineup of Schroeder, Russ, Bev, because they run. Of course, LeBron James included into that. They run. Now with AD, it seems like the offense gets stagnant. They want to set up the offense. They want to get AD in the post. They want to let AD do him. But again, that halts the offense. When we looked our best this season was when we were out and we were running, ironically. So I understand what you're saying, no doubt, OG, 100%. These guys aren't the most glamorous. No way, no how, especially when AD's on the court. But when AD's off the court, we're forced to play a different style of basketball. And ironically, that's when we looked our best. So it's about when AD is on the court, you need to provide the personnel around him to be successful. We don't have that right now. Russ simply cannot be in a lineup with LeBron and AD because that's three guys right there that aren't great shooters. When LeBron's the best shooter out of the bunch, and I mean this in no slight to LeBron, of course, that's an issue. You need to surround LeBron with better shooters. LeBron cannot be the best shooter on the starting five. It simply cannot be. It can't be.
Now, the Lakers' failure is why I wanted to come up with this topic right here and naming failed super teams. I don't know if anybody would
the Lakers failures, not the Nets failure, the team that you wrote for.
I'm a Knicks fan.
What?
Yo, first of all, you got to stop with this Knicks net stuff, bro.
Pete, get your boy.
And a Nets
get your
fan.
boy.
Can I not root for Kevin Durant?
Nobody's Jets and Giants fans. Nobody's Mets and Yankees fans. You have one New York team, bro. You want to be the Knicks? That's fine. I don't want to hear nothing about the Nets and Celtics again.
No.
It got crazy to the point.
Hey, I'm defending my boy. I'm going to defend my boy because I'll be doing the same thing. I'm a Knicks fan.
What the
Knicks
fuck?
and Nets?
I'm a Knicks fan.
No, wait, hold on.
I like Kyrie Irving.
I'm actually getting tired of this. This treatment from you, I'm actually getting tired of it.
Why is my camera doing
you
that?
called me out on all my teams when your best friend Drew, the guy you've known since I don't know how long, since you guys were 5 years old, he roots for the Cowboys, the Giants, the Eagles, the Denver Broncos. He's a Justin Herbert fan. He roots for everybody. You never call that out
all the time.
He's a wild guy.
Do we not get on him all the time for like all the teams in the NFC?
He's a wild guy.
I don't like all the teams.
Riff said, I don't want you to pick the Eagles. Riff said you cannot pick the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
It's agendas. The whole thing is agendas. We're not fans. It's agendas. Your issue becomes where
he's a diehard Nets fan.
Scare me.
He's
diehard Nets fan.
He's a diehard Nets fan.
You were posted up on Yes Network and a James Harden
James Harden fan. I'm a James Harden fan. I'm a James Harden fan. James Harden is my favorite player in the NBA. He's my favorite player ever. So when he went to the Nets, I rooted for the Nets. That's why I rooted for the Nets.
So why the Nets beanie? You didn't need the Nets beanie.
It was cold. I put it on my head. I didn't bring one with me.
No, I ain't never do no shit like that. I ain't wearing that.
That's what I'm saying.
I ain't doing that. I ain't doing
what I'm saying. Go ahead, but let's talk about the super teams.
I actually it just came to my mind just now. The last time Pierre was here, last time OG was here, Jalen Brunson was not a star. He emerged into a star.
Last time I was like October.
It was in the summer, I think.
Yeah, right.
We did that through Zoom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about SGA. That's when SGA was popping.
Yeah. Jalen Brunson, a star, but okay. Failed super teams. The Lakers and the Nets have a lot. Listen, I cultivated a list.
The Lakers won.
I cultivated a list of failed super teams in the last 15 years, and if you guys want to add on to, you can. Number one, I do think it's these Nets, the 19 to 23 Nets. Kyrie, KD, Harden, never winning championship. That takes a cake for me. Number two, the 12-13 Lakers. Steve Nash, Kobe, Artest, Gasol, Dwight Howard. They were a failure. Number three, the 2011 to 2017 Clippers with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. They had a bunch of role players. I feel like they should have at least went to the conference finals. They never did that. Number 4, the 13-14 Nets, Darren Williams, Joe Johnson, Pierce, KG, Lopez. I mean, that was supposed to be a super team and never became that. And the 5th one, this is where I stopped, and then I have honorable mentions. 17-18 OKC, Westbrook, Paul George, Carmelo. They got eliminated in the first round each year. Those are my 5 teams. I don't know if you guys want to add on to that.
The one that definitely came to mind was the Lakers. Of course, the Nets, without a doubt. I don't really have too many other ones that were formally built and failed per se, because really you nailed all of them.
I think there's more disappointments than failures.
It's like, because technically this isn't a super team because it was drafted, but of course the Thunder with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and Harden, although they were together for a short period of time, them not winning anything is disappointing, but they were drafted. You can't necessarily claim that as a super team, even though it technically is.
The Clippers a super team?
The Clippers right now with Kawhi and Paul George?
No. The one he referred to in his list.
Chris Paul. You're talking about Chris Paul.
I wouldn't say that was a super team, but it was a great team.
It wasn't a super team, but we looked at that like Chris Paul.
They should have got one.
Yes.
Lob City definitely underachieved, no doubt about it.
Yeah, for sure. They underachieved.
So is underachieving the same as failing?
Yeah, if you don't win a championship.
No.
Because I think the Rockets with Chris Paul and Harden underachieved, but they lost to the Warriors. So I think
I think like teams like the 08 Celtics, they underachieved. The Lakers, like you guys right now, the Lakers, they have underachieved. And they got one ring, but they didn't win another, and we feel like they should have won more.
I'm fine with I don't like that for the fact that obviously Kawhi don't do that, because Kawhi and Paul George teamed up to try and beat that team in LA.
You're still an underachiever. What does that have to do with?
We won a championship,
but you still underachieved. You should have more than one.
All right. So now we're getting into semantics. This is where I don't know, no doubt. But the whole point is failed super teams.
And I asked, is failing or
and we said no.
There's a difference, right? Because there's teams that underachieved, and I named 2.
Okay,
you got defensive. You did. And I wasn't trying to disrespect.
If you want to say that, fine. But at the same time, what's the point of this when the whole point is failures?
I understand, but then I just said it's more teams that underachieved.
Got it.
Kawhi and PG are definitely trending towards failing, though.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, they'll win this year, though.
Wouldn't it be the same thing though? Do you fail to achieve the goal?
You can do both, but
there
are
only win
times
one. The Lakers only win one. How is that?
No, you can do both, but there's scenarios where you can underachieve. No, he's kind of right.
No, yes, it is.
He's kind of right.
If I'm a B student and I'm getting a D+, I underachieve. But if I get an F, I failed.
Yeah, I guess in that scenario also you do win, but at the
still fail the inevitable goal.
Here we go, because this is Riv's example of underachieving. The Lakers were supposed to win multiple championships. They didn't. They underachieved, but they didn't fail because they won one. So yes, correct. There's a difference. I had to fix that real quick because my brain started to fail me also.
You guys think this one is even worse just because of the talent?
Like the Heat winning 2 championships and not winning more. Underachieved in people's eyes, but not failures because, of course, they won 2.
That's fair. Yes, that's fair.
Do you guys think this Nets team underachieved more, even though – do you not care about the double whammy of giving up Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum?
What do you say? What do you mean?
No, the Nets are just horrendous.
The KG 12 years, obviously, it was one of the bigger ones. But Joel said this version of the Nets was a bigger failure because the talent was better. But if you look at the old Nets team, you gave up down the line Jaylen Brown and Tatum.
So you're saying that one's even more of a failure
because not only did it fail, but you gave up 2 cornerstone players.
They gave up Jared Allen to get Harden and stuff though too.
That's true, but is it going to be as bad as JT and?
No, that's not even close to the same thing, Joel. No way.
No. I don't know if
Jared Allen is a pivotal part to
the He's right.
I did say yeah. I mean, they did give him up. I wasn't comparing him up, but he made a valid point. They did give him up.
I know Rockets pick could be very, very
so
valuable.
The Clippers is on.
They get lost.
Oh, because they gave up SGA and now everything. OKC is in.
No, man, y'all making this way too deep than what it is. Yeah. They failed.
Yeah, they did.
They only have one ring.
The worst part about the Nets is that both of those failures are so close.
Yep.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Pretty much back to back.
Super teams.
I mean, basically, the failed great teams, I guess, are the Nets, Lakers,
So
Clippers. Like, really, what makes up this list of the Lakers, Nets, Clippers?
What other Lakers team do you have on there?
The Kobe. World Peace.
No, you had the Nash. You had Nash, Kobe, Dwight.
Do we count Russ, AD, LeBron as a failure or no?
It has to be, right?
Guess.
Is it a super team? I mean, you thought they was gonna win 6-5.
LeBron and AD got a ring though, so
Yeah, LeBron, AD are success.
Yeah,
to a
that
degree.
duo is a success.
But
I
the
thought you were
trio-
gonna say Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Kobe, Shaq. I thought
That's
that
another-
That's big.
that's
time.
I was gonna bring that one up, and I was gonna bring up the '97 Rockets too.
Oh,
With
you going way back?
Hakeem
in-
Barkley Pippen.
Yeah.
You going
Yeah.
way back in the vault, old ski.
Mhm.
Okay.
I was thinking about
Wasn't on
that.
one.
But
he
hey,
wasn't-
we got to start with the Clippers though, because again, the Clippers that was not. a
Hey,
super
they on the
team.
heater. Just one
DeAndre Jordan.
See, PeeWee, what you doing is you underrating this team.
Oh my
Because
God.
I think what you looking at, PeeWee, is I think you looking at what's going on today as opposed to what was going on back then. So you got a first team all league performer in Chris Paul. You got arguably the best league guard in the game. That's number one.
Mhm.
Blake Griffin in the 2013 season, he finished third in the league
He's a
in
dog.
MVP votes, right? So he finished third in the league in MVP votes. He was arguably the best four-man in the game. DeAndre Jordan actually made first team all NBA
He did.
and didn't make the all-star team, right?
Yeah.
You got one of the best sharpshooters in the game in JJ Redick. You got the best rotation player in Jamal Crawford, right? So this is what you have on your unit, and you can't get out. I believe that team got swept out of the playoffs in the second round, swept out of the playoffs. So that is
Guess who?
completely and utterly unacceptable.
And then they choked the 3-1 lead.
I don't think they.
They didn't see. This is why we got to clarify things.
Yep.
Number one, I'm not saying they didn't disappoint. I'm just asking because when you say super team, I'm thinking of Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant. I'm thinking of Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol, Dwight Howard.
So you're talking about established guys coming to get on a crew. Okay, I
Super
can get
team.
with that.
They
All right, I
were a
can get
really
with
good
that.
team who I thought going into those years, I was picking the Clippers to win the championship. I loved Blake Griffin back then when Chris Paul and DeAndre. They just couldn't get that proper three guy. It was Matt Barnes. They had Caron Butler, Turkoglu. They just couldn't get that small forward. And then they even got Jamal Crawford. But
You
they
don't
had a
think
Western
CP3 getting added makes them a super team? I'm honestly asking.
See, no.
Okay.
No, because I don't think as good as DeAndre Jordan was in a couple of those years, especially that All NBA year, I think he also broke like Will Chamberlain's field goal percentage that year.
He was good.
We don't put him on a level of a James Harden. We don't
No,
put him
he
on a
wasn't that
level-
good. No,
Dwight Howard, for
he
that
wasn't
matter.
that good. No, he was not that good.
So that's what I think holds them back. It's like a duo of Blake Griffin and Chris Paul, and then you got this really good guy, DeAndre
They were like
Jordan,
the
a really good
team that failed.
yeah, really good team. Because if that's the case, it's like look at the Memphis Grizzlies, the grit and grind. That was a really, really good team to me with Mike Conley, Tony Allen, Marc Gasol, Zach Rand. That was a really good team.
But they were able to make it to the conference finals, though.
The Clippers had certain circumstances that I feel like really hurt them. The
Such
Chris
as?
Paul getting hurt,
Mhm.
Blake Griffin they took turns just getting hurt, and I'm not using it as an excuse, but we looking
Right.
at a lot of these other teams, but they weren't that good. You know
Would
what I
you
mean?
call
And I know the Nets had their injuries too.
would you call the AD LeBron championship team Lakers a super team or no?
No, I think
All right,
that's
so then I'm with you.
that's another
You're
good
logically
duo
consistent. That's facts.
with the proper role players around it. You know what
Because
I
I'm
mean?
here thinking about like now, like do we even entertain the idea of this 76ers team being a super team because you have
No,
Harden
not
and
a super
Embiid?
team.
Of course, you're saying great.
I could be
duo.
wrong. In my opinion, my opinions be a little different than everybody else. When I hear super
agree with you.
team,
I
I
agree
think
with
of at least 3 All-Stars coming together.
I agree.
So when I look at that Nets team in 2013, Darren Williams, Joe Johnson, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett,
Yeah.
even in their latter years of Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, you like, whoa, with Darren Williams and Joe Johnson, that was like a big deal. Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol, Dwight Howard on one team, even if
Just
it ain't
off the name alone, sure.
just off the name alone, it's
Sure,
like,
alone. I can
damn.
get with that.
You know what I mean? So that was my whole. That's my whole. Kyrie, Harden, Durant. That's 3 legitimate superstars. Just like the Bucks. The Bucks got like 3 All-Stars, but we don't look at them as a super team because they
No, we
ain't
don't.
at that level.
Plus, it was built. Plus, it was put together differently in Milwaukee.
True,
but
true,
I still think that this Brooklyn's team, as much as you guys talk about those failed super teams, I think this has been a ridiculous failure, and it's the worst failure that I've seen of all the teams. We're talking about Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. The reason why they got together, the reason why this crew got together, he left Golden State to get with Kyrie Irving to prove that I can win as the guy on my own team. So he and it didn't happen. And it was just a bevy of injuries. and underperformances, and it didn't work, and it failed ridiculously. And what they had to give up to get to that point, and now this is where they are, which posed my question, which I still haven't gotten a satisfactory answer on. Why is Kevin Durant still on this roster?
You don't think
he costs too much?
you don't think
He costs too much?
OG, you don't think that the Nets can maybe salvage this and in any way, shape, or form?
You're praying they do.
So Joel, just really quick, I'm looking at the landscape of the Eastern Conference, which has gotten so much better over the last couple of years, right? So we're starting this with the trades that we just made. So we're gonna go Spencer Dinwiddie at the 1, right? We're gonna go Finney Smith at the 2. We're gonna go Royce O'Neal, Kevin Durant, and Claxton. That's our 5. And we're gonna get them behind TJ Warren. We're gonna get them behind Curry, Joe Harris, Ben Simmons, who I don't even think he wants to play basketball anymore, to be quite honest with you, right? Mm-hmm. So and want to be, I believe that's his name.
Cam Thomas, OG.
We're gonna get to him in a minute. We're gonna get to him in a minute. But with that 5 and those reserves that I just mentioned, do you think? Let's just take the first round out off the table for a second. With that unit that I just mentioned, they're going to have to see either Boston, Milwaukee, or Philadelphia in the semifinals. Can they beat any of those teams?
Can they?
I wouldn't favor them, no. And that's maybe a cop-out answer, but against Philadelphia, I think Joel Embiid is going to average 35 plus in that series. And it's not because Claxton isn't good. It's just that they're switching defense. It's going to have a lot of favorable mismatches. Yeah, but the Nets switch a lot. And DeAndre Ayton had a big-time game last game. The Celtics have what the Nets have, the depth, but they have the star power too. Yeah. And the Bucks are a championship DNA team. Right. What's nice about the Nets is that, and this is why I want to get your guys' opinion on this, is that I was really disappointed with Kyrie Irving because I thought this team had championship potential. They had the role players, they had Kyrie and KD. If they made one more move, I would have liked this team's chances against any team in the East a lot. But I understand it's a business. I understand Kyrie did what he felt was best for him. But it's just a disappointing ending. I really do think so. And I would love to get your thoughts on how that whole thing ended and where you stand on Kyrie in the situation.
Well, Joe, how many more moves do we have to make? So first of all, we get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving together. Kevin Durant misses the 19-20 season because he's healing up from a ruptured Achilles. Kyrie Irving only plays 20 games. The next season, what they do is they talk James Harden into coming to Brooklyn, which he didn't want to come to Brooklyn. He wanted to be in Philadelphia all along. But they talk him into coming, and in the process of that, they have to give up 7 ones, Jared Allen and Karis LeVert, who are very integral to what they're trying to do in Brooklyn. So that doesn't work, right? So James Harden now wants out. So then they move off of James Harden after already getting rid of Jared Allen, who would have been perfect for what they were doing because they needed a rim protector. They needed a defensive presence in the middle, right? So now they get off of him, and then they move James Harden for Ben Simmons, and then this doesn't work. So now what you want to do, in addition to Kevin Durant getting hurt last year and the year before that and not playing, so 2 of the 3 years he either got hurt or he didn't play. Kyrie Irving broke down in the playoffs in 21. Last year he was in and out of the lineup, and then this year he's been in and out of the lineup. So now you want them to make another move. They've accommodated these 2 guys. This thing has been built entirely around these 2, and it's been a ridiculous failure. So because of that, and you just mentioned with the team that I just gave you, that you don't think that they could get out of the semifinals, why are we still holding on to Kevin Durant? Why aren't we starting over?
That's an excellent point. And I think it's because this roster, it's kind of opposite of what it was. You had the star power, but the depth was lacking. That was apparent in the Boston series last year. I think now the Nets have the depth. They have a lot of good role players. They have the 1 star, but they don't have the second star in Kevin Durant. I think that they're waiting to see what they can get. Maybe they can bring in a Siakam. Maybe they can trade for him or something like that. And something can happen. But all I'm saying is that if I'm the Nets, I understand. I understand. And listen,
it went from OG to Siakam.
D'Angelo Russell ruled out.
And I also think right now, if I'm the Nets, if Kevin Durant asks out tomorrow, I would not be surprised. If he's traded, I would not be surprised. But I think the Nets are looking at this from the perspective of, okay, KD, listen, Kyrie's gone. Let us try to figure this out. In the offseason, if you want to be traded, we'll get more value for you because, teams are going to be willing to trade more in the offseason than they are right now in the middle of the season because it's less of an overhaul to the roster currently. So I think that they can get more for KD in the offseason and then they can start over. But listen, with the Nets, I understand it's a failure. It would be looked at as a failure. Year 1, Kyrie didn't play. KD was recovering from his Achilles. Year 2, If they were healthy, they would have won the championship. I stand on that. James Harden, Kyrie, KD, healthy, we're winning the championship. I believe in that.
It doesn't.
Year 3, Harden asked for a trade. Kyrie Irving, the COVID thing, not taking a vaccine, he misses every single home game. He plays less than 30 games. And then this past year,
get swept. Please add that.
This past year, Jock Vaughn, I thought reignited.
Red, please do not leave that out. That's very important to mention.
He tried to leave it out. They got
please do not leave that out. That is very important to mention.
He said he tried to leave that out.
Please do not leave that out. That's very important to mention that.
Please add that. Do not leave it out.
I got a couple questions.
And Ben Simmons sucks.
It wasn't him, though. Claxton is taking a huge.
You said they added players. Ben Simmons isn't good, and those players didn't move Kyrie that much because he still left.
Kyrie left, I thought, for other reasons, but the team and the players that were on the team.
I thought he was never going to leave KD.
He was never going to leave Boston.
Yeah.
You know I ain't going to leave my guy 7.
I got 2 questions.
Talk to me, P.
2 questions, really, really quick. Why is the disappointment with Kyrie Irving, Joel?
To you,
because he wasn't available for over 50% of the games in Brooklyn.
When has he ever been the most available player? The dude, he didn't really play much in Duke.
One time.
You know what I mean? He didn't really play much early years in Cleveland. This is who Kyrie Irving is, but the Nets still invested in him. You can't tell me there was ever a time where you looked at Kyrie like an Iron Man. It just comes with Kyrie. He's a talented player. I still love him. But I mean, that's a wild ass excuse.
Game seasons.
No way you tell me the Nets signed Kyrie and thought he was going to be playing 82 games or 78 a year. no way.
Doubt. Not 70, but
70.
I also think that, to counter your point, Anthony Davis has not been the most available player. Kawhi Leonard has not been the most available player. They load manage. Even though we understand that's a reputation, it is still disappointing.
No, yeah, it's disappointing. But
Go ahead,
go
PeeWee,
ahead,
I'm sorry. So just so you know, Anthony Davis has played more games than both Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. That's number one. That's first of all. That's first of all. Number two. Number two.
The trades at Kawhi and Paul George. We talk about Kyrie.
Yeah, all right. Let's stick to the point. Let's stick to the point. Number two, Kyrie's best seasons in terms of playing when he was with James.
Yes.
When he was with James. Those were his best years. When he was with James, in terms of his availability.
Availability, yes. In terms of play, I think it's
that year that you mentioned that they got hurt and you think they would have won the championship.
27.
You could argue that was Kyrie's best season by far, in my opinion. Of course, that 2016, the year with him and Harden,
50, 40, 90, yeah.
He was unbelievable. I think he averaged 28 points that year.
Yes, 27.
He was. You could say that was Kyrie Irving's best season. It's unfortunate that they did get hurt.
Maybe taking into account the playoffs.
And also was disappointing.
He did that the year after.
That's what bro. He was crazy.
He did it again.
Also,
he was crazy.
What's disappointing though is that maybe this trade request from Kyrie was brewing. It feels that way, but it caught all of us by surprise. I mean, the Nets, when healthy, were looking like a legitimate threat in the East.
Yeah.
And I understand his perspective in wanting his money. You know, I'm all for players getting their money. But at the end of the day, what do you expect? I mean, it's not just the Nets that don't want to give him that contract. It's every team in the NBA that doesn't want to invest into him that much.
The Lakers.
So for Kyrie to just say, this is the reason that I'm going to leave, I just felt like, I mean, why'd you have to do it right before the deadline?
There were multiple reasons though, and I don't know if it was just a money thing. You know what I mean? He already said he didn't feel like he was supported from them, and there was disrespect at certain times. And then if you looked into the further details, there were certain clauses in the contract that him and his team thought were kind of ludicrous. And one rumored was something to do with a championship. To me, from what I know, I don't know everything. That's I've never heard of anything like that. I got a cousin in the NBA, and I've never heard no terminology like that in the contract about winning a championship.
PeeWee, to be honest with you, and if we're talking honesty, to be honest with you, pro basketball players do not play on incentive-based contracts. No, they don't. They play on guaranteed contracts. Football players play on incentive-based contracts. That's why they ask for the money that they ask for up front. That's why. So when you're talking about Kyrie Irving playing on an incentive-based contract, this was, I think, solely about the bread. I think Marks is out on him. I think he was out last year. I think the whole thing, even though Kyrie Irving, I don't think he created this thing with the whole Jewish community. I think that was something that was overblown, and I think that was something that he didn't deserve what he got for that. But I think that was the last straw for Marks.
I'm sorry to cut you off. The deal is being finalized. D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt to the Los Angeles. Russell Westbrook, a first-round pick to Utah, and Minnesota is getting Mike Conley and a second-round pick compensation from Sean.
All right.
Okay. We'll react to that in a minute.
I have a question for OG. Just a quick one, and I'll just say one quick thing, and then OG, isn't it an incentive for the NBA guys? Like if you make an all NBA team, you get an extra bag. Is that
right? That's correct. So for example, at the end of your contract, Rev, you at the end of your contract, and you may be up for the Supermax, and in the process of you being up for the Supermax, you get an extra $30 million if you make the all NBA team. However, your contract throughout the season is not incentive based. That's not your $25 million. That's not contingent on, well, if we make the playoffs, so you get an extra $3 million. If we make the conference finals, you get an extra $10 million. If we make the NBA finals, you get $15 million. If we win the NBA, no, all of this stuff that we're doing, all of this stuff goes on is not part of that contract. Your contract is, this is what your money is.
Okay. I get what you mean. Okay, yeah. In terms of the Kyrie thing, I kind of steered towards PeeWee's way, but like Kyrie's a grown man. He's been unpredictable since he got into the league. And same thing I said before. So I'm not going to predict why he left Brooklyn. I'm not going to sit here and try to figure out his brain because he's been the most unpredictable player in the NBA. I'm just going to say it does suck for the Nets because they were one of the best teams in the East, and they could have legitimately had a chance to come out the East. They were a great team defensively. Everybody's seen Bolden and Jock Vaughn. Kevin Durant's playing at a high level. Kyrie Irving was playing at a high level. Nick Claxton was arguably defensive player of the year and one of the most improved players in the NBA. The role players were stepping up. The coaching change really shifted the gears, and then, of course, the role players stepping up. So this was definitely one of their best opportunities to come out the East and win the NBA championship. So I just will say it sucks for the Nets because this was definitely an opportunity for Kyrie and Kevin Durant to get that ring.
It does. And that's why I put blame on them a little bit, because I know a lot of people are trying to make this a Kyrie thing. The media has an obsession with just making everything just like Kyrie is this horrible maniac guy. And I don't go for it. I just don't. And there's certain tones that be used that if you cut from certain cloth or come from certain places that a lot of us come from, you pick up on certain tones. So I always try to defend or knock it as much as I can as being a media person. You don't have to love Kyrie Irving. I'm not saying he's perfect or he hasn't done anything wild. But the Nets had a chance to take advantage of the moment that they were in, give him what he was asking for, and save what they had. And they didn't do it. And now you look crazy. All three players requested a trade. You're going to be with KD and a bunch of role players. And KD is a chance where he can do something special, or the defenses in the playoffs can just dial in on him and say, we're going to let Dorian Finney-Smith beat us, and he's just going to request a trade for the second time in 2 years. And now you're the most disgustingest franchise that we've ever seen. So,
PeeWee, can you imagine the Brooklyn Nets getting smoked in round one again? Like how we talking about KD if that happens?
It's tough. It's tough. And I agree with a lot of what everybody said. I was a person that was like, wow, look at this. The Nets had the dark cloud with the Steve Nash firing, fresh off KD trade requests, the Kyrie Irving suspension, and that whole cloud. And they made it through all of that. And before we knew it, they went on a 13-game, 11-game win streak, second in the East. The Kyrie is killing in the fourth quarter. Nick Claxton is this guy all of a sudden. And you just wasted because you didn't want to get a guy what he wanted. And there's a lot of Nets fans who I see speaking on it. Was like, hey, if we could have just gave him what he wanted, we might have would have got something out of this. And now you might lose everything. And it's sad too, because the D'Lo era was very exciting to me. It was very exciting. I had fun with that era.
They made the playoffs when he was there.
Fun team, very fun.
That was fun.
They made the playoffs when he was there, no doubt about it.
Gave Kyrie 4 years, $200 million.
Me personally, in that situation, I would have.
We were just talking that it's more than just accumulated talent. It's building a team. Like obviously KD and Kyrie work together to an extent. Lost to the Celtics, but the Celtics obviously went to the finals last season. So I understand the talent of Kyrie is probably worth the $200 million contract, but Dinwiddie, DFS, the first round pick, it's not the value for Kyrie, but I feel like as the Nets, for someone who Kyrie, we know he could sign a 4-year, $200 million deal with Dallas, and then next season is going to request a trade. And now all of a sudden you're on the hook for that contract. You're trying to move off it. Now you're probably gonna have to attach picks to get off that ridiculous contract because whatever team you're trading him to, unless it's the Lakers, and even still, we never know what's gonna happen. They know, well, Kyrie might be here for a year and trying to leave too. He's just so unpredictable that he's the one superstar in the league I think you could look at and be hesitant of giving him that huge contract, even though he could be one of the best guards, one of the best players in the league.
No, yeah, I understand that. But just for that particular situation and that team, I would have done it just because of everything that happened. It's like we made it through everything, the vaccine, the James Harden trade, nobody even cared about Ben Simmons and what he was looking like during their little stretch for the Nets when they was cooking. Nobody, like, Ben Simmons got forgotten about, like nobody was even caring, and it just felt like they were heading in the right direction. And I'm not mad at them trading him because he requested a trade, and I think they actually got a very good package. I like the package for what you got for a guy that requested a trade out of nowhere. But if it was me, I would have just gave him the money. But again, it looks like both sides just didn't really rock with each other. And, after him requesting a trade, if I was a GM or if I was the owner, I wouldn't have traded his ass to the Lakers either. That was a Pierre type move. I would have been like, I might would have traded him to the Bobcats. That's just me, though. I mean, the Hornets.
That's not ridiculous for you to say that either, Pierre, because I'm looking at that Brooklyn team, and this is a classic example of, for you, yes. For you, hell no.
Hell no.
Absolutely not. No.
Two things can be true. I do agree with you, Pierre, on what you say about the perception of Kyrie. I do think he's a great person. He does a lot of charitable work for the community. But also, he has to be held accountable, at least for the basketball court stuff and not being able to be reliable or show up. He has been unreliable. And I talked about the Kyrie unreliability stuff on the past show. A lot of the blame goes to Kyrie. There's no doubt for me. I feel that way. I do feel like the Nets messed this up too, because nobody wants to be somewhere that they're not wanted. Everybody wants to feel wanted. It's human nature. And Kyrie missing 50% of his games, he deserves blame. He deserves to be held accountable. But ultimately, what turned this relationship sour is, I think, the front office and the ownership. In his first press conference in Dallas, he said that he wants to be places he celebrated, not tolerated. And he wanted to go to Brooklyn because he was a lifelong Nets fan. He was a Jason Kidd fan growing up, a New Jersey Nets fan growing up. And sometimes our fantasies can alter our realities. And he wanted to live out his childhood dream and playing for his favorite basketball team. And he even admitted in the press conference with Dallas that before he signed with the Nets, he wished he would have gotten to know the front office more before he signed with them. I do think that in Dallas, I like Mark Cuban as an owner a lot. I think he is a very relatable guy. I think Dallas is modern. Nico Harrison, Kyrie has a relationship with him. But I think Joe Tsai was just too outspoken of an owner. Whenever Kyrie Irving, for example, when he got into the anti-Semitic stuff, or, when he tweeted out that movie, Joe Tsai was the first one to tweet about Kyrie and said that we're going to sit down with Kyrie and make sure to fix this and, all this other stuff. And I just felt like that was kind of just putting him down as a person, that tweet. And when he tweeted out, I didn't agree with it. I just felt like Joe Tsai was too outspoken of an owner. Sean Marks, and last time we had you guys on the show, I said this at the time, and this was before Jacques Vaughn went on his miraculous, great coaching run, was that the Nets were kind of holding on to a string with these two players. What kind of felt like they should have been splitting up in the offseason, they kind of held on for too long. And ultimately, we have to look at this Nets team.
Can we say that? Can we say they held out for too long?
The Nets?
We were sitting here and we were having strong conversation about the Nets being true contenders.
Yeah, but in the offseason, you're coming out from a sweep. Kevin Durant's value was the highest in the offseason. You could have traded him for a bunch of picks. You could have gotten more of a haul than what the Jazz got for Gobert.
But is that even necessarily true? Because what the Nets wanted for Kevin Durant, no one was willing to give it up.
Which means they weren't serious. Which means they weren't serious.
They weren't
serious. But we were having a discussion, and Drew, you and I went back and forth. I told you I was out on Brooklyn. I told you that this summer that I was out on them, especially after what I had seen. And me and Riv went back and forth that I was out on the Clippers too. For the same reason, I was out on them. I don't think that at any point during that discussion did I not make myself clear that I was out on Brooklyn, that I had seen everything that I needed to see from them. I was out.
LOG, you're gonna eat your words at the end of the year.
Nuggets coming out the
Clippers
West.
look good. The Clippers look good.
You look
No,
good.
don't
The
That
Nets-
was my
Nets
second
look-
question.
don't tell him nothing.
OG had said something before I even said what I said to Joel. Something about why Kevin Durant is on the roster, and it's like the Nets is just when it gets bad, it gets worse.
Terrible.
Correct.
The Kevin Durant situation and trading him is difficult for a few reasons. Number one, in order to bring back the type of players they would want,
Mhm.
you got to find a home for Ben Simmons. A lot of the guys that they would want, you can't bring him on because you can't have 2 max rookie extensions. So you can't just trade with Phoenix and bring on Ayton because you can't have Ayton and Ben on the same team. You
Which
wouldn't
means
be able to
he's gotta
make
be
a
a part of
deal to go get Bam Adebayo because he's on a rookie max extension and you can't have 2 of those guys on the same team.
Right.
So that's a whole ordeal in itself. And then
Right.
it's a lot of teams that are going to want Kevin Durant to do what? To win a championship. But Brooklyn is going to want a significant piece back. So anytime I look for Kevin Durant trades, my mind goes into a pretzel because it's like, damn, in the offseason, and again, the Nets weren't serious. They didn't want to trade Kevin Durant. They was messing around. But when you see a report like, man, the Nets say if they do any trade with Phoenix, they're going to want Devin Booker. That is crazy because we know Phoenix wants to pair Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, but it's Kevin Durant. They have to at least try to aim somewhat high, and I can't say that they're wrong for wanting high-level quality. You're not going to trade Kevin Durant for Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, and Walker Kessler. Like, that's what you get for Rudy. Kevin Durant, when you look at these packages and these 4 first-round picks, 2 swaps for Rudy, Kevin Durant might be worth 12 first-round picks.
You're not wrong.
Right.
So I don't even know where to begin when we talk about trading Kevin Durant.
But here's the thing, though, PeeWee, when you're talking about trading a guy like Kevin Durant, if you think about when superstars have been traded, do you really get back the same or equivalent value when you coming off of Kevin Durant? When you're coming, I mean, I remember when Shaq was traded. Shaq was traded for Lamar Odom and Caron Butler and Brian Grant. I mean, this is what I'm talking about when you're talking about trading superstars.
What was
So
our
when you-
KG traded for? 9 players?
Yeah, none of
I think-
that.
I think-
Al Jefferson.
I think the only
Facts.
teams that's like that could do it. I'm not saying they will, but that could do it is Boston, the Pelicans, and Golden State. I think those are the only 3 teams that.
Boston, don't touch that damn team.
Yeah, I'm saying. I'm not saying.
Please,
No,
don't.
no,
PeeWee,
no,
tell
no.
him one more time, PeeWee.
Don't-
Stay away from
don't-
this.
don't-
I wouldn't do it, but those are the only 3
Yeah.
teams that can do it because they have the guy that's not on. They don't have the rookie max extension thing. Like those are 3 teams.
Would you
that
trade
have a guy.
Brandon Ingram for KD if you're the Pels?
Not yet.
Both
I would.
I
Both
gotta
kind of
see it.
injury prone.
I think you got to see it
Kinda.
through. You got to see
I
it
would.
through.
The reason
Yeah, I
you
would see it through,
because you
too.
just saw him go to the finals. This Pels team, you've never seen them together.
Well, this
so
is why
I'd-
this is the year.
But
You gotta
I'd rather
it.
see Zion and KD together than Zion and Ingram.
But wait, that okay? You're
Nah,
losing me.
I understand
Wait,
what he
Wait,
means.
no. Wait.
If
so
you don't know
haven't
what
seen-
Zion
hold
and Ingram
hold on.
is,
They went
You
to
would-
how
you
many
would rather
should have
keep-
conference championships and a finals?
Yeah, you would keep Jaylen Brown, but you would trade BI because you'd rather see Zion and KD. Yet KD and Tatum are literally the most
That'd be
scary
dumb.
duo.
But Boston just went to the finals, is why he's saying it.
That's the difference.
Yeah, but KD wins them the final.
Listen, Riv, we can.
Are you
also-
sure? Whoa. Are we sure about that? Go ahead, Drew.
That's
Go
not
ahead.
definitive by any means. You
Right. Go ahead, Drew. I'm sorry to interrupt
Is
you.
Zion and KD definitive?
No,
No,
Nothing's
but
definitive.
we know we've seen Tatum and Brown go to multiple conference finals,
and they're
go to
young.
the finals,
the point is to build
25,
a
26.
dynasty.
Okay.
You're.
So what's
your
wrong with BI,
years-
There's nothing
Nothing.
wrong with it, but you don't know. Zion and BI, we're projecting them to do good. I think they
Yeah.
will. We all agree with that. But if we have 2 mystery boxes
Okay.
and one has KD and one has
Okay.
Ingram, I'll
That's
go
what
with
I'm
one with KD.
Also, Jaylen Brown has been a model of
Hey, he's
being
putting up
healthy,
27.
being consistent.
Gives you defense.
KD does win in the finals, though.
I thought that was.
I
obvious.
agree with you.
I thought it
I
was
don't.
obvious.
I don't know how.
Last
I don't
year,
know.
I don't disagree with you.
This year too.
This year, I don't disagree
This
with
year,
you.
they're
either.
if they get KD, they're favorites by a lot.
Are
Last
we
year.
watching the same Kevin Durant who was in the playoffs and basically got the door shut on him?
That was tough,
the
OG.
Celtics.
That was tough. He was big.
Like,
It
why
was
do
a
you feel
boxing
like Jason
one.
Tatum didn't get the door shut on him?
Facts.
He did get the door shut on him, no doubt about that.
He
He
both
did.
got the door shut on
Nah,
him.
Right.
yeah,
They
it's
did.
fine. Tatum
But if you
did
put
not
them
well
both on the
finals.
same team, you
Correct. You
cannot
can't.
run these.
You can't.
If you put Kevin Durant on Boston with that type of spacing, that type of team with Jason Tatum is not going to see the same defense that he saw as the number 1 option, and Kevin Durant is going to see the same
So
defense.
you'd make the move.
No, me personally, I would. I'm just giving it. Obviously,
I'm
we're
not
giving it a lot of.
My
hypotheticals
issue here,
here. I
though,
wouldn't personally
is
make the
that
move because
Tatum
Boston got a good thing going, but the only 3 teams like
in the
those are the
finals,
only
Tatum
teams that can do
struggled. In the finals, but Jaylen Brown didn't.
Jaylen
Jaylen Brown had a very
But
good.
now you
finals.
move Tatum to the
Ball over
2. You put KD at the 1. Tatum doesn't struggle.
Mhm.
And
Also,
Kevin
to-
Durant doesn't
To
struggle.
piggyback off that point about how the Nets were not serious about trading KD in the offseason, And I thought most of that was weird because it felt like they didn't want to trade him just because KD was the one that requested out. You know? Like he requested out, and they're like, "No, we don't want to trade. Like, no, we're not gonna send you somewhere."
We can't be the franchise that traded Kevin Durant. That's how I treat it.
But he's also 34 years old. You know,
He's KD though.
And two organizations have had him and lost him.
Franchises can't be responsible for trading LeBron. As bad as some people want to trade LeBron to save the future of the Lakers, you can't be responsible.
Something going on with the Nets.
But do you remember when there was a report that came out that said the Nets in a trade with the Wolves would want Edwards and Cat?
Yes,
that was a report that came out.
That one was nuts.
Like, what are we doing?
That's what I'm saying. They were never serious.
It's like the report saying the Nets want OG for Ben Simmons. Was that what was going around? Just was like, what are we talking about?
Now listen, Kyrie Irving is now in Dallas. He's paired up with Luka Doncic. How do you guys think this duo is going to work? I'm gonna start out with you, Pierre.
How I think it's gonna work? It's gonna score a lot of points. Gonna give up a lot of points, and Kyrie Irving gonna bounce.
So you think there's no chance he stays in Dallas?
No, because Kyrie is cut from a cloth like me, right?
Lakers have a third.
That's why I relate to him a lot. He's a good dude. He makes some mistakes. You know, it's hard to live a certain type of life and understand who you are and figure out where you come from in a public eye, because you can make mistakes like we saw with the poster in the movie and shit like that. But Kyrie is the type of dude, from what I see, I don't know Kyrie personally. Y'all traded me to Dallas thinking you're going to stop where I want to go. Watch this. I'm going to play this year, and I'm going with Bron, and I'm going to still get my way because y'all don't stop a god like myself from doing what he want to do. And, I think Dallas is cool, but they missing a lot, man. They missing a lot. Kyrie and Luka don't defend at a high enough level for playoff type basketball. They have no other wing defenders. Josh Green is going to, evolve into that, but I don't think he's ready for that type of role right now, fresh out of the fire. There's no defensive rim protector behind them. They're trying to get rid of JaVale McGee. Dwight Powell is not reliable for me as a defensive anchor. There's not that, and that's the type of basketball Jason Kidd wants this team to play. They wants their hat to live on the defensive side of the basketball, and they lost all of that when they gave up Dorian Finney-Smith, Reggie Bullock. I'm a Knick fan. It's up and down because one minute he's a 40% shooter who's knocking them down, and the next minute he's on a cold streak, and it's hard to have him on the floor with Luka if he can't make shots. You got Tim Hardaway Jr. Are we relying on him to
good ball player
perimeter defense? So this team is missing so much that I think we're going to get some nights where it's like, oh, man, these boys getting buckets. Oh, man, they won a game in a series because Luka and Kyrie combined for 85 points. But it's not going to go nowhere far. And I really do think there's a high chance that Kyrie dips. That's just what I see. They may be fun in the playoffs against a team, but they're going to get their ass smacked.
I think the Mavs are missing something. They are, for sure. But Luka just carried this team to the Western Conference Finals with Jalen Brunson and company. I mean,
this team was way different.
It was. It feels
way different.
I look at
the West is a little bit better.
It is better, but I look at the Mavericks, Kyrie and Luka. I think outside of Denver, who can't they beat in the West?
Golden State.
Golden State is tough.
A healthy Pelicans team.
Who's guarding Paul George or Kawhi?
That's Clippers.
Josh Green.
Be serious. He's
out of your mind.
Josh Green's developing.
No, he's
developing.
No, I'm with. Listen.
No,
listen,
I think he was being sarcastic.
I'm with you.
He was joking.
No, I'm
not
joking.
No,
Josh Green is good.
No, you said he's developing.
No,
he is good.
He's good. Be serious.
Same guy. Jaden McDaniels guarding LeBron.
Kawhi Leonard would kill Josh.
Jaden McDaniels is one of the best on-ball defenders in the league.
LeBron and Steph Curry. Come on.
Jaden McDaniels is a better option than Josh Green.
Yes,
no, of course.
But regardless, we're saying these guys are going to get there.
Jaden McDaniels is better than any defender on the Boston Celtics right now.
What does that have to do with
all right?
We're not talking about the Celtics.
Shut it. You're disrespecting McDaniels right now.
He said he was stopping LeBron.
He could definitely slow him down.
No. Stop.
LeBron, how many points did LeBron have in the fourth quarter against OKC?
Oh my God! He just had
Jalen
40
Williams was
going
shutting
into
him
the
down.
fourth.
What are we talking about? McDaniels
shutting him down.
He's one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. He had nothing. He had 2 points in the fourth.
He really didn't play. I don't know why.
He was living on a high.
Yeah,
for real. Nah, he passed the record. And he was like,
"I get it.
My night's over.
I get it."
Listen, all I'm saying is that Luka has shown me before that him with no. Wait, no.
Listen.
First 2 playoff series against the Clippers, he went
lost.
to 7 with no co-star.
Respectfully, he lost.
But he went to 7.
Okay, wait.
He went to 7, bro.
And Kristaps,
Nobody
the way that you're
expected
treating Kristaps, like Kristaps wasn't integral in that series.
He was
The bubble one, not the next
talking
one.
about the next
The
one?
next one,
I
Luka
know.
carried.
He
Okay,
did.
All right.
He did.
Bro,
They also in that next playoffs won games without Luka.
PeeWee, hold on for just
I guess
one.
the-
just,
yeah,
just
Jalen
one
Brunson
they got
was
past
just-
the
Let me let you
hold,
cook.
hold on for 1 second. Joel, you love to bring up that 7-game series, but you fail to mention that the Mavericks were shooting at a historical godlike Jesus, Mary, Christ rate. They were shooting at a ridiculous rate that they won't shoot again. They were shooting at a
And
ridiculous rate.
Kawhi
the first
had
5
Shaq-like
games.
efficiency, which
Yes,
probably
but
would not
that's
happen
what it
again
took.
in that
That's what it
second
took.
matchup.
Because that's what it took.
But look, that's not the same West. There is a lot of great, sturdy,
Facts.
elite teams in the West that can give
Who?
them a run for their money.
Elite?
Yes.
Who's elite outside of the Denver Nuggets?
The Memphis Grizzlies are an elite.
They're not
team
an
in the
elite
West.
team.
They're
They're
not
not-
team in the
they
West.
have-
They have
They're
one.
an
They
elite
have
team in the
one
West.
of the
They're
worst half-court
They're an
offenses
elite
in the
team
NBA.
in the
They're
West.
They have one of the
Bucks
worst
do
half.
too, and they're still elite. What are you talking about?
Bucks are not
Grizzlies
either.
half-court offense is worse than
The
the
Grizzlies
Bucks.
are an elite team in the West. Let's stop being dumb here. They're an elite
So
team.
you
in the
so you
regular
would
season.
pick them over
They're-
Luka and Kyrie in a
That's just not
series.
the first
Yes.
name I would have brought up.
Luka and Kyrie,
Yeah,
the
but they're
Grizzlies.
They're the next
The
seed.
Grizzlies
I know,
have
but
been
they're not
playing.
I would pick the Grizzlies.
Okay,
Why would I
you
not?
named
They
2
have the rim
teams.
protection.
How many
They
other
have
elite
they
teams are
have
in the
the rim
West?
protection. They have the depth. They have the
Are you
duo. They have a
calling-
playoff
are you
performer. Why wouldn't I
calling
pick them?
a Pelicans team with Zion elite?
Healthy Zion,
Not yet.
Pelicans team
Why
is an
not?
elite regular
Why
season. They're an
not?
elite
The
team.
only
Why
elite
not?
team in the West are the Denver Nuggets.
Why?
That's
Based
it.
off what?
Yes.
Based
Healthy
off
Warriors.
what?
What do you mean? They
Warriors.
just had a
Healthy Warriors.
146
Healthy
offensive rating in the
Hello,
first
hello.
So
quarter.
they're
Before
a
you
healthy
took
team
out-
because of the regular
before you
season.
took
How
out-
is Memphis not elite?
Healthy
I'm not saying
Warriors.
They
you're
made
wrong.
the Western Conference Finals healthy with
In the
Jamal Murray and Nikola
bubble,
Jokic.
that was 3 years ago. We don't care about the bubble anymore.
Okay, what happened in
We're
the
not
next
even
2
in that
years? Jamal
situation
Murray was out.
anymore.
Michael Porter Jr. was out. They were healthy. When they were healthy, they made the conference finals, bro.
No, they-
What are we talking
Yeah,
about?
in the bubble. It was in a bubble. Why
The
did
year
you bring it up
before,
the
they
bubble?
were 1 game away from making the conference
They
finals
played the
with Jamal
fucking
Murray and
Spurs in
Jokic.
Portland. Let's talk about what's been happening
Portland, they
now.
went to
You're
7.
calling
They went to
Denver.
7.
You're calling Denver
went
an
to
elite
7.
team based on what they're doing in the regular season, right? So
Are they not an elite team?
Memphis should be considered an elite team. They're a
Correct.
top 3
They're
seed.
not the Nuggets, bro. They're not the Nuggets. The Nuggets have a
That's
top 3
different
player in the world.
Right.
John Moran is not that.
They're not the Nuggets.
No,
What are you
the
saying?
Nuggets-
What do you-
Nuggets, I think, are in a
listen,
different
what
The
I want-
Denver's elite.
They
But
are.
Memphis can be elite also.
They can.
They could be.
They're
Their
not
offense-
the
their
Nuggets.
offense-
They're not the
Their
Nuggets.
offense is not
They're
up to
inconsistent,
par
bro.
with the
They're
others.
inconsistent.
But their defense is good enough that they can still hang around, which is why I'm with you.
Memphis defense
They
is elite.
haven't. 100%, one of the best defense in the league.
And
But what the issue
and
is,
what we've seen from them in the playoffs, they make jump after
you're right,
jump
you're
after
right.
jump
And John
after
Morant
jump.
in playoff time is going to be
John,
different.
John Morant is a different
He
breed in
needs
the
to be
playoffs. What are we
available.
doing
He
here?
needs to be available.
They have the depth. They have the rim protection. They have the wing
They do.
defender.
They do.
They have everything
They
you
do.
need. They have the coach. They have
They
the
do.
same thing. And I'm not disagreeing with you with Denver, but we seem to have a problem with Memphis because you lack to give them credit. They have the coach. They have the star. They have the co-star. They have the rim protection.
Who's
they
the
have
co-star?
The co-star is Desmond Bain.
Respect him.
They have Jaren
Respect him.
Jackson at the rim. They have Jaren Jackson.
Bro, Jaren Jackson is the co-star. Jaren Jackson is the
It's
co-star.
not Desmond Bain. It's
Yeah,
not.
Jaren
not
Jackson
Desmond
is the
Bain.
co-star.
It's not
Come
Desmond
on.
Bain. It's
They
J.
They have
it's
two
J-
all-stars. One is not Desmond Bain.
Offensively,
Offensively,
it's
it's
Desmond Bain. But whatever.
Offensively, it's
We
Desmond
can even put Jaren Jackson as
Facts.
the co-star because he is right now the best rim protector in the
Yes.
NBA.
Yes.
Then they have the depth. They have the coach.
Yep.
They have literally, and they have the confidence and the swagger. They have everything
That's
you
gotten
need.
them nowhere.
They have
What's their record against the West this
What the
season?
hell?
What's their record against the West this season?
It's
What's
not
their
good.
record?
It's not
What's
good.
their
It's
record?
not
After
good.
John
It's
Moran's
not
comments
good.
that they would,
No.
no
Well,
team in the West
it's
is
not good.
competing with them.
Why
They
we act
have
like
a
that
negative
matters
record
in-
against the
why-
Western
why we act
Conference
like that
this
matters in-
season.
Why do
What
we
are you
act
talking
like
about?
that matters in
You
playoffs?
talking about?
It doesn't.
What
Why
is
is
it?
West-
Hold
why
on.
are we-
No,
why
no,
are we
no.
raising
No,
our tone?
I'm just
Because
confused. I'm just
realistically,
confused.
the
What is
way-
this? What is this thing to prop up the Memphis Grizzlies? You
No.
want
hate
to?
'em.
And
Rip,
why are
Rip.
you propping up the
Rip.
Mavericks? They're
They have
one-dimensional.
Luka
Okay,
Doncic.
and they have one John Morant. Lower your fucking tone.
John Moran is not Luka. Are you telling me John Moran is
No
Luka?
one is
John
saying
Moran
that.
is not
but the
Luka.
Grizzlies are much more than. Are they?
No.
With Kyrie Irving, yes,
You
they
didn't even see them
are.
play.
They're
No, it's
better.
literally two
They're better.
players. It's
It's
two
Luka.
players.
Those two players can
No,
win you
it's
multiple
serious.
series
Because he
in the
hates the
playoffs.
Grizzlies.
No.
He hates the way they
But-
talk
no,
shit.
hold
How
on.
confident they are.
I'm actually confused here because I got annoyed because you wanted to discredit the Nuggets. Oh, the
Wait,
bubble doesn't
what?
matter. You
What?
said that's what he
No,
said.
no,
he
he's
said the
losing. No,
bubble
he
does
lost
not
me.
matter.
He lost me.
He was
Brand,
like in
Brand,
the
it doesn't
bubble,
matter
in
for
the
right
bubble,
now in the
in the
season.
bubble.
Okay.
Now,
It doesn't matter
they
for
have
right now
not
in the
been
season.
healthy for 2 years.
Exactly, so
Jokic
it doesn't
alone
matter.
without Jamal Murray,
It
with the
doesn't
starting backcourt of Austin
matter.
Rivers
The
and
bubble
Facundo
does-
Campazzo,
Bro,
beat the
bro,
Blazers
bro,
in the first
nobody
round.
cares 'cause the
Jokic
bubble
finally
does not
has
matter
a
for the
team.
season.
I just don't understand.
But who's
Why?
discrediting the Nuggets?
I just don't understand why. Because he said the Grizzlies are elite. The
not.
Grizzlies are not on the Nuggets level.
Okay,
the
no
Nuggets
one-
are
did you
elite.
say
They're in a
that,
tier
Riv?
of their
I mean,
own.
if
They're
my
in a tier
brain's
of their
flowing,
I
own.
called the Grizzlies an elite team.
Yes.
I said Denver is better. I did not say Grizzlies were better than Denver.
They're not
But
an
let's-
elite team.
but
They're not.
Grizzlies
They're
are
not the Nuggets.
why?
The Nuggets are on a tier
They
of
don't
their
have
own
to
in the
be the
West.
Nuggets to be an
one is
elite
saying
team.
that.
You're putting you're
The
putting the standard at the
conversation's
Nuggets.
Dallas.
The
The
standard. what are you
conversation's
talking
Dallas. You
about?
said that Dallas is elite.
No, I didn't. I said
I
Dallas
don't
can
know.
beat
I don't
the
know. You
Grizzlies
said
in a
there's one of
series.
two teams that are elite.
No, I didn't. I never said they were elite.
I don't think
I just said I would take the Mavericks over the Grizzlies in the series. That's what I said.
I don't think he said the
No.
Mavericks.
My
elite.
mind is not. My mind is
This
not
whole thing
failing
started
me
because
right now.
Riv said there's elite after elite team in the West, and I said the only elite team in the West is the Nuggets.
I said
That's
the
what I
Warriors.
said.
I would
That's
put
how
the
this all
Grizz- The
started.
Grizzlies being the
Based off
second
what,
team, I
though?
don't think is
The Nuggets.
where you go.
The Nuggets right now are the best team in the West.
That doesn't mean there can't
Yes.
be other elite teams.
I think
No,
the
that's-
Warriors healthy
So do you
could be.
think? Yeah, I think the Warriors
Yes,
healthy are an
I
elite
guess.
team.
Like,
You could-
like,
you
But
could-
those might be. I don't see Memphis.
Why are the
I don't-
Grizzlies elite over the Phoenix Suns? Make me that argument.
Oh.
Make me that argument legitimately.
they're
Is
a
that-
better
is that
overall
crazy to
team.
say?
They're a better overall
They're
team.
better players.
One made the finals. One
mean,
has Devin
what
Booker.
happened?
What does that have to do with right now?
Right now,
Why
the
do you
The
think
Suns were the
One
first
has-
seed
one
before
has
D-Book
Devin-
got out.
Why are we
and
disrespecting
this is
John
what's
Moran?
John Moran is
confusing
not
me.
Devin Booker.
What
I'm
do-
sorry, bro.
What do you?
He's not. I'm
Are
sorry.
we
There's a
gonna
gap?
sit here and have this conversation like
gap?
John Moran and Devin Booker don't sit at the same table?
They said the same
Devin
thing.
What
for
are you
sure.
saying?
I think he's a better shot creator than him. He's a better defender. I like D-Book. I'm sorry. I know John Moran.
say- I'm not saying you're wrong here,
John Moran
but
to
they
put
don't
on
sit at
his
the
thing.
same
But hold
table?
on. Answer
They
me this
do.
question. What is the argument over the Grizzlies being a more elite team than the Suns? The
They
Suns
have
were
more
the
talent,
the Suns
yes.
were the first seed in the West
They have
before
more
D-Book
talent.
went out.
They have more talent.
I want to get Pierre and OG's opinion on this. Is it crazy?
I'm sorry. This is good stuff right here, man.
Yeah,
y'all
like
keep
it.
this going. This is awesome right here. This is fantastic. Keep going, guys. I'm loving this.
I mean, with all due respect, the Suns, we see who they are. We know who they are. We can respect and
Because they
acknow-
lost to the Mavericks.
Can I finish speaking? Thank you. We understand who the Phoenix Suns are. Yes, Devin Booker is amazing, one of the best talents in the game. Outside of that, you have question marks about the rest of the team.
Who?
Mikhail's a great defender, yes, but what's his offense? It's limited.
He's improved
It's-
dramatically.
No doubt. He has.
He's averaging a career high 17 a game this year. With
Okay,
D-Book out, he was
no
averaging
doubt.
23 plus.
Okay, again, so what did it go from 15 to 17? It's a minor increase.
There's
but
a lot
again,
of options. on the
Joel,
Suns.
let me finish speaking. For the love of
You
God.
just said Cam Johnson was one of the better players in the league, not talked about. He's there, right?
Yes, okay.
DeAndre Ayton's the top 10 center. Chris
Joel-
Paul's one of the best
Joel-
forward general point
Joel.
guards. D-Book is a
talking.
top 2 shooting guard in the league. I'm just saying, what's the difference between the Suns and the Memphis Grizzlies as a team?
I
I
think
try
there's
to
seven more
fucking tell you, but if you cut me off, I can't tell you. Are you
What's
gonna
the
let?
difference? I'm not agreeing with these points. You're not acknowledging
didn't
Mikal
say
Bridges'
anything.
development.
I didn't get a chance to say a fucking word because
You better get in your bag. You better get in your bag, Drew.
Go ahead. We listening, Drew. What you got, Drew?
DeAndre Ayton. We understand what his game is. Chris Paul. We understand that he's aging. Yes, he's still playing solid basketball, but it's not the Chris Paul of what we expected. So automatically, our expectations of the Suns, our image of the Suns is a little bit tainted. Now we look at the Grizzlies, who've been playing great defense all season long, not just last season, but not just this season, of course, but last season as well. Offensively, if you want to have your concerns with them, that is up to you. But John Moran is averaging 27 points per game, one of the league's best scorers in the game, next to Desmond Bane, who I agree with Riv. In terms of offense, that is the co-star. But in
Oh
terms
my
of
gosh, that's how we
Grizzlies-
make co-stars now.
no doubt. I understand where you're coming from, P.
No, I ain't mean to stop you from cooking. Keep going. Keep
That's
going.
fine. Jaren Jackson is the number 2 best player on that team. So, yes, that is his co-star. But that speaks to how great the Grizzlies are as well. Understand that as a whole, the Grizzlies are just built better than the Phoenix Suns. Dylan Brooks, one of the better perimeter defenders.
You
as
hate
well.
Dylan Brooks.
I cannot like him as a player, but I can understand who he is on the court.
What about offensively?
his shot selections?
You
Is not good.
can't pull out the bag. You
Bro,
literally hate
he
the
complains
Grizzlies.
about Desmond being every. I mean,
You hate the Grizzlies.
He complains
You
about
hate the
Dylan Brooks
Grizzlies.
every
And
episode.
you complain
now
about the
you're propping
Grizzlies.
him
You
up.
complain
all
about
I
the
do,
Grizzlies.
all I do is
Regardless if I
acknowledge
like him or
how I say it constantly. His shot selection is dog shit. You can
not
ignore it
lying.
for the sole fact that he's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. Is that not what I say constantly?
He can stop LeBron.
Is that what I say constantly?
The way he can stop.
So how
LeBron.
about we calm the fuck down? We let others finish their damn sentences
Uh-oh.
because I know for a fact, I know for a damn fact that you don't feel this passionately about the Phoenix Suns. You're trying to get a point across.
No, I think the Suns are an overlooked team because people have seen that Dallas Mavericks series, and that's all they hold over them.
So what are they? What are they?
I think they're a very great team in the West. They're in the same tier as the Grizzlies. They're in the same tier as the Grizzlies. If they matched up in the series, is it a wash? That's a 7-game series in the playoffs.
We thought the same shit last season with the Suns versus Dallas.
The Grizzlies are tier 2.
They win 7 games.
I had Dallas winning the series.
I just gave you that credit. You had Dallas winning that series because of Luka. You were in the minority on that, and that's why I respect you for that. But a majority had the Suns winning that series easily. Why? Because people thought, similar to how you're doing right now, that they're better than they might actually be.
I am just baffled how we look at this Suns team. One, the only aging player on it is Chris Paul. Everybody's getting better. Say what you want to look. I think DeAndre Ayton, for his status and draft status, is disappointing. He's still a top 7 center at worst. Can give you 20 and 10 every single night.
Hell no.
I put out this poll about what is DeAndre Ayton. I asked if he's top 5, top 7, top 10 to see the landscape of how many players are
over DeAndre Ayton definitively.
Okay, so you have Jokic, Embiid. Go ahead.
Is Cat a center?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cat,
Adebayo, correct.
That's and Jared Allen. That's 5. I think we could definitively say.
I would, no doubt.
Is Jared Allen easily better?
Is Jared Allen? Are we not having a conversation, or is that just a wash?
That's not a wash.
It's a conversation.
Because I just watched DeAndre Ayton on you guys just said you just said that Nick Claxton is arguably the defensive player of the year. He just put 35 and 15 on him 2 nights ago.
Absolutely.
2 nights ago, he just did that. Not only did he do that, the way Phoenix implements him in that offense, where they're getting the ball to him in transition and in the mid post and in the mid range, where he's knocking that shot down. And when he's doing that, they're a much better team than what they're displaying. Now, don't get me wrong. Jared Allen is one of the better rim protectors in the game, and I hold him in a high regard as a defensive player. But I think the divide between him and Ayton is definitely on the offensive end, especially when Ayton is playing like he's playing the other night. So I'm going to hold up on the Jared Allen logic.
Sabonis I'd put over Ayton.
Yeah.
But we're still saying Gobert.
In a playoff series, though, Ayton is more
I'm just asking.
Defensively, Sabonis is not Ayton.
I don't want to
No,
cop
but we
out. I'm
know.
just asking who's better.
On.
Yes
who's better? Okay, but
come from Sabonis.
Allen, Ayton is better than Allen to me.
Okay,
So I'm
Give me Sabonis. Give me Sabonis.
Yeah,
I agree with everything OG said, but OG, you also got to talk. Let's talk about the nights where he got 8 points against Boston.
12
points,
13
8 points
right?
against Houston. Against Houston.
I don't count AD, but listen, AD obviously. If
Brook
you call
Lopez
him,
or DeAndre Ayton?
DeAndre Ayton.
Okay.
DeAndre Ayton.
Rudy
Because Brook
Gobert.
Lopez is 30 fucking
DeAndre
9.
Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton's better than Rudy Gobert?
Yes.
We all with that? Okay.
I don't. Am I?
It's a
I
conversation.
don't
It's a
know if I'm
conversation.
For what they do,
Who would you rather have?
If I'm the Suns,
Like I'm like okay, the Ayton point is valid, but
I'm the Suns rather.
and
I think top
Ayton's
7, I don't know.
bro, and
Top 10
Ayton's
though,
and
top
Ayton- and Ayton's first playoff series 16-12, his second one 18-9. Like he's not a slouch. And
It's like his
also
averages.
when talking
Think
about the Suns, like okay,
Yeah.
who the Raptors center?
No, hold on, Joe. Let's get you going strictly off the numbers. What we're talking about is how this dude is implemented in that offense, right? Because those numbers can be skewed if he's going 16-12. He can have stretches where he doesn't touch the basketball and he's completely ineffective when he's not touching the basketball, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything if he's not scoring. Is he on the backboard? Is he disruptive in the paint? Is he rebounding, right? Is he defending on the block? Is he man in the paint? So we're talking about a guy who's 16-12. Let's take the numbers, let's not just go with the numbers. We got to figure out exactly who Ayton is when he's playing. Let's just because those numbers can be skewed. Let's hold the phone on that.
correct. OG, I would say this past playoff series versus Dallas, I didn't think Ayton showed up at all. But you look at the first playoff series in the second round, he was guarding Jokic one-on-one, and he did a great job on Jokic in the conference finals. The first game, he has the game-winning tip-in, and they were surviving with Chris Paul being injured and D Book kind of being hobbled. I just don't like how much the Suns get disrespected because, and it's kind of funny how the hate for the Suns is kind of shifted to the Grizzlies, although people still kind of hate the Suns. 2 years ago, 51 wins. They make the finals. Okay, people call it a fluke run. The next year, 64 wins. You don't win 64 games for no reason.
Do the Suns have a better bench player than Trey Jones? Tyus Jones.
Tyus Jones?
Do the Suns have a better,
No.
Do they have a better bench player than Brandon Clark?
Excuse me.
Sorry,
I think Cam Johnson could be.
Cam Johnson is
start
the
'cause
only
of
one
Jay
in this
Crowder.
conversation.
He's starting
correct.
now.
Correct.
But he's starting now, right? He's
Also,
now.
it's an 8-man rotation in the
Memphis
playoffs.
is
seven.
deeper.
Memphis is
sometimes.
deeper.
Memphis is deeper.
They're
They're one of the
deeper,
most deep teams in the NBA.
And the main point of which you said, which if you wanted to make that the main point of your argument, I'm fine with, of Devin Booker being the leader of this team. It's not like you can't say Ja Morant at the minimum doesn't sit at that exact same table.
No doubt. What's the series if they play?
He sit at the same table, but he definitely getting his lunch tray a little later.
I'm with you. I think Devin Booker's better. I think
Booker get his lunch first.
Yeah, and I think Booker's game is it fits better in the playoffs. I think just at him as a shot creator.
As a shooter.
He went to the finals.
I mean, he's the ultimate shot creator.
However,
wait,
I don't
wait.
disagree with what
Yeah,
you're saying.
okay, Ja Morant, and you're gonna harp on it. He had one bad series, but the Utah Jazz were the number 1 defense in the league. He averaged 30 on them.
The
He
same
bugged out.
And then Golden State
in
he
his
had a
first
40 ball.
playoff.
That's because he had that high scoring ass first game.
I'm not gonna sit here and say he's this all-world playoff performer, but I think his game is just fine in the playoffs in most matchups. I think it's okay.
Okay, this is what were the
I think his
differences?
game translates.
What were
I do.
what was the difference between the Jazz this past season and 2 seasons ago defensively?
No wings.
I mean, no, I'm not. I'm talking
Wing
about
defenders. They didn't have it. Or
they didn't
perimeter
have
defenders
defenders
at all.
even in the Ja series.
Correct.
They didn't have it. No, you're propping up Ja because
Is that true?
He was,
Yeah,
it was the
sorta,
same starting
kinda,
lineup.
sorta,
he
kinda.
was a
No,
year or two.
no,
But it
I-
kind of didn't matter because Ja was just attacking and he would see Rudy, that one defender
no
that did
doubt.
have.
I'm just. This is why I bring this up because you are propping up Ja for that
a
series.
year 2 player.
But in the offseason, when I used that series, when Jalen Brunson was cooking, and I used that series to prop up Jalen Brunson, it's the Utah Jazz. It's the same roster. But now you're saying Ja was so exceptional. Am I wrong for that?
You're not wrong, but it's a different
What
team.
you're saying is fact.
It's a different team.
Fair point.
Definitely a different.
He was not
And we also can't leave out.
It was a
And
different.
we can't leave out neither, Riv.
It's
that-
different team. One guy is a year 2 player,
And one guy won the series in Brunson and won without Luka on the
Hey,
floor.
what the like you? Why are you bringing up all these extra ass?
No,
teams?
because you're propping
No,
up
this is
Ja
no-
Morant for
no,
the same
no,
thing you
no,
put,
no,
you
what I'm
put
saying-
Jalen
no,
Brunson down.
No,
for.
all I said was I don't. You said Devin Booker's game translate more. All I said was I think Ja Morant's game translate. You're making this. You're making every conversation a me versus you thing. When I didn't even disagree with you, all I said was I think Ja Morant, based off what we've seen, can translate in the playoffs. That's literally all I said.
all I
You made
said-
it a
all
me
I
versus
said-
me thing.
all
Just
I
like
said
how you
is that
just
the
brought up-
Grizzlies
just
and the
like
Suns are
how
the same
We were
tier.
talking about the Grizzlies, and you brought up the Suns randomly.
'Cause I said
Nobody
they're the
said
same
shit
tier.
about them, and
They're
you
the
just
same
brought it
tier.
up to try to get a W back, which had nothing to do with the conversation. We were just talking about the Grizzlies and their team. You brought up the Suns randomly, and then before that, you talked about how the Grizzlies are not on Denver's level. When I never said they even were.
You said they were an elite team in the West. They're not.
But I still said, which
There could be
everybody heard me,
tiers.
Denver was the best team in the
No,
West.
They're
and
not,
that
they're not
Denver
an
was
elite team
better
in the
than
West. They're not an
Grizzlies.
elite team. I'm sorry.
Like,
You can't be an elite. You can't be an elite team to the West and have a below 500 record against the West. I'm sorry. You can't. You can't. You can't. All I said was that the Suns are on the same tier as the Grizzlies. Am I wrong for saying that?
I disagree.
I didn't say you just brought it up.
I'm mad y'all just went off into this about 2 teams that are kind of close. I think, but all y'all is right. This is because 2 good
Come on,
teams.
D, you know the show name. Come on, you can't say both sides are right.
Hey, man, listen. We're talking about the Memphis Grizzlies. They got one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the game.
And free
And free throw shooting teams in the game. So with that being said, the Memphis Grizzlies are a team that they could go all the way to the NBA Finals, but they could also get bounced in round 1.
Yes.
That could absolutely happen. They could get bounced in. I'm not saying that they could lose. They could get bounced in round 1.
Phoenix
Because
could too.
They could, and Phoenix too, no question about it, because they could get themselves a bad matchup early. They could get themselves a bad matchup early, and they could get exposed for who they really are, which is an athletic team who gets up and down the floor,
Right.
who has a rim protector in Jaren Jackson Jr., but they don't defend nearly as much as they should. They rely on him mostly. And if he has to deal with somebody himself on the block, and then those other guys, now they have to deal with their own matchups, they're going to get exposed. And Dylan Brooks, you can bet your last money on it that he's going to do something to get himself in trouble.
Correct.
He's going to do something to get himself in trouble, and it's going to cost this unit. And it could cost them a game, which could possibly cost them a series. So Memphis is that kind of team where they could get bounced in round 1, or they could end up in the NBA Finals.
So are they an elite team in the West?
Well,
You have
if you're
to
the
say.
if you're the number 2 seed if you're the number 2 seed, you may have to say that they're an elite team, but they may be fool's gold. Just like Brooklyn was. Everybody was talking about what Brooklyn,
like Phoenix was when they won 60 games and lost in the second round to a team they shouldn't have lost to.
Here's the difference, though.
But they're in this is the thing. The Jazz, we called them frauds in the playoffs because you knew what they were going to do, right? Okay, understandable. But in the regular season, they were deemed an elite team because they had a top record almost every single season. You can say the same thing about Memphis. They have literally been a top 4 team the past 2 seasons, just like the Suns have been great. Last year, the Memphis Grizzlies were great. This year, they're great again. You can say they're an elite team in the regular season right now in the West. It's okay to say that. You just hate them, which I understand they hate because you don't like how they talk.
I just think the Nuggets are the only elite team in the West.
I agree with Riv though. I agree with Riv. Last year,
from both sides.
Last year they called me a Suns hater. The Suns were the number 1 team in the NBA, and I didn't think that they were contenders.
Here's the thing, though, PeeWee. I thought that was a bad matchup between them and Dallas. Number 1, number 2. I thought that Monty Williams. I thought he got out coached in that series more than anything.
He did.
I definitely think he got out coached. I don't think that from a talent standpoint that they were overmatched against Dallas. I think that everything that Dallas had, they had, because what Luka did, don't get me wrong, Luka was absolutely phenomenal. But I think the collection of talent that Phoenix had, they should have been at minimum able to match that, right? So instead, not only did they not match that, they failed miserably. You know, to get blown out on your home floor in Game 7. I think I stopped watching. They were down by 40. On their home floor. I stopped watching it. They were down by like 41. And one of the main things that I saw that I thought was instrumental in that series was Devin Booker and Chris Paul getting double teamed in the short corner. Devin Booker does not play well when he gets double teamed. In fact, he plays horribly when he gets double teamed. And I think Jason Kidd did a great job of making sure that he got bodies, plural, bodies on him when he was moving to the left in the short corner and making him make quick decisions where he was turning over the basketball. And now that gets Chris Paul out of rhythm. Not only does it get Chris Paul out of rhythm offensively, now their offense is completely staggered. So now they can't run anything, and Monty Williams never really made any adjustments to that. So more than anything, I thought that they got out coached. From a talent standpoint, they should have been able to match what Luka was doing just individually.
I agree. That's how I view my contenders and the teams that I like based off the matchups. That was one of the things I predicted way early last season on my podcast. I was like, hey, I get the Suns are good, but I could see them losing to a team like Dallas in the second round or Western Conference Finals. And that's exactly what happened. I didn't think they would lose in the way that they did, but
that was unacceptable. That was unacceptable, PeeWee. Getting blown out like that? Nah, man. Getting blown out like that.
Shouldn't have happened at home on their home floor to get.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Devin Booker guy, but yes, it was something about the Suns. So I mean, I get what Riv was saying. You know, you can be a team at the top of the conference, but if you somebody that watch basketball and you evaluate things and you watch a team and you say it's just something that not there for me, I can't call nobody wrong because it's a lot of fraudulent stuff that happen. Playoff basketball is a
lot of fraudulent stuff. Is right,
and that's what I think about the Grizzlies. I think they're a fraudulent team. I do.
That's fair. I think.
See what happens, PeeWee, and you watch basketball. What happens is that it's different than playing Memphis tonight on a Wednesday, and then we don't see them again for 2 months, as opposed to we got Memphis this entire week, and all we can do is focus primarily on Ja Morant and the fact that he doesn't create for other guys as much as he should, right? Desmond Bane doesn't shoot the long ball when it's contested as well as when he's wide open on the left-hand side of the floor. These are things that we scheme for, right? Jaren Jackson doesn't play as good in transition when he has to guard. He doesn't play as good offensively when he has to guard. So these are things that these teams these things that teams scheme for when they're watching other teams like the Memphis Grizzlies. And what they do is they exploit those things. That's why I was out on Brooklyn, because we can't hide guys like Ben Simmons. We can't hide him in the playoffs. We can do everything that we can with Kevin Durant. He makes up for a lot of what you do offensively, a lot of deficiencies that you have offensively. Kyrie Irving makes up for a lot of stuff. What we can't do is we can't hide a guy in Ben Simmons who plays with the basketball. Not only does he play with the basketball, he doesn't want to go to the basket because he doesn't want to go to the stripe. Now that takes a guy that's basically playing 4-on-5. These are schemes that teams look at. So when you get a team like the Memphis Grizzlies right? You get a team like the Memphis Grizzlies, they scheme for stuff like that. So I can appreciate the logic that they might not be as good as everybody thinks they are. They look good right now, though.
When it comes to the Mavs, Luka, Kyrie, how far do you think they can go in the West this season? Because we don't know if Kyrie's a rental or not.
I think he gets it.
That team needs some moves.
I know, man. The defense is really my
I
main
think
concern.
they can go to the WCF, but I don't think they have the front court defense to stop Denver.
Unless the Nuggets.
Let me see a
and
game.
Golden State
I
are
need to
gonna
see a
have get
game
together.
before I can come here talking about.
I
the
agree,
WCF.
Drew.
Is it one game, Drew, or do you need to see a culmination?
Like
'Cause
a
I
week.
don't-
Luka's
Give
not
me,
even
give me
playing
a,
tonight.
I was gonna say, give me a
They're not
firm,
playing
give me a
next
firm
couple
week. Give me like 3-4 games where I've seen Luka and Kyrie working together, and then we can
Yep.
come to that discussion.
I think they'll work together fine, but it's going to come back to defensively.
But
All
I'll
I'll
say
say
is
is
if
if
they
they
don't-
run into the Nuggets or Golden State, it's
I'll
going
be
to be
honest.
tough.
I don't think any games should warrant you to pick Dallas over Denver just because they lack front court defense. They just lack
Denver's
it.
a favorite.
Those
Yeah,
are the two.
right.
I
Denver
feel
for
the
sure.
same about Golden State too.
And
though.
even then, if they pay, like, I know like the Pelicans don't have like the experience, but that's a tough matchup for them. They don't have wing defense. You know, they don't have a lot of that.
Who's
Even the
stopping
Clippers
Zion?
are still a dangerous matchup because they don't have wing defense.
Talk about that.
You're gonna score.
Talk about
but
them
they lack
boys.
teams. But even the Warriors, like they still don't have wing defense. Like they don't have wing defense. They don't have front court defense. So it's gonna be tough. Kleber's a good defender. Reggie Bullock is a good defender.
He's
but
their
he doesn't-
best defender, to be
But Reggie
honest.
Bullock gives you nothing on the offensive end. He has not given you that all
So
year.
far, yeah.
So it's like it's gonna be hard to play him in a playoff series.
No, we haven't even mentioned
So-
the Kings. I know the Kings are not great defensively
I
by
think
any
Dallas
means.
beats
I think they are a
I think
regular
so,
season
too.
team.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Dallas beats
I
them
love the
comfortably.
Kings. They're a fun, exciting story.
But
I don't
Sabonis
know.
can have his way.
Facts.
Man,
He
hey,
will.
talk about it, Rev. Talk about it.
De'Aaron Fox. I mean, who's really come crunch
can
time?
also
he's
have
up,
his way.
He's right there.
Sabonis and Fox can have the way,
They also don't
but
have
it
defense.
won't
The
be.
defense is the concern.
They
no doubt.
won't
The
have
same
their
thing for
way
Dallas.
more than Kyrie and Luka. That's really what it
True.
comes down to.
True.
I'm not disagreeing.
They
Not
could
gonna
outscore
disagree.
anybody.
Dallas is gonna
That's
make
what
it
makes them
fun
dangerous.
to play against
Yeah.
anybody.
I don't-
They
I'm
could
ready
go
to see it
crazy
work.
tonight.
That Dallas King series would be fun to watch.
That
I
would
would
though.
love,
Yeah.
I would love
It
if
would
Dallas
be
makes it work.
130,
I would
140
love
every night.
if Kyrie stayed in
I want to
Dallas,
see
I
Kyrie
wouldn't
do
be
his
mad.
thing.
I wouldn't be
I'm a
mad.
Kyrie
I'd be
fan. I
cool,
want to
yeah.
see Kyrie
I
do
don't.
his
I
thing.
don't
think he's
want
a
to work
rental,
on the
though.
Lakers.
I do. I'm with Pee Wee. I think he's a rental, though. I do. I
Yeah,
think that
he's a rental for sure.
I think he's a rental. I think that he walks out the front door after this season is over.
Immediately.
And, yeah, I think. But I think it's a win-win for Dallas, though. And the reason why I think it's a win-win for Dallas is because if they end up, like Rib said, in the Western Conference Championship, what they're doing is they're showing Luka that we are trying to get you help in terms of getting here. If they end up going to the finals, now Dallas becomes an even more attractive place because now with Kyrie Irving walks out the door, so now that's more money that we have. And now Luka has probably shown that I can play off the basketball with another star and we can be productive. If this doesn't work, what the first thing that you can say is, well, at least we trying.
We tried. Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. And I also think that when it comes to that, like, they didn't even give up much. They gave up Dinwiddie. Kyrie replaces him and is far superior than him. And trading Finney-Smith hurt, but I think Josh Green is ready to replace him in that
He
lineup.
showed that in the
I like
other night.
Josh. I like Josh. I like
Josh Green he's traveled the fastest defensive miles.
Yeah,
of the
him
season
and
this
Hardy
year.
both had great games.
No,
I
I'm
like Josh Green,
it's
too.
a stat.
mean?
No, it's a stat. Like he's
No,
the
I'm-
fastest player on defense.
I'm actually, what does it mean though? Like,
No, that's what he's.
He's just extremely
Green?
energetic and he just
He's
He,
young.
he
He's
gets
all over
on
the
ball.
place.
He moves all
Yeah.
over the
no,
place.
I understand. It
very
sounds like
active.
he's there, but
Yeah.
what is it?
Is it
equating
leading
he's
to
shooting,
to-
he's shooting 42% from three. No, he's been a great defender this year.
Yeah,
All right, I'm just
brings-
because
it brings
you,
up
you
minutes
told
for
me
him
that
at
he's
that
been
stage.
there, so he's there. I know he's
I
there.
think
but-
Maxi Kleber, although Finney-Smith is the guy that I love him as a wing defender, Maxi Kleber was the one getting the assignment on Kawhi
it
in the
didn't work, bro.
playoffs.
You keep it didn't work.
It's not going.
But Maxi Kleber is a great defender, though.
What's up?
I don't love that either, Rev. Rev, I don't love that neither, Rev. To be honest with you, I don't love that neither. I don't.
Shaq efficiency.
What was
Kleber
it?
was his defender.
Was it 58?
58, 61, some shit like that.
Yeah, nah.
Kawhi was abusing him.
Joel, you my boy. You know that, right?
Yeah, I don't-
But that Maverick's supposed to be a big three with Christian Wood.
he's the missing piece for the OG and Anobi trades.
Okay.
That's gonna happen. No, but Christian Wood too, 20 points off the bench.
That was your guy at the beginning of this season.
That's my guy.
And we got to also remember too, when we talking about deep.
Versus Siakam at one point in time.
Yes.
That was nuts. It's nuts.
And since we're talking about defense, can we not leave out the fact that Luka wants to get back to the basketball. Luka is the consummate. I think I can hit you more than I can stop you from hitting me.
Yeah.
And I think that's compounded with Kyrie Irving. So now you got a backcourt which has now gotten lesser defensively. And now what you're going to try to do offensively is just basically outscore everybody. Well, that's not going to work because you're going to have to, at some point, you're going to have to lift your shorts up and you're going to have to guard. And I don't think that that's there for them. Absolutely not. I don't think that that is there for them. But I do think Kyrie Irving is a rental.
Who has Luka played with that has the bag of Kyrie Irving?
Nobody.
Don't be surprised.
Never closest to Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, and there's
I think
Brunson cannot fuck with no Kyrie Irving. Stop.
No, he can't. No, he can't. No, he can't. No.
Come on.
But here's the thing, though, PeeWee.
I'm a Knicks fan. I'm keeping it a buck. Kyrie Irving is
keeping it a buck.
Right. But to be honest with you, though, PeeWee. But to be honest with you, Brunson was the closest thing to a second good offensive player that he had. So now you're gonna add Kyrie Irving, who's better than that. So Luka should be better playing off the basketball than he was with Brunson.
Brunson also backed him up. Kyrie is gonna be in the backcourt with him.
Facts.
Now, breaking news happened. It happened a while ago, but we're gonna get into it right now.
Just talked about this.
The Lakers are finalizing a deal to land D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. Mike Conley goes to the Timberwolves, and Russell Westbrook goes to the Jazz. He's gonna get bought out, and the teams that are interested are the Clippers and the Chicago Bulls in Russell Westbrook. So I'm gonna get your thoughts on this first, OG.
Wait. The Clippers. Wait. Westbrook. What? Chicago. What?
The Clippers and the Bulls are interested in Westbrook.
Oh my God! What the fuck? What are we doing, bro? This is getting out of hand, man. For fucking what? We have 8 guards.
Enjoy that.
He's not better than none of the guards we have.
He's going to the Heat, bro. Don't
Enjoy
worry.
that.
You need to go to the Clippers.
So also in the deal, Juan Toscano Anderson and Damian Jones to the Jazz, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the Timberwolves. Now, what are your thoughts on this for the Lakers, Wolves, and then Jazz? I'll start with you, OG.
Again, I think this is a Band-Aid situation for the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't think that this cures anything for them. If at best they could very well be a play-in team. I don't think that this makes them significantly better, but this does give them some depth at the forward spot. Taking Russ's contract off your books, that does help. And I think Russ ending up with the Clippers, Russ ending up with the Bulls. I mean, I do think that I know you hate this, Riv, but him ending up with the Bulls, they do need a lead guard who distributes. Now, Russ being as inefficient as he is, where he turns the basketball over, he will get other guys like Zach LaVine, like DeMar DeRozan involved in the offense. He will do that. And the same thing, he'll do that with the Clippers too. Even though he's going to throw the ball in the second row, he is going to do that. He's absolutely going to do that. But he's also going to get Kawhi Leonard involved in the offense. He's also going to get Paul George involved in the offense. He's going to speed the game up for these guys. I think he's a little bit more effective than John Wall. No question about that. However, I do think that he's also a rental. He's not somebody that you're looking at for another 3 or 4 years. I actually thought that he was going to end up staying with Los Angeles in that 6-man role because I thought that as well as he played, I thought that he had earned himself an extension. Obviously, they didn't see it that way.
OG, just a quick question because you're killing me right now. I think the Clippers move, yes, I love that. But for the Bulls, I refuse to watch a team that's going to put DeMar DeRozan and Westbrook out there on the court together. I cannot do it. I refuse to do it. It is a nasty fit. Now, it's just like Westbrook, do we need a lead guard? Yeah. But I don't think that's the inevitable move because you still have guys you want to get going. You still have guys you want to develop. And our best lineup is with Ayo Dosunmu in the lineup. So I don't want to kind of like put him in the back row and bring in Westbrook because we're going to have to add minutes to him. I would rather just keep on getting his development up and let Westbrook go to like a Clippers. Like I like the Clippers move because he's better than John Wall. I think he's probably better than Reggie Jackson too. He's somebody that's still got something left in the tank and he can get those guys in spots. And he could run the second unit for the Clippers. So I think that's more of the better move.
Would that be go ahead, Drew? I'm sorry.
No. I'm sitting here excited. I'm giddy, honestly, thinking about my Lakers. That's really all that it is. Go ahead, finish, OJ.
Well, what I was thinking about, Riv, is that Chicago Bulls team. Well, what was the demise? The demise was losing Lonzo.
Correct.
So as good as that Chicago Bulls team, losing Lonzo was the difference in what you guys were doing because now what you don't have is you don't have a lead guard, you don't have the defender that he is, right? You don't have the floor spacer that he is, and you don't have the transition player that he is. So now if you were to get Russell Westbrook, well, what does he bring in terms of value? I do think that he helps speed the game up because Zach LaVine is one of the better transition players in the game. So I do think that he speeds the game up for him. I also think he creates opportunities for DeMar DeRozan in a one-on-one also. Also, now on the
Vooch would be perfect. Him and Vooch would be perfect.
Right, and also I was absolutely getting to that. You beat me to it because him creating the offense for Vooch, because Russell Westbrook can create offense for other people. Now he's erratic and he's going to throw the ball in the second row and he's going to do dumb things. That's part of it. But there's other aspects to his game that can help you. So on the one hand, I know you don't love it, but there are parts of it that can help you.
Yeah, I just for a team that's 26 and 28, I don't see the getting the Westbrook. Like, I think Westbrook should go to a place that can help him win a championship the fastest. You know, I don't think coming to the Bulls is going to make us any better than what we are, because in reality we are literally just ass.
You have Levine, you have DeMar, you have Vooch. If I'm the front office, I can't see this trio not make the play in at the minimum.
You get Westbrook, you could win 2 games in the first round
if we get there.
No, you have to get there.
I want to see
The goal is
Russell
to be
Westbrook
above
on
the
the
Wizards.
Wizards.
Oh, we're above them actually.
Oh, nice.
That's what
You're
I was gonna
right?
I forgot to add you today on Twitter and post the screenshot. The Wizards are 4 games. They're like 4 seeds behind us now. It's so accurate.
How many games though?
Oh, it's so close. But I'm gonna take my victory.
It's
lap.
because bro, Bradley Beal.
When I
misses
mention
every
how
other
close
game,
things
bro.
are in the standings, I'm an idiot.
Now you're cooked.
It's been like that for 2 months.
Whatever.
Now, from the Lakers standpoint, D'Lo is a really good player. He's hot and
He's
cold.
also erratic.
He's hot and cold for sure. Malik
Become one of my
Beasley
favorite players
spaces
immediately.
the floor. I had an idea that they were going to get Vando, but I kind of thought they were just going to get D'Lo and Beasley. Vando's winning.
Now we got a savage.
Vando's a winning player.
Now we got a savage.
Vando he's a winner. I think Vando's a winner.
He
And
is.
I think any team he goes to, you at least are going to win like 3 more games because of the hustle
Hope
that
you're
he
ready.
brings alone.
We're about to turn the corner.
And he's great defensive.
I'm
Listen,
in the East.
I will say this. I think that this trade is better than just getting Kyrie
He's
and
coming to town this
trading
offseason.
Westbrook and picks. You know,
It's about to all come into fruition.
I think D'Lo, Beasley, Vando. I think it's just,
They needed
I think it's better than
bodies.
just
They needed
Kyrie.
bodies.
Nah, Kyrie.
My only
P,
thing
it's
is,
all right. We're gonna get him this offseason.
only
Pelinka got a plan.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see it now. I was
Yeah,
sleeping.
but D'Lo is streaky. Vando can't really score.
D'Lo's
Beasley,
a free agent too, right?
yeah, and Beasley, like
Nah,
you
I'm
just
really
when you
focused
with
on
Kyrie, you
Pelinka.
get with Kyrie, you
Bro,
get like
fuck him an hour ago.
you get all 3 of their offenses. You may not get the defense, but you get that dynamic offense that none of those 3 guys can give you in Kyrie.
You're right.
And Kyrie's ability to break down any defender in the NBA is something you're just not going to get out of those 3.
We needed talent. We needed talent
They
desperately.
needed NBA guys.
We needed it
You know
bad.
what?
That's
You're
what we
fucking
need.
right.
We needed depth, bro.
You still
Wait,
have
was
Pat
Matt
Bev.
Ryan getting from Memphis?
I'm fine with
Nah,
that.
he's
'Cause
on
now
the Timberwolves
we don't
now.
need him to
Okay.
be our
He was on the
starting
Lakers,
point
right?
guard.
Yeah, that's insane. hate
I mean, what's the lineup now? It's Russell West. I mean,
No,
it's
it's D'Lo.
D'Angelo Russell.
It's D'Lo,
Lonnie.
Lonnie, or Malik.
Yeah.
Malik probably come off the
But
bench.
then you get him off the bench,
LeBron,
another shooter.
Rui, AD.
Spacing still is
Thomas Bryant
It's-
off the
it's not
bench.
great.
Thomas
Fine.
Bryant off the
Vando,
bench.
Beasley.
Vando off the
It's-
bench.
it's-
Beasley
Austin
comes in.
Reeves,
Much Schroeder
super
off
team.
the bench. Reeves off the. Yeah, we're deep now.
No, all right.
Max Christie.
No,
Max
you
Christie,
just-
thank you.
You
We got
go-
a
you go too
sniper.
far.
No,
Bro,
it's-
respect.
we're trying,
but you keep, you keep
Those
pushing the
guys
leg.
are-
Hey,
those guys
Rib,
are-
hey, Rib, you know who Drew sound like right now? Drew sound like a used car salesman. That's what he sound like to me right now.
Yeah,
That's what he sound like.
Mercedes Benz
Yeah, that's what he sound like he is right now.
And I'm
Benz,
personally not
baby.
selling. You gotta relax. Just relax. You got your hype.
You're not buying. That's
No.
what
Yeah,
you
wait,
mean.
did you
Not
just
buying.
tell us for Dallas? Let's see a couple games. Let's see a couple games with the Lakers. Let's see. You just said it. Just stay,
All
stay
right.
on 10.
All right.
Let's see a
I'm
couple
excited.
games. No, you can
I'm
be excited. You're
bro.
still going to be a playing team.
Hey, my boys.
You gonna
Hey,
see.
I appreciate y'all. It's been a pleasure. Wifey
too,
threatening
man.
me.
Yeah.
I was
you
I
gotta
promised
make
her
sure
these tacos, so she on my ass right now. OG,
PeeWee, good to talk to you, brother.
always
Tacos.
good.
Here
OG.
you go. What kind of tacos?
It's a spot right by us. I get
the
chicken
tacos.
and steak
Okay.
Mhm.
somewhere. It's,
Yo,
Sounds
Pete, take it easy, bro. All right.
no. We gonna do this soon. Me and OG gotta come
Yeah.
back soon after
Absolutely.
after
No
Kyrie
doubt.
and Luka, and we see the Lakers play a few games.
No
Bring
doubt,
us right
yo.
back.
Yes, sir. We will be back. Have us back in here.
Yeah. I'll
Appreciate
talk to
y'all,
y'all
brother.
soon, man.
Thank you for being on.
Appreciate
Always,
y'all,
man.
brothers, man. I appreciate y'all. No doubt. Be easy, fellas.
Peace.
What's your saying, OG?
Take it light, but take it.
Take it.
Be easy, fellas. Thanks for having me, man. Y'all know what
All
it's
right,
on.
see you,
OG.
OG. Thank you for being
Yeah.
on.
No doubt.
So when it comes to the Timberwolves, Mike Conley, I think, is what they needed.
That's huge.
They needed a floor
I
general
like that.
point
I'll be
guard.
honest. I
That's a
like that
nice
move
move.
more than everything on Lakers
Yeah.
because Mike Conley brings you stability. First of all, bringing a point guard. I hate the Timberwolves. Let's just get this out the way. But I can respect
Why is that?
because of him.
Oh,
but
no.
I can undoubtedly
Should've saw
In
that.
the
yeah,
comments, they be on him,
yeah.
man.
They'll be like the Raptors soon. They'll fold. They'll
Facts,
fold.
They will.
But bringing stability, especially to
Hey,
a
but
two,
I'm on the Timberwolves side. Respect.
especially to a two big man lineup, like guys like Cat and Gobert, having point guard stability like that, and Mike Conley, who's steady and space the floor, he can create for others. He still can give you that little floater here, there, in times. He like that just is so. And then for a guy like Ant Edwards, I mean, this is just going to open up his game a little bit more because D'Lo and Conley, they're not the same. Conley is.
Oh my god.
Russell Westbrook on the Bulls. Totem shot.
Yo, he looks clean though.
It looks
the sad part is he looks clean. He looks clean. The sad part is he looks fucking
He looks
clean.
so
yo,
good.
clean in
That's
that.
why in the Lakers jersey he looks good.
He looks clean in that. Hey,
Yo, I'm dead, bro.
hey, Conley's better than D'Lo though for this situation.
And Mike Conley has chemistry with Rudy Gobert.
Fuck that
Anthony
chemistry.
Edwards is going to help his game more. And I like this locker.
It always comes
And
back
wait
to
till Karl
Timberwolves
Anthony
some way,
Towns comes
somehow.
back.
So
Exactly.
what's the move? You guys are this is the energy shift?
This
No,
is what
top
you
six
needed?
lock. I've been said
Top
the
six
energy-
what?
Top six lock. I've been said the energy was going
You
to
said
shift.
top one.
Back in December 6th, I said the energy was going to shift.
You did?
I tweeted a picture
What
of
the fuck you-
Jalen
did
Brown's
you really?
tweet. I swear to God.
okay.
It is a tweet for everything.
No, you said you shouldn't take your Twitter seriously.
It's fact.
Some tweets you do. Some tweets you don't.
We have to, or you decide.
So
which
we have to
ones.
guess?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
or-
decide which ones are serious.
It's the
and
ones
which
that are
ones
right
not.
are serious. The ones that are wrong. He was
Well,
being sarcastic.
Minnesota's 9th seed.
How many? I mean, it's close.
Yeah,
Everything
close.
is, it changes every day, so you got to check every day. It's so aggravating.
So what? You still like the Lakers over Minnesota bet now? Still?
Yeah. Lock it in. Lock it in.
No, it's lit.
Lock it in.
I'm lit. I'm excited. I can't wait. Do you like it?
I'll still love it. for
All right,
me.
let's do it.
Conley was an upgrade.
Nice.
No, he's right.
I know. For that situation, no doubt.
Yeah, Conley was an
Oh, but the
upgrade.
Lakers just got better.
He's
For
injury
And we're not
prone.
done.
No, you're done.
We're not.
No, you're definitely done.
What else do you have to?
Pat
Austin
Bev
Reeves.
and Max Christina, fucking second rounder.
Let me not be greedy. I'm happy.
We'll give you Drummond.
Who's we?
The Bulls. The only team that has Drummond.
That's
We'll
why
give
I'm
you
not
Wiseman.
curious. For who?
You get some young
Who,
talent.
who do you want?
I need AD. No, okay, all right. We'll give you Wiseman.
You're throwing head?
We'll give you Wiseman. You could give us you ain't got shit.
No, they don't.
Get that first rounder. You still got that?
Ooh,
29.
I'll take it.
they're only
Yeah,
first.
no, I'm not dealing. I'm not.
Not a good
Top
day at
four
the
protected?
office today.
No,
What happened?
Jaden Ivey, 10 points, bro. 6 shots. Are you serious?
No.
What was? Oh, your boom pick was.
Nah, but it
Dame.
was Dame. It was
Yeah.
Dame. Yeah, I was not trusting Jaden Ivey with a boom pick.
More than anything, I think the Lakers have to be excited with
So it's
their,
13 and a half.
the players that are starters are now bench players because they deserve, like, all due respect. Schroeder's been playing well, Pat Bev and all these guys, but they should be coming off the bench.
With all due
Isaac-
respect,
Isaac
to
man,
get D'Lo and
Hold
Malik,
on. Isaac Okoro, 7 points. He had a 3 today, 1 for 3, 5 assists, 4
it's
rebounds.
coming around.
You are a hating ass human, John, and you hate it,
Hey,
and you hate it, and
nice,
you hate
nice
it.
save.
You hate it, and for the simple fact that John Conchar sucks, so you chose to be an Okoro's bandwagon. Now he heard you talking shit, and he's
John.
completely gotten better. I hate that for you because now you're done. Because when Cleveland wins a championship, Okoro's gonna have a ring, and you're fucked because he'll have a ring before your favorite players. You're fucked. All right.
It's good that he's making shots, but this is what you're expecting the top 5 pick.
Yeah, I know. You'll hate. You'll rule the day. He's not good.
Jalen Green has 21.
How much time?
I don't want to hear that.
Halftime.
Oh, chilling.
It was a lot.
What'd you get?
21.
Who we talking about?
Jalen Green.
Bam
I
Adebayo has
lock.
24, bro.
That's what I do. You
Only
hear
into
me?
the
Hey,
fourth.
hey, I lock. That's what I do.
You know who doesn't lock? Jason Tatum, 10 points. Get
Yeah,
better.
he's struggling.
Get
Oh,
better.
I don't know how this is a game. We don't have Rob. We don't have Al Horford.
Okay.
Jalen Brown got out,
This
and
shit's
Tatum has
getting
10
out of
points.
hand.
We're playing Philly.
The Raptors are up 13. Scotty's in the game. He needs 2 assists.
Were they playing again?
The
Spurs.
Spurs.
Oh, okay.
They're up
they
13.
could get set any second.
You know, at this point, I don't really give a fuck. I'm
You
just
need to
rooting
win.
for Joel to win.
Just Joel.
I mean, Jalen Green's gonna. I just need
Why
Dame
not
to go
Drew?
under.
Huh?
Why not Drew?
Because he puts time and dedication.
Oh, Drew just gets lucky.
With what?
He gets lucky.
Just gets a-
I'm
with
fucking
your
my
boom
guy.
pick.
He
No,
puts
wait,
time and
I'm confused
dedication.
now.
Mind your
He's-
business. It's
he's
not a
rooting-
conversation about. It's not a
No,
conversation.
no, no. He's
Like,
slandering my name.
Put the
Or
wall
if you're
down.
my boy.
If
What happened?
you're my boy, so you got to choose a side.
Joel. What are we doing here?
I don't know. I'm glad that everyone wants
he's
me to
talking
win.
shit
Though.
about you.
That's
In
talking
reference
shit.
to what?
He doesn't want you. He doesn't want to see you succeed as a man.
He knows
In
that.
reference
You
to
know
what?
what? You know what it is with
But
Red
why?
because he
Because
understands.
I'm handsome.
I love
Because
that you're
I
handsome.
speak well.
He understands the
smart.
journey I was on. He understands that.
I love the
I
journey.
came
You
back-
did come
I
from the
love
gutter.
the
I came
story.
back
I
from
love
a
the
huge
story. You know
deficit.
me. I
Oh,
love.
so we're talking about the Boom Fantasy shit.
I love a ghetto hood
Riv,
story.
I've
He
been
fits
telling you
that.
to lock
He fits
in.
the mold. He fits the mold of a ghetto hood out the street. young man lost his parents.
He was spoon fed.
He was spoon fed. He got the parents. He didn't have his parents. Foster home, came out the hood, got shot. I love that story for him. You went to the best school, went to Catholic school. You went to the best college. You give me that vibe. That's why
My dad made it out the mud.
Your dad's a real one. He made it so you can be spoon fed.
Now I have to exceed my father.
I like this story. He didn't have
Again,
one.
we're talking about
Now,
Joel
He
starting
does
off
have a father.
1 and 5 in
hypothetical boom.
We're not
What about
talking
me?
Talking about his boom story. His boom story.
Oh, so you're saying that I just came?
His boom
story,
For a
yeah.
second, I'm just like,
No,
what
no.
the fuck is happening
no,
right
his
now?
boom
It's-
story.
he's
He's no
all-
pops. He's no mom.
Yeah.
So
He's
you're
just a
saying,
gutter.
I got it.
Came
So
out the mud.
Evan Mobley had 19 points tonight, and when I tweeted out
Like-
that he had no offensive game in December 26, somebody just quoted, "Since this tweet, he's averaging 16 a game and 9 rebounds." Oh yeah, so
No, he's getting a little better off.
No, yeah, he
He's
is,
getting a
but I
little
mean, come on, like 16. bro?
John.
Be serious.
You're
Sam
with
Hauser's
Lakers.
so fucking back, bro.
Talk to
better. Shooting
me.
good now.
He's been
Talk to
stroking us today.
me.
I like to hear.
No,
I muted you.
I'm gonna say, dude, you've been wanting a new Alex Caruso for a long time, my friend.
Vanderbilt.
Jaron Vanderbilt is your new Alex Caruso.
Fuck yes.
He's not as good.
And
No.
maybe you guys can actually win a close game now.
That'd be huge.
Mike-
Hey, you got
Mike-
some
Mike-
shooters.
Mike-
You got a defender.
Deloading.
He's getting some shots.
Deloading.
Oh, now you have ice.
Come
You just
on.
snitched. You're putting that flag down.
You know what? You know what?
You're bad.
As a Lakers guy on the show, I think I speak for all Lakers fans when I say the beef is gone.
Hey yo.
We have
You and
no
D'Lo?
more beef with D'Lo. We're gonna let bygones be bygones. We understand that he was immature then.
It's a redemption
He's
story.
grown. Now this is his second chance, similar to Dwight Howard, and how Dwight Howard was able to come back, win the NBA championship with the Los Angeles Lakers.
Different role.
Maybe history writes itself once again.
So, talking about the last topic of the show, we're gonna give some light to Cameron Thomas.
God damn! I thought we were done.
I thought we were doing the super chats.
We'll
we
do
still-
that.
We gotta do
We'll
the
that.
super chats.
So Cameron Thomas,
Bad
I
idea.
mean,
Went off
are you
topic so
buying
much.
into the Cam Thomas hype?
Check out loud.
Youngest player
Kid,
youngest
got
player
emotional.
to score 40 points in 3 straight games against the Wizards, 44-5-5, Clippers 47-4-3. He was abusing Paul George, and the Suns 43-5-3.
First. Okay. I knew you were doing that because I saw your little funny tweets, and I just decided to not.
I've been on
acknowledge it.
Cam Thomas since
I
draft
know,
day.
no,
There was
I
no way
have-
we were
no,
skipping
because
over
I
that.
I always
I'm
knew
gonna
Cam
vouch.
Thomas.
I know I'm gonna
I
vouch.
have
No, I
He
was there
has
too.
been.
I was
But
there too.
I'm not talking
I know.
about that. He tried to throw in a little Cam Thomas's cooking PG thing. It was very ironic, considering the fact that Cam was calling for screens a lot. He was cooking Batum ball headed
Mhm.
ass. But nonetheless, Cam's 40 balls were impressive. He's making tough shots. He's getting to his spots. The 3 ball is there. The playmaking isn't great. He shows flashes. The defense is not good, but the offensive output we have seen has really lifted the Nets, and that's something you want to see. And it makes you wonder why was he in the rotation too much for guys who don't watch the Nets
Coach of
as
the year.
much. Yeah, so it's incredible. I want to wait a little bit longer though, because I think the new dynamic of Dinwiddie and Finney are interesting, and then what Kevin Durant is going to do in the offseason, I think that's very interesting. So I think I want to wait a little bit. Am I buying stock? No, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold off because I think he has the potential. It's there. But in a league like this, we've seen any guy can score.
43 straight.
Not
games.
40, but guys can score in this league. This league is talented. This league has guys on the bench that can give you that output.
Payton
Not
Pritchard.
40, but this league has Payton Pritchard can be a good player.
Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves, he showed out. He's okay though. Let's
Thank you,
let's
bro.
pump the
No,
brakes.
I'm
He-
cool with
he
that.
showed
Thanks,
out.
bro.
But Cam has the potential, and I think that's what you need. With the Nets, you don't have no picks. You have to find some fucking gems.
They-
You have to find
They
guys
draft
in the
gems.
gutter.
Claxton.
You have
Cam
to
Thomas
find-
now.
Jared
Claxton,
Allen.
exactly.
Yeah, the
So
list
you-
goes on.
But
Rudnis
you gotta
Kurucs.
find the gems. So I think they found one. I think this is interesting though.
Kurucs. You don't know who that is? Kurucs.
What are you saying?
Ronnie's Kurucs.
Karus, Kuruscs.
Yeah, Kurucs.
He's garbage.
He was good as a rookie though. Kurucs.
He's European. It's sad that he failed.
Kurucs.
Cam Thomas.
Mirza Teletovic.
Cam Thomas, this is an exciting story for the fact of what's been going on in Brooklyn. The fact that Kyrie Irving had requested a trade, the fact that KD has been out, and the Nets desperately needed a jolt of energy and insert Cam Thomas, and now he has 3 straight games of 40-plus points. The Nets and Nets fans needed this because what they've been going through is some of the most devastating and most tragic shit I've ever seen happen to an organization, where you go from being one of the most, on paper, best offense ever assembled to oh, okay, we next year now we lose that piece that we traded for. We get swept in the first round. To now we're back to being the team that we thought we could be. The best stretch of 24 games that we've ever had in our franchise history. And then Kyrie Irving goes and stabs them right in the heart, says, I want out, get me out of here. On top of that, Kevin Durant's not playing. They needed something desperately. And now Cam Thomas has come in and brought some kind of excitement back to the Brooklyn Nets. This is a great story. And
He's won.
yeah, one. Nice,
One,
nice, bro. I'm happy.
That's 4.5.
Even though I shouldn't be, technically.
5.
I can't even fucking tie. I hate boom. All right, I need one more. Yeah.
And so
Don't trip.
So I'm happy for Cam Thomas. I am similar to Riv. I do need to see a little bit more, specifically when KD comes back, to see how they're going to integrate Cam into that offense.
Definitely earned a permanent spot.
He deserves minutes in the rotation at the minimum. Absolutely, more than
starting
significantly
minutes.
more.
Yeah,
like he needs to be averaging over 20 minutes a game.
25.
Yes.
He needs some minutes.
6 man.
So I am happy.
Starter.
Of course, I do believe he does have the scoring ability. That is his primary strong suit. But it'll be more important to see how he pairs next to Kevin Durant. That's what I'm mostly looking forward to. If Kevin Durant would be on the team Thursday.
And Cam Thomas is a certified bucket getter. That's what he is.
He is.
I mean, you talk about as a true freshman at LSU, averaged 23 points per game, not on great efficiency, but he had the ultimate green light. And it was clear he could get to his spots. It's just that he would take a lot of bad shots and shots that were probably a little bit out of his range that brought down that efficiency. But in the summer league, 2 summer leagues in a row, averaging 27 points per game. I feel like it's just him capitalizing on his opportunity. I think he has great handle. He knows how to navigate around screens. He has awesome footwork. He's a tough shot maker. His idol is Kobe.
Doesn't pass.
Yeah,
shows.
Yeah, he's not a good passer. I mean, he does not know how to pass at all, but he's definitely a bucket. And I think, this can either go one or two ways.
Talk to me.
The one way is that
he gets packaged in the deal and gets Siakam.
This guy now becomes the centerpiece of the Siakam trade.
It just never
Tatum has
stops.
10 points.
Yeah.
I know he stinks.
And we're up 7 against the Sixers.
Tatum really show up prime time. What can I say?
You bet on him.
I know. It's the last time I'm ever gonna.
I don't know.
I usually bet on his
Jaylen Brown
unders.
has 4 points, but why is he not
got hurt.
playing? That's what it is.
Tatum
actually
game 6
elbowed him
against the
He was
Bucks.
2 for 9.
He bugged out.
Finals.
I don't know how we're winning. That too. I don't know.
You're not
But
good.
you know, come on, respect. Going against tit for tat with Giannis in Milwaukee.
No,
Rockets
yeah.
are up.
No doubt.
Come on.
I'm a Tatum
Jalen
guy.
Green has
I showed him
24.
proof.
You're not a
24?
Tatum guy.
Kings suck.
Locked.
You're not a
We
Tatum
locked.
guy.
We locked. Because I'm him.
Oh,
Green has
Jalen Green.
Hey,
24
you better come right. You better come right
Gotta
today.
tie
Under 35.
Because I'm back.
Cam
Number
Thomas, you have to
one.
be somewhere between. He's not Jeremy Lin, but he's also not the
Holy
centerpiece
fucking
of a
I know what he
Siakam trade.
He's
Because
speaking?
people are talking. That's what people are talking
That
about.
was
You
solid.
kind of throw out of nowhere 3 straight games dropping 40. New York, people are going to talk about Jeremy Lin, but then you also have these other Nets fans. Maybe it's Joel, maybe he's being sarcastic. I can never really tell, saying, oh, Cam Thomas, you could package him in some picks and go get a Siakam or an OG or this. I think it's somewhere in between. I think a year 2 player, you have to be excited. He showed this last season, especially when KD was out. He had multiple games when he was getting the minutes, dropping 20, 25 points. I think his high might have been like 28 or something. And earlier this season, too, for whatever reason, this year he had like 3 or 4 games where he was getting a bunch of minutes, had a couple games where he went cold, and he kind of lost his spot in the rotation, or he was getting 10 minutes or fewer, only getting in blowouts, or when they were getting blown out. It was a bit of a weird move from Jacques Vaughn, who, other than that, was honestly been damn near perfect this season. But if you're a Nets fan, the fact that you have someone on your team who could go and literally give you 40, especially when KD's out, we know he can miss some time. You don't have Kyrie there, so you're looking for a guy, especially at the guard position, who can handle the ball, get you buckets. Dinwiddie can do that, but you also have Cam Thomas, and of course in the playoffs, it's going to be vital coming off the bench and providing that bench scoring.
Cam Thomas is a recent example of a player taking full advantage of his opportunity. What's a young player that you think just needs an opportunity to showcase how great they truly are?
You know who I thought was going to be nice?
Kaminga?
I thought Jonathan Simmons was going to be like that. Never
guy from
turned
the
into it.
Spurs?
Yeah.
Wow, you're a casual as fuck.
Bro, he low-key had some times there where he was a dog.
I know where I'm going with this, man.
Come bucket.
No, the other guy, Cam Fam. Come on.
Okay.
I need Cam in a Golden State jersey. I need Cam in Cleveland.
That's a good name.
If he go to Golden State, he's turning into Michael Jordan.
Okay.
But if he goes to, you know what I'm saying? If he goes to Cleveland, solid rotational player, good starter. I just need my boy to get an opportunity and somebody to believe in him. That's all I want. Come Bucket's gonna get his.
I was gonna say Kaminga is definitely.
Oh,
that
no, he
name for
plays
me.
now, and when
No,
he
he
plays-
plays, but it's the difference. I feel like it's hard in this situation because Cam Thomas went from not playing to, all right, you're the primary scoring option.
Okay.
That's how I'm fielding this question. Who can go and be the number
Well, Kuminga
one?
now
on the team?
takes the best offensive player.
Yeah, no,
Wiggins
he's-
don't do that no more.
Kuminga's
So-
been crazy. Bro.
Yeah, he
Getting better offensively.
I think my player I'm gonna go
He
with
just dunk shit.
is
He's
the
starting to
Knicks
cut,
player currently.
move around.
Quinn
Golden
Grimes?
State. I've seen it.
The Knicks player I'm going with is Obi Toppin. I think Obi Toppin is a 16 and 8 guy if he plays.
Just based off his per 36.
No, just based off when he gets those minutes, actually,
No, he does for
performs.
sure. He does.
And I think Thibodeau just doesn't find room for him in a lineup. Julius Randle, we know, is playing at an exceptional level this season. I think if he goes to the right situation, the right system, he's definitely a 16 and 8 guy, and he would have a ton of highlight reels.
If we're just gonna go off our favorite teams, I'll take Payton Pritchard. Very streaky,
I agree
small,
with you, though.
but he could, like, when he gets hot, he
I
could
remember when I was
pull it
chatting about
from
Payton
deep.
Pritchard last year.
He's
and
quick.
I got called a casual.
He gets to the
Remember that,
basket.
Joel?
He got locked up by
pull up.
Davion.
Huh? Oh yeah, I mean,
In summer
he's,
league.
he's Payton
His,
Pritchard.
his is tricky though. I think he has to be in like a perfect situation.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
small.
Because I don't
undersized.
Pritchard. It's Cam Thomas is hard because there's like really nobody in the league I could think of who's going from not playing to giving you 40.
I just think Payton Pritchard's the backup point guard. I don't see him as a starting point guard.
It's good though. He
Tyus-
wants to be that.
Tyus
He said,
Jones can be a starting point
he
guard.
said no. Payton came out and said he just wants to be able to contribute. He doesn't want the big. But
Yeah.
another guy, Jaden Harvey, man. Oh,
Jaden Hardy.
yeah, he's not. It might be cooked. He might be cooked. And
He had a great
down.
game.
He dropped
Oh yeah, but
27.
now Kyrie's coming. Yeah, it's gonna
But
be tough.
you have DFS leave, Dinwiddie leave. There might be some more minutes there.
He's on. He's a guard.
True.
Josh Green.
Yeah, maybe go
They're
small.
gonna just show how to make moves. I want my
Cam
boy.
Johnson. It's my dog.
Yeah.
Sure,
The
dog.
dad.
Campaign.
You mean no,
Campaign's kind of showed us
mid.
already.
Campaign's 30.
Cam mid.
Cam
I guess
Johnson's your
young,
guy.
though.
You
But he
down the
should get you
Suns, man.
buckets.
I am doubting the Suns.
Mikal Bridges, don't sleep on his development.
Oh, we're sleeping the fuck to bed.
You're the one who was sleeping.
He's 27.
Mikal?
You told me that. We know
Mikal
what,
Bridges?
we
He's
know
like
what his
27.
offense
Nah,
is.
he's 24, bro.
He's not 24. He came out of college at 22. He's been in the league for like 4 years.
He's 26.
When's his birthday?
1996.
No, the day.
No, I know.
It's like next month.
I don't know.
Next week.
August 30th.
Oh, he'll be 27 this year.
Well done, Riv.
Good at what I do.
At the next season, like after this season ends.
Yeah, but not the next season. He'll start the next season 27.
I mean, he's entering his prime.
What is his prime? Like,
And that's the
This is his
27
prime.
to 32, 20,
no, I'm
No,
saying like
his
what,
play.
Let him say his play.
This
What's
is his
his
prime.
prime? Like, yeah, like
17 a game. That's great.
It's good.
And a good defense. Yeah, for sure.
He's a good player.
Elite
Sure,
defender, 17 a game.
Won't be remembered in NBA history.
He's better than OG Anunoby, though.
It's not saying
Is
much.
that the bar we're measuring?
OG Anunoby's about to get
Gotta
traded for
be
3 first round
remembered in
picks.
history.
Hey, you know, a lot of
Mikal
guys
will
get
go
remembered.
for 3 first round picks easily.
He would.
Mikal?
Any team would love
I-
Mikal
what do you-
Bridges.
Oh,
I
gee,
didn't say-
definitely.
I'm just saying I would. I'm not saying you didn't
didn't
say
say
that.
it.
I'm just saying he would.
Did you
Stop being
guys,
so defensive.
were you
Jesus.
dead ass about your
I'm a-
tweet? If the
I'm
Nets
a-
get Fred, Siakam, and OG, they'll beat the Celtics. Was
Oh,
that
no,
a serious tweet?
I wasn't being
Okay.
serious about that. I mean, it's unrealistic, but if it were to happen, yeah.
Just
Who they move? Ben Simmons?
Cam
Nah,
Thomas.
I had to
Exactly.
that one day. It was
Cooked.
just I quote tweeted you, and the tweet did numbers every time.
The Cam Thomas one.
That one,
This guy's tweet about everybody.
and then this guy thinks that it's my GM.
Oh, that was that shit.
Uh-huh,
yeah.
Cameron Thomas.
And you tweeted some. Oh yeah, I quoted and said rent free with a bunch of laughing emojis.
Need the Bucks to stop
I
you
should have
guys.
asked P about that boy's a liar.
Oh, he's a genius.
He tweeted out the other
Bad
day.
boys.
Ice Spice song.
We should have called. We didn't call him out for the burner.
Ah,
Yeah, we didn't call
yeah.
him. out.
He
Like, why
gets
you keep
his,
getting called?
The burner's been quiet. Is
The burner does not talk no more.
He left.
It's-
My
it's-
burner just cold tweeted one of you.
It was me.
It was you.
Uh-huh.
He's like the dick. He's like the thing eating is crazy.
We've said way worse on the show.
We
I
have.
think.
I don't want to say.
Yeah,
it.
don't.
You-
don't,
yeah,
don't,
I'm
come
That
on.
show.
My
But
burner's
you said that,
last
right?
tweet was February 3rd. If this is my last tweet, it was a fun one. And as always, hashtag let,
so
Joel,
dramatic.
let Joel Moran cook.
No, the hashtag was it LJMC or whatever. That shit's funny.
Okay, so he tweeted, Durag Riv blocked me. I'm contemplating deleting my account. I started this account as a pick a side fan and share some laughs. The only thing I've done is cause trouble. Good night, y'all. And he asked somebody asked him what you do. And he put a tweet out of him responding to Riv and saying, on the other hand, Durag Riv, life is always a bumpy road. Eventually you just learn how to drive on it. Good luck to you, my brother in Christ. You got this. We believe in you. That was after
Nice.
you went 3-6 on your boom picks.
Okay.
Not ideal.
It's always a bumpy
Scotty might
road.
not get it.
My goodness.
It's not me at this point.
No, it's who else?
Yeah. Can't be. Come on.
Bro,
He just played a
picked-
whole quarter.
Rose picked
with
everybody
four
in the
assists.
NBA.
He's played a whole quarter with 4 assists. He just refused.
Are we gonna give Riv a -1 on his win loss?
Nah, I'll take the L.
It's not a tie.
It's
Yeah,
not a
it's
tie.
4.5.
It was
It's 4.5.
4.5.
Oh, you're cooked.
Nah, I don't care. I'll take my L like a man.
So
at the end of the day, I win in life.
reading super chats, let's get into it.
He's not in the game.
Hey,
This first one is from Deco. $1.99. Hey, handsomes.
he is.
Shout out to Deco.
You're also handsome.
Here's-
Deco.
This
What's up,
one is
babes?
from
Appreciate it.
Charles Gibson. Hurt Heat
Here we go.
debate last show.
Yeah, Jalen
Andrew,
Hurts.
you need to rewatch the NFC Championship game again because penalties also help them show points too.
Oh yeah.
So
It
the
was-
points lie. Eagles had an easy road to the Super Bowl.
They did. It
Who
was
said-
also
who
it was
said
the
otherwise?
Niners' most penalized game of the season.
I'm
Very
just wondering who
undisciplined.
said
Are we
otherwise?
gonna?
Who said otherwise?
It was very out of sorts that game.
Well, when your backup and your starter goes down,
Rosario
sideways.
Noto. Thoughts on the D'Lo and Westbrook trade talks?
we talked
Well, we
about
just
that.
had a whole conversation, and I'm ecstatic.
Great
Russell
move. Great
Westbrook,
move.
first
Trade.
and foremost, I need to say this. Russell, you'll be missed.
So the Jazz only got one first.
Correct.
For
We fleeced.
all
I don't
these
think
guys.
Utah cares though.
We fleeced.
They don't
Vando,
play
Malik,
Vando because Walker Kessler.
were-
So dog.
I was told that the Jazz were asking for too much.
I think it was top 4 protected. That 20, 29 or 27, whatever it was.
Barely give him anything, honestly.
Elijah Woody Harrelson. $2, no comment. Thank you, Elijah.
Appreciate it, bro. Next
Elijah.
time, leave a comment.
Blake Bass. If the Eagles O-line can shut down Parsons and limit Bosa, they'll limit Jones. And the
Okay,
Chiefs will have an issue stopping the run.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say they limited. Like Bosa was getting after
for
it.
sure.
Bosa was really getting after it. Chris Jones gonna get
He's
his.
defensive.
too.
It was just Bosa when it came to run plays to his side. It looked like he was honestly
Lane was
his
cooked.
lateral movement looked.
Well, he got banged
That's
up.
what I'm saying.
It's easier to take out an edge rusher than the middle of the defense.
Ah.
Chris Jones is on the middle of that defense.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
have
it's
we
Jason
see Kelsey one-on-one could straight up destroy people. Not that he will Chris Jones, but we're going elite versus elite.
How about you respect Jason Kelsey?
Chris Jones
As a
will win that
man.
matchup against
I mean,
Hall of
Kelsey's
Famer.
gonna win some too.
some, maybe like 20% of them.
Okay.
I mean, you know,
Can you
alignments.
respect and just say 50-50?
I'm about to say, you know, alignments
not
win
50-50.
percentage, right? I'm just gonna assume
They win 95% of the
more
time.
often than not.
Haven't faced Chris Jones.
He hasn't faced Jason Kelsey.
RJ Fisher donated, no comment, but this next
Thank you,
one is
RJ.
a comment.
Here we go.
Mavs are on talks to send Wood, Hardaway, and 2 picks for DeAndre Ayton.
Really?
You're
I didn't see that.
Actually,
I don't even know if this is legit.
I don't know.
That'd
Why,
be
why
nuts.
would the Suns do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think
That
they
doesn't
would.
make sense.
But DeAndre Ayton in Dallas with Kyrie and Luka.
That would be fun, but it makes no sense for the Suns.
Q Bugavelli. Suns pick up Russ on a buyout question mark.
Oh God,
I don't know why they would do that.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't. You don't
Bless
do
you.
that.
Oh,
I think he giggled.
Slapping?
I don't know why they would do that.
Not ideal.
John's a disrespectful guy, man.
Yeah.
Those subliminals would be kind of funny.
Oh, they're hilarious.
Q Bugavelli. The Lakers don't have LeBron problem. They have a Rob Pelinka problem. If Josiah being petty, what the hell is Rob doing? Last year a wash. Fix it.
I don't think anyone says they have a LeBron problem.
No, no one says that.
I do.
He-
What's it for
Deco-
LeBron to be the
Generational
worst team in the
You're
league?
casual.
Deco donated $2 to say Drew getting cooked 30 minutes straight.
No, that's what it was. That's what it was.
I was here. I said you guys are a competitive team,
It was horrible.
but the rest of them, it's like they
Took it
were
like a
waiting.
man though, and you know what God did? He
Wow.
rewarded me.
Wow.
What, bro? What?
Took it like a man.
first.
Took it like a man. That's what happens when you get beat up. You get up. Simple. You overcome.
6, get
That's
up
what I
7.
did. And I took abuse for 30 minutes, like he said. And what happened? What
What
happened?
kind of abuse
Verbal.
Oh, not physical.
No,
would you have preferred?
depends.
By 3 men.
There were 6.
Ah,
It was
yeah.
6 at
It's not ideal.
once.
It's not ideal.
David donated $5, no comment, but shout out to David
Shout out,
for the
David.
donation.
Dono?
RJ the God. What type of players need to be on a squad for a super team? MVP, All NBA, All First Team defensive, maybe.
Maybe like 3 All-Stars.
3 All NBA players.
Oh
3
wait,
All Stars.
I wanted to ask a question. So if we deem the Bucks team as not a super team, right? Do we deem the 2016 Warriors as a super team, or they just exceeded expectations?
Again, similar to how like OKC, they got a pass because they drafted him. I
Yeah.
give Golden State, even though they are.
I'm looking at
super
the
Especially when you
players,
get
though,
KD
like,
after that.
was
the super
Clay
team.
and Dre? They were like top 20,
Were the
25
Spurs the super
players
team?
with Tony, Manu, and Tim? No,
Yes.
I don't think so.
All right, so then I'm not going to say the Warriors were.
Well, I'm just talking about like player rankings, like how we like because Drew and Chris are all stars. but like they're not like, consistently.
Clay for a while was top 25 stamped. For a while.
Okay, I just think that okay, I could do it because
Yeah, I don't
they
think
had
he
the same
was.
team as the year before. We wasn't calling them a super team.
I don't think
They
it
just
was.
came in, started
And
blitzing,
then
everybody.
Steph suddenly became the best player in
Yeah. Okay.
the guard
with it.
scene.
Eric Dupree, Simmons won't score. Claxton a liability at the free throw line.
He is.
Cam Thomas can't defend. Joe Harris might be as unplayable as Simmons. They have too many holes.
Not wrong.
Dinwiddie and Smith ain't bad, but they still need a point guard. They suck.
They suck. Seems a little rude.
I don't think
Do
they
you
suck.
agree with that?
No, I don't agree with this. I think this
Not
guy
that they
is out of
suck,
his
part,
mind.
but the first, because he has some valid points.
Some of them were valid. Simmons won't score. I think
Simmons might be unplayable.
Claxton's positives outweigh the negatives, and I think Cam Thomas, he tries on defense for sure. And Joe Harris, they'll flip him. They'll flip him for OG and Anobi.
Okay.
Santos, Lopez, Loyola,
Santos.
Lakers making the
Legend.
finals
Oh.
this year.
Here we go.
Oh, so now he's all on the Lakers suddenly.
I feel like it's always been.
No.
No, he hasn't.
That's why I'm not mad.
Q Bugavelli, Russ to the Clippers,
Isn't he a
question
Lakers fan?
mark.
No, he's a Warriors fan.
Oh, right.
I think Russell Westbrook to the Clippers would be a good move. I do.
Facts. We were talking about an upgrade from John Wall.
And also, for everybody in the chat right now, make sure you guys like the stream up we're at.
Yes.
I think 200 something likes. Let's get that up to 300, 400 maybe. 492 people watching right now.
1,000. Why not?
This is from King. How would you rank these players? Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Jordan Clarkson, Lonzo Ball, Kuzma, Josh Hart, and Larry Nance Jr.
So many
So many
players.
names.
So
goodness.
the
you could
Lakers' young core,
Say
basically.
Larry Nance, you don't have to put in there.
Larry Nance
so
last.
like Bi was first.
Yeah, there's one.
Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle's two.
Yeah.
How is that locked?
Yes.
What's locked?
Julius Randle and Bi, like that's easy. You're taking Bi.
Are we saying just this season?
That's
just
what I'm
this
wondering.
season, then you'd probably put Randall.
It's Randle.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
I
hasn't
like
been hurt.
Bi's game better.
No, I do too, but I'm showing respect to Randle like he deserves. That's an All NBA player.
Bi performed in the playoffs.
He did.
So for me, I would go Brandon Ingram,
Yep.
Julius Randle.
Okay.
I'm going Lonzo Ball for the impact when he's healthy.
Ooh, over Kuz?
Yes. Then I'm going Kuzma.
Okay.
Then I'm going Clarkson.
Yes.
Then Larry Nance, and then last Josh Hart.
I
I'd
would
have
go
Josh
Josh Hart
Hart.
and then Larry.
Yeah, I'd
Nance.
have Josh Hart.
I just don't think Josh Hart.
He's
can shoot.
developed well in Portland, though.
Even before that.
Great
No,
rebounder.
in New Orleans, no doubt, but particularly, in Portland, I think I definitely have respected his development there.
Caden Finch. Warriors are the only team I trust in the West. I know the record says otherwise, but come playoffs, they're the only team I trust. Also, congrats you on the Lakers trade.
Thank you.
Now those players will underperform. LOL.
you could put the Nuggets in that tier with the Warriors too, but the rest I understand having questions about. I was on your side. I really wasn't able to talk when you guys were fucking screaming at each other, but I was on your side. I think the Nuggets right now, I think are right now in a tier of their own. If the Warriors are healthy, I would have them in that tier. I have my reservations about Memphis, who could lose 5 or 6 games in a row and look like they don't belong with the top guys in the West.
The man Perez, finally catching one of your live streams. Found you guys on TikTok last year and been a fan since.
Shout out.
Keep it up.
Love
Shout
you,
out to
Brody.
the man Perez. This is from Brandon Uchiha, 2000. $5 donation, no comment, but shout out to Brandon Uchiha.
Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon.
This is from Daniel Guerrero. If Russ is a top 8 quarterback next season, Joel is cooked.
If
Top
Russ
8?
is a top 8 quarterback,
Gets
oof,
scary.
we don't even want to know what I'm doing.
Top 8 quarterback's nasty.
What are you doing?
Oof, you don't
Yeah, what
even
are
want
you
to
doing?
know. You don't want to know.
Top 8 quarterback, you guys win the division.
Locked.
This is from Smear60. Not watching the Bulls if they get Russ. This is from Jake.
I agree.
Jake's,
Not ideal.
you and
Now we
Jake.
get Russ and Cam. I'll watch every game.
Okay.
Yeah, easily. Actually, them Clippers and
Tyus
them
Jones,
Warriors
Tyus
about
Jones,
to
Tyus Jones.
still better. But the Clippers and the Warriors
He's
about
not.
to play.
He's
Tyus
not.
Jones is better than Westbrook.
He's not.
He is.
He's not.
He is.
He's not.
Easily.
You
A
don't.
better basketball player? No.
Yes.
Better.
Who would you rather have on your team?
Exactly.
Easily Tyus
That's
Jones.
different.
Well, this isn't a one-on-one. Like,
No.
People need to stop thinking this is one-on-one.
Yeah,
This ain't
nah.
the park.
I'd rather have
Obviously, the
Tyus
park.
Jones.
Westbrook would kick Tyus Jones'
No
ass.
shit.
But we talk about in the game, Tyus fits on all 30
No,
teams.
but as a player-
Westbrook does not. Tyus
In a
can-
vacuum, Russell Westbrook or Tyus Jones. In a vacuum.
Tyus Jones.
it's
That's
not
cap.
crazy.
That's
Tyus
cap.
Because
better-
Russ
better
could go
shooter,
3 for
better
fucking 18.
playmaker.
It's totally. Huh?
Tyus Jones is a better playmaker than Russell Westbrook.
Takes care of the ball better for sure.
Takes care of the ball better. Fine.
He's a
but
better playmaker.
That's a huge component of.
He's not
being a
erratic. He's
playmaker.
actually smart, higher IQ. That matters for a point guard.
you're getting
Russ could
spitting.
score. Russ could score better. Drive better.
This layup's better.
That's the reason would turn me off to Russ in the Laker
But
uniform.
low key,
I
at the
swear
end
to
of the game, it
fucking
was
God.
only Russ fucking being aggressive yesterday.
Ty
Who'd you rather,
Bando.
Tyus or Westbrook?
Nice.
Easily,
I'm not a
right?
Westbrook guy though.
No, but undoubtedly Tyus.
What I just do.
I don't know.
Bro.
Ty Bando goes,
was-
where do you guys see Russ
Well, you
signing?
practice doing that.
Riff braids are
It's always
fire.
better
by
when
the
someone
way.
else does it for
Oh,
you.
thank you, Ty. It's because he got my braids also. Good things. Good looks,
What'd he
Ty
say?
Bando. Same, kind of the same, but he has long.
Both handsome, I'm assuming.
He's probably handsome. Ty Bando.
Where do you see Russ signing? That's what he asked.
Clippers.
Clippers
I
make a
like
lot
the
of sense.
Clippers.
It makes sense.
Stays in LA.
Manifesting.
Doesn't have
Miami.
to
No,
leave anywhere.
no, it's like Clippers just make sense. Like if it doesn't happen, I don't really care because I still think. But
Huh.
Miami's cool too. They
This
gotta
is
get somebody
from
better than
Glenn.
Lowry.
Maybe bold, but I think Nets will beat Celtics in the playoffs 2023 if KD stays.
Cap.
At least there's someone out there who believes in you.
We don't have a cap button. I need that.
No, we don't have it, unfortunately.
I need a desperate. Can we get that?
A lot for the Boston Celtics agendas he's about to push. Hell yeah,
Do you think we can get that
What
button?
agenda do I push?
that they'll beat the Bucks.
Yeah.
No
The
way.
Bucks been doing their thing. They're
Hell yeah, they're
9-1
catching
the
up
last
to you.
10. They've looked
They're
like a
catching
7-8
up
game
to
win
you.
streak.
Can we get that button?
They're a game behind, I believe.
Who's gonna say it needs to be a sound effect? Like it has to be a sound effect. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm sure there's one out there.
Yeah, we can.
Cap!
If it's a sound
B-Lou?
effect, yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we can happen.
Yeah, unless we get copyrighted. Yeah.
I think you could do the Belu one.
So we
from-
can have
from Zias.
LeVar Ball saying I'm undefeated, never lost, but we can't have cap.
We never use the sound effects though.
Yeah, we
really.
don't.
It's just the
We can
clapping.
use the da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na, and not get copyrighted, but we can't have cap.
So Ronnie goes, y'all
I'm
only
asking
read,
you a question.
I wish JT would hit a bucket.
so Ronnie goes, y'all only read super chats. That's the thing I hate about y'all.
Yeah.
Well, read your comment if you send a comment right now without the super chat. Now, Santos Lopez, I'm done talking shit about the Lakers. Drew doesn't need another hater.
It's not wrong.
And then he goes
Thank you,
again.
Santos.
Drew plus Drew, talk shit about my Warriors first.
I don't. Do
don't
I
think
talk
you-
shit about the Warriors?
think you
I
do.
don't.
Tatum is having a stinker.
Yeah.
Love to see
So to the
it.
person
you.
Joel in the stream who said, where did they react about the Lakers trade? It was about like 40 or 30 minutes
Yeah,
ago
yeah.
in this stream. The timestamp should be updated later on, so you'll be able to find that. But yeah, that does it for the super chat. So if you guys want to ask anything else, then feel free.
We really had like a 20-30 minute segment on what if the Lakers get them, and then had another 20-30 minutes to make
Not ideal.
about it. Yeah.
I knew it would happen. I
No,
told
I
him,
needed
was like,
it.
was
I
probably gonna
needed
happen
it,
one of these, so.
especially after the abuse I took. No doubt. God rewarded
Physical
me.
abuse.
And verbal. It was fucked.
Oh, you were interesting. Wish I was.
It was messed up. So God said, here you go, Drew. Here's Vando, D'Lo, Malik.
So some breaking news happened. So Mojo they're releasing NBA soon. From what I'm told, it's this month. You can start investing into NBA players.
Who's the first guy you're gonna invest in?
Oh, it's Anthony Edwards, of course.
I mean, my guy's already going to be the most valuable, most owned, LeBron James.
Jonathan Kuminga.
I'm just going to.
I'm gonna steal all those guys. Kuminga, Poole, Cam Reddish. I'm stealing.
Because I miss him dearly.
Tyrese Maxey.
Caruso.
Tyrese, my dog, Tyrese.
Caruso's going to make all NBA
Cade-
defense
Cade,
teams
I'm
alive.
gonna get some Cade. If we do college, I'm
Cade's
going
genius.
to grab Amen. I'm gonna grab Scoot. No, I don't want to grab Scoot. That's too easy. I'm gonna grab shit like
Scotty Barnes, no doubt.
You can have that bullshit.
He's better than your favorite player.
Scotty.
Steph. Not ideal. I mean, probably never will be. You know?
Tatum's gonna
Are
be
you
like the
kidding me?
7th highest.
And they have
player.
liquid props now. So they just released it today, the NBA liquid props. And you could bet on Embiid's line and Tatum's line for today's game and
No
stuff like that.
way.
Oh,
Yeah.
Walker Kessler. I'll bet on him.
That's a good one.
So this is the
Ah.
last super chat we're gonna read before we
making
get
me
off the
sick.
stream. Go Lakers and congrats, Bron. This plus the rule we have Pelinka earning back trust, but I live in fear. Darvin Ham will spam these gross 3-guard lineups anyway.
Darvin Ham needs to be better as a man. He needs to.
And since Ronnie commented, we'll read his one last.
Good.
The Lakers not even making it past the first round. They have to deal with the Mavs, Warriors, Grizzlies, and Nuggets, and they are going to have to play at least one of them in the first round, and AD is soft.
This is what he wasted his one comment on?
I guess so. Yeah, you weren't
What
a
the hell's
fan.
wrong? No, not even a little bit.
You disagree?
Strongly. AD soft?
I'm just messing with you, bro.
What's
So
wrong
that's
with
going to
him?
do it for this episode of the Pick a Side podcast. Please make sure to like this stream. Give us 5 stars on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod, on Instagram and TikTok at Pick a Side Podcast, and buy some Pick a Side merch at pickasidepodcast.com. And don't forget to support the sponsors that support us. Mojo, Boom Fantasy. Link is in the description down below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.